Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku was deceived and becomes the heir of One for All Part 2. Before we start, please go support Ethan 1939 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear. Izuku is male in this story and he has a sister named Izumi, and Shoto Todoroki is female. Heart 8 attack. At this moment we can see our black-haired man fighting with Tiger. Tiger. Well, you are very strong, boy, wiping a small trickle of blood from his mouth. Izuku. You are also strong, Mr. Tiger. Izuku's teammates were training while he fought Tiger and trying to improve his quirks. Everyone was watching the fight between the Catman and Izuku. Mandalay. Wow, he can match Tiger in strength. Looking at the boy, so what is his quirk? Looking at Izawa. Izawa. From what we saw, he has 3 quirks and they are very strong. Looking at Izuku, he even defeated all MIGs. Surprised the girls. Pixie. Seriously, Izawa. If I do it almost effortlessly. While still looking at the boy, sometimes I think there is no limit. Ragdoll. And he has it. Izawa. I don't even know, I've never really seen him tired at all, but he's still a hero. Looking proudly at his son. Pixie. Izawa is proud of his offspring with a tender smile. Izawa. Shut up, spinster, going to lie down in a hammock, leaving a Pixie depressed. With Izuku, the boy was just fighting with his teacher, giving him a good fight. Izuku activated One for All at 15% and hit Tiger in the jaw, sending him flying. Tiger. Shit, rubbing his mouth. Izuku. Is it okay? Going to see his teacher. Tiger. Yes, calm down, getting up, you are strong, boy, I admitted. Izuku. Thank you, Tiger-sensei, with a smile. Everyone looked at the black-haired boy with curiosity since he was very strong, even Izawa was proud of him, but the girls only saw him as a piece of meat which they wanted to totally taste. Time skip night. The entire A class was in what looked like the entrance to a forest. Mina. Sensei, because we are here with some cold and fear when we see the dark forest. Izawa. Now they will have a test of courage, surprising everyone. Each one will go in pairs and enter the forest, and then they will leave without having any type of fear. Hiroshima. That's very strange, Sensei, why do we do that? Izawa. Heroes must be brave even in the moment of life or death, and my offspring will not be cowards. Well, make your partners. Izumi. Oni-chan, come with me. With a smile, I'm a little scared, can you? Feigning fear and taking his arm. Kasumi. Of course not, Broccoli, he will come with me, taking Izuku by the other arm. Momo. No, he will be my partner, right, Izuku, come with a smile. All the girls only wanted the black-haired man since they could act scared and cling to the boy a lot, but Izawa stopped them. Izawa. I already saw this problem coming, so Izuku, you will go alone. Izuku. Well, sorry girls, it will be next time. They all became disillusioned and then each one formed their partner and entered the forest. Note. They were all like the anime, and Izumi and Kasumi went together. Izuku was simply walking through the forest waiting for the signal from his infiltrator to know if they had already arrived at the camp. On another side, several villains appeared in a purple portal in the middle of the forest. Shiko. Well, it's your turn, Dabi, you already know what to do. Seeing a black-haired man. Dabi. Well, without interest. The black-haired man only began to burn the forest with blue flames, creating a forest fire throughout the forest. Shiko. Well, they already know what the plan is, and you, pointing to a hooded blonde, don't do anything, stupid. Yes, of course, girl, crying. But the teachers. Mandalay. A fire. Seeing the smoke. Izawa. I think it's not a normal fire. Seeing the serious smoke, let's go. Running into the forest. With Izuku. Izuku. Well, smelling and seeing the smoke in the distance, it's time. With a smile. Izuku just started walking but stopped when he smelled someone on a hill with his ghoul nose. He identified the person as Kota but smelled another strange person approaching him. Izuku. This makes my plans difficult. Pressing the button on his briefcase and activating One for All to run at full speed towards the boy. With Kota, the boy was terrified since the murderer of his parents was in front of him. Kota. Why you are Muscular scared? Muscular. You know me, boy, what joy. With a sadistic smile. Kota. You killed my monster parents. Angry and scared. Muscular. The truth is I don't remember murdering your parents, but I don't care. Walking towards the child. You are going to die like them, trying to hit him. The boy just ran, but the blonde got in front of him. Muscular. Where are you going, brat? I told you were going to die, and I keep my promises. The villain only raised his fist to hit the child, and the infant only closed his eyes, but the blow never came, and when he opened them, he saw a black-haired man with a scythe stopping the blow. Izuku. You know, kid, not all heroes are late. Izuku just kicked him in the stomach that made him retreat. Izuku. Kota, I want you to hide. Looking at the boy now. The boy only got out of the sock and hid behind some stones, but without stopping to see the battle. Muscular. Who the hell are you, kid? Angry at the blow. Izuku. Me, I'm just a normal student, but you can call me Black Reaper. With a cold look. Muscular. Well, I don't care, you will die too, increasing his muscle mass. Izuku only dodged it with one for all, but he knew that this person is at least someone as strong as All Might, but he had the advantage that being a villain he wouldn't have to hold back. Izuku just stuck the tip of the scythe into the ground and stayed still. Muscular. What are you doing? Izuku. Muscular. Well, if you're not going to attack, then die. The blonde a few meters away from Izuku was going to hit him, but a tentacle came out of the ground piercing his arm. Muscular. AI, you're enough. He didn't finish as Izuku hit his face with 50%, making his nose bleed. Muscular. I will kill you, I will kill you, I will kill you, furious. The three prongs on the backside of Izuku's scythe blade extended and stabbed into Muscular's other arm. Muscular. AI, damned. Izuku just pulled the scythe out of the ground, and the blonde saw how the scythe had several tentacles coming out of it, as if it were alive. Muscular. What the hell is that thing? Izuku only moved at a speed that the blonde couldn't see and used the scythe like a bat and sent the blonde flying. Muscular was just furious and started to attack the black-haired man. At one point he grabbed Izuku's foot, but Izuku just turned on it, breaking his leg and kicking the blonde that embedded him in a mountain. Izuku. You really thought that at this point that was going to hurt me? His leg just swung around again and repaired itself. That only makes me panic and look at the boy with even more hatred. Izuku just hit the blonde with his scythe, embedding him in the ground and making the blonde bleed from the head. Izuku. Very muscular, sticking a tentacle of his scythe into his leg. Muscular. AI. Izuku. How many is 1007? Looking at the blonde. Muscular. Screw you, AI is standing another tentacle into his other leg. Izuku. I'll repeat it to you once again, how many are 1007? Muscular. AI is standing another tentacle into his arm. Izuku. How many is 1007? Muscular. AI is standing another tentacle into his other arm. Izuku just put the blade of his scythe behind the muscular head and the blade just got bigger and swirled around his head. Izuku. How many is 1007? With a cold look. Muscular. 993, sniff 986 979, crying. Izuku. You know, you've tried to kill me and a child, so I have no choice but to eat you, by saying that I only terrified Muscular, and in a few minutes Muscular's face was disfigured and he was dead while Izuku was just wiping his mouth. End music. The scene was seen by Koda, who was totally shocked and disturbed by the scene. Izuku. Koda, getting the boys' attention, we're leaving, and if they ask you what happened, avoid saying the last part, okay? Looking at the boy. Koda just hugged the boy with tears in his eyes. Koda. Thank you for avenging my parents, crying. Izuku only accepted the hug and with a one for all he took Koda and they disappeared. On another side, Uraraka and Tsuyu were fighting with a blonde girl with a knife and some strange devices. Hello girls, can you give me some of her blood, with a blush and a sadistic look. Uraraka. Who are you, crazy? It's a pleasure, I'm Toga Himiko. Tsuyu. You're just crazy, looking at her seriously. Toga. You're very bad, Tsuyu-chan with a pout. Tsuyu. How? Toga. I know everything about you, and even that you are in love with that beautiful black-haired boy, with a blush when remembering the boy. Maybe I will play with him later. Uraraka. You're not going to approach him, you crazy bitch, furious. Toga. And you're going to stop me, pointing her knife. Uraraka. Not all of us. As she said that, the blonde had to dodge an explosion and a flare from a green-haired girl and another explosive blonde. Izumi. Don't come near my Oni-chan, it would be. Kasumi. You'll have to go over all of us first, bitch, making explosions in her hands. Toga. Ooh, how fun this will be, with a blush. At one point Toga used one of her devices and nailed Tsuyu to a tree with her hair. Toga moved quickly to cut Uraraka, but with training she was able to remove the knife from her and put a hold on her to immobilize her on the ground. Uraraka. You only bark but don't bite. Toga. Maybe, but what would you be without him? I know that he trained you, and even that you want to be like him. No, they all want to be like you. Gigi laughing. He asked me how they could react when they saw him with his guts hanging out and dead on the ground. Toga stuck one of the syringes into Uraraka's leg as she spoke. Toga. Suck while the blood was collected. Uraraka just got up quickly and Kasumi gave the sadist a scan. Toga. Hey, well, let's see what. In the blink of an eye, someone with a black trench coat and a scythe took Toga by the neck and put her against a tree. All. Izuku. Girls, while looking at Toga, I want you to take Koda and leave. Koda came out of a bush. Izumi. But. Izuku. Don't worry, I'll be fine now, go. Toga. So you are Izuku, I have seen you from afar, but up close you are more handsome, with a sadistic smile, but you would surely look better with blood all over your body. Toga tried to stick another knife into Izuku's shoulder, but it broke, surprising the girls when it made contact with their skin. Izuku. I'm sorry, but I approve of knives. Toga. How surprising, haha, I would like to play with you, with a blush. Izuku. Girls, go ahead. The girls just paid attention and left with Koda back to the camp. Izuku. Well, Toga, I have something special for you. On another side, Izawa was fighting against a clone of Dabi which was decided with a blow. Mandalay. Where the others are nervous. Ragdoll. I'm going to look for them running into the forest. Mandalay. Wait silly. On another side, Shouka and Bakugo can be seen injured while fighting with a masked man. You heroes are not rivals to MR.com press. Bakugo. I don't care who the buck you are shiny throwing explosions. The masked man just dodged and at one point he got in front of the blonde and put him in a small marble. Shouka. Bakugo, what did you do to him? Annoyed. Mister. Don't worry, I just caught him with my quirk seeing her, but you have to fight someone else. Shouka only covered himself with a wall of ice as he covered himself with blue fire. Dabi. Well, daughter of Endeavor, let's see what you can do with a smile. They both just launched attacks at each other until the ground was broken by a scythe strike. Dabi. What the buck? The smoke only dispersed showing a black-haired man with a scythe and a blonde holding onto his shirt. Shouka. Izuku. Izuku. Hey idiot, this is yours throwing Toga. Dabi. Toga looking at a semi-unconscious Toga. I think Tamura told you to stay away from him. Izuku. Now you continue showing his red eye, scaring the boy a little. A man in a suit could be seen grabbing Ragdoll by the face. Afo. Well hero, let's see how it feels to be a quirk stealing the heroine's quirk. At one point an explosion was seen in front of them showing a black shadow with a red eye that launched Dabi in the robe towards them. What the hell, I'm scared shitless, speaking as if they were two people. Afo. It looks like you arrived ninth, staring at the shadow. The smoke disappeared and showed a black-haired man that some knew and others were only terrified when they looked at his side. Afo. Hello ninth, greeting Izuku. Izuku. All for one, returning the greeting. I want my friend and Ragdoll back. Afo. It seems like you beat Muscular, you surprise me ninth, here throwing Ragdoll unconscious, it's of no use to me anymore. Izuku just carried Ragdoll like a princess and put her lying on a tree. Izuku. Okay, now to Bakugo. Afo. I'm sorry but young Bakugo will be a great villain in the future, he just needs a little push and I will be the one to push him towards that path, with a smile behind his mask. Izuku. Well, I'll have to kill everyone until they give it to me. With his scythe he pointed at Mr. Compress's arm. And a tentacle crossed his shoulder, releasing some marbles. Shiko. Spinner. Spinner. Hey. The green man only attacked Izuku with his katana, but Izuku only broke his sword with a little force and gave him a very strong blow that knocked him out. Afo. Interesting nomu. When he shouted, several nomus appeared and went to attack the black-haired man, but he took out only 4 tentacles from his back and began to cut the nomus in half and devour them. Izuku only easily killed Alo's nomus and ate various parts of them to regain lost strength. All the villains were scared since they saw the black-haired man as death itself coming for them, but all for one only saw himself in Izuku. At one point Izuku touched the ground using his other quirks so that roots appeared and trapped the villains, but Dabi burned all the roots. What demon is he? He is a monster. The man with dual personality spoke again. Afo. Twice has clones of the nomus now. Twice. Yes, of course boss. The man just did as ordered and quickly created several clones of the nomus, but Izuku alone killed them all easily. Izuku was just walking to where they were, but a tree hit the black-haired boy by all for one, who used a telekinesis quirk. Afo. Well, it's time to go, take Toga and let's go. Entering a Kurogiri portal. The villains just disappeared and Izuku just stood up and smiled. Izuku. Well, phase 1 is ready, now phase 2, get ready old man with a smile. Part 9, what you least expect. Today we can see Izuku in a hospital. When he died in the attack in the camp, some of his companions were injured, one of them is Momo, since one of the villains gave him a strong blow to the head, but nothing else happened. Izuku walked through the corridors in search of the Raven girl's room, after a while he found it, and when he opened it, he only saw the black-haired woman looking out the window with some bandages on her head. Izuku. Hello Momo. Momo. Hello Izuku-kun, what are you doing here? Izuku. I just came to see how you were doing. Sitting down. Sorry for not saving you or preventing you from being hit. Momo. Don't worry, the girls told me that you saved them and that you also saved Koda from Muscular, that was incredible. With a smile. Izuku. Yes, but it doesn't mean that they hit you and I wasn't there to stop it. Clenching his fists. Momo just grabbed his cheeks and kissed him on the forehead. Momo. Izuku, if you had been with me, maybe Koda or the others would have died. Jiru saved me at that moment thanks to your training. You did what you could, don't feel bad about that. Izuku. Thank you, you always know how to cheer me up. Giving him a kiss on the lips. Take that as payment for not saving you. The girl was just blushing like a tomato, but then she reacted. Momo. I already told you that. Don't feel bad about that. Blushing. Izuku. Yes, but it just bothers me that my pretty black-haired girl over there was hit by an idiot kissing her forehead. Maybe I'll come visit you later, but now I have to do something important. Going towards the door. Goodbye Momo-chan. Leaving the door room. The black-haired woman only turned red because of the suffix that he gave her, and she just took her pillow and put it on her face to muffle the screams that he began to make. With Izuku, the boy was just thinking about him while he walked. Izuku. Okay, time for phase 2, I hope Shiko is ready. Elsewhere, lair of the League of Villains. You can see that in a somewhat neglected bar, a man with grey hair tied his hands and feet to a chair in the middle of the premises. Bakugo. Let me go. He was silenced by putting a gag on him twice. Maldicio is very loud. Why don't you shut up, you idiot? Abi. Why don't we burn it and give the remains to Allah? With a hand with blue fire, mister. Or we cut it in half like a magic trick juggling balls. Toga. I want to see what it looks like full of blood. Haha, with his typical sadistic smile. Shaco. Calm down, we brought it because my teacher asked for it. Well, a screen which suddenly turned on showing all for one. Afo. Well, remove the gag, I want to talk to him. Why Solo removed the gag and Bakugo Solo started screaming again. Bakugo. Let me go, you idiot. Shiny furious. Afo. Don't worry, kid, we just want to talk to you. Calming the blonde. Bakugo. Talk. Idiots kidnapped me. Afo. Maybe, but I want to offer you something. Getting the boy's attention. Bakugo. And that's it. Afo. That you join the League of Villains. Surprising the boy. Bakugo. Ha 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 ha, laughing like crazy. Twice. I think a screw came loose. Look who's talking. Spinner. What are you laughing at? Somewhat irritated. Bakugo. I laugh at the stupid offer. I will never join you for 2 simple reasons. Abi. And that's what they are. Bakugo. I want to be the #1 hero and destroy trash like you. And the second. Shaco. That's it. Bakugo. That my friend wouldn't forgive me and he'll probably torture me if I do. Hahaha, he's a monster, and although it pains me to admit it, he totally surpasses me. Somewhat annoying when saying those words, and I'm sure he'll kill all of you, because he's not like all Migs. No, he is much stronger. With an arrogant smile. Afo. Seriously, you know that I can give you the power to overcome it. Bakugo. Tell me, if he easily beat all Migs, do you think you'll have a chance against him? Looking at the screen arrogantly. All the villains were surprised by what was said. Shiko. Come beat all Migs. Bakugo. Yes, and I very much doubt that some of you have the same power or strength that he has. Hahaha, keep me if you want, but he will come for you. Hahaha, laughing again. Afo. What's your friend's name? Bakugo. His hero name is Black Reaper, and that's all I'll tell you, idiot. Afo only knew upon hearing that name that he was the same boy who gave everyone the nomus of him in the camp. Afo. Tamura, prepare the nomus and the other recruits. If he is right, we have to get that boy out of the way. Serious. Shiko. Hi Toga, you go with the recruits and try not to kill any of them. It would be. Toga. How boring you are, Tamura-chan, but well, at least I can hit them a little. With a smile and a blush. Everyone else just left Bakugo tied up while everyone else did their thing. In another side, you can see all the heroes in a weight room talking about what to do to rescue their kidnapped student. All Migs. We have to rescue young Bakugo, who knows the countless tortures he must be suffering. But the villains twice could be seen starting frozen while he was watching a telenovela and using Bakugo to wipe his snot. But the heroes. Nezu. Don't worry, all Migs, if they kidnapped him, it's because they want something from him or from us. In the meantime, they won't touch him. But you're right, we have to do something. But we don't know where his hiding place is. Serious. Izuku. You don't, but I do. Appearing through the door. All Migs. Midorilla Shonen. What is he doing here? Izuku. I come to give you this. Showing a tracker that had a dot on a radar is a tracker that I put on Bakugo before they took him away. Nezu. Then we know where they are. Thank you, young Midorilla. All Migs. That's my shonen. With a smile. Izuku. Yes, but I have to go. Several of his students already know where Bakugo is from a Momo tracker and are heading there. I recommend that you hurry up. Disappearing with a one for all. Nezu. You heard it, let's go. Serious. All. Hi. In another side, Izumi, Kasumi, Shaka, Lita, Kirishima and Momo can be seen wearing casual clothes, as if they are incognito. Momo. I hope Izuku doesn't get upset by this. Well, he had a small radar in his hand. Izumi. Don't worry, I'm sure he'll be impressed and he'll talk to us like never before. Maybe he'll give us a prize for being so brave. With a blush and a silly smile. Shaka. Or he'll get mad at us for being so stupid to do this. Kasumi. 50/50ths. Lita. Well, how much longer? Momo. We're here. At that point they saw a somewhat abandoned building, but they also saw several patrols coming at full speed towards the building. But the villains. Twice. I'm hungry. There is nothing to eat. I'm starving, old man. Kurigiri. You ate all the ice cream and you're still hungry. Twice. Hey, don't blame me, blame him. Don't blame him. Pointing to himself. Spinner. You're a gluttonous idiot. Abi. Just shut up and stop complaining, we're all hungry. Twice. Okay, but you know what I want. Mister. Let me guess, a pizza. Twice. Yes, pizza. That's when you hear someone knocking on the door. Hello, did anyone order a pizza? Twice. Yes, pizza. Before reaching the door, all Migs broke the wall, scaring all the other villains. All Migs. Everything is fine now, because I am here. With his typical smile. Abi. Shit. Twice. I won't go to jail again while he was running. All Might only launched an attack, but the entire building exploded due to a strong shock wave that sent him flying. All Might. What the hell? In the smoke you could see a man in a suit that All Might recognized. All Might. All for one serious. Hey foe. Hello All Might, I see that you still remember me, that's good, now I will finish killing you, since I couldn't last time with an evil smile behind his mask. But the boys. Izuku had arrived with his friends who were having some problems rescuing Bakugo, but Izuku alone easily defeated them and rescued him. Izumi. Oni-chan. Izuku. Then I will talk to you about the stupidity you did, but now take Bakugo and go to a safe place. Serious. Shaka. What will you do? Izuku. I have something to do, but now I'm leaving. The others just obeyed and took Bakugo away, but the gray-haired boy said a few words to his friend before leaving. Bakugo. You better not die or else I'll kill you later with a smile. Izuku. Okay, returning the smile. In the battle, All Might hit the villain in anger, and then he just laughed and returned the blows with double the force. Hey foe. You have become weak. All Might hitting him. All Might. Shut up furious. Both have only been a hit while everything was broadcast live around the world. The blows of both made the world rumble, and everyone watched the great fight between the two titans, but in a moment they saw how All Might took his malnourished form, surprising everyone. Hey foe. You see, you have no chance, your time is already up, now it is the turn of darkness to arise. All Might. As long as I can breathe that won't happen standing up. Hey foe. Well that can be fixed. His arm just walled off in a monstrous shape. All Might only concentrated his last strength on his arm to deliver the final blow to the villain, and they both launched themselves, colliding his fists. The blows collided, but All Might emerged victorious. All Might. United States of Smash. The blow embedded the villain in the ground, creating a large curtain of smoke and air that drove away the villains and heroes who saw them. All Might only thought that he had already won, but a blow sent him flying. Hey foe. Hahaha, you really became weak. All Might coming out of the crater showing his entire disfigured face. Everyone was already terrified because he was able to withstand that strong blow. All Might. How? Hey foe. A few days ago I extracted the powers of the nomu that you defeated in the USJ, I just had to absorb the blow, and I feel stronger than ever. All the same he only tried to use one for all, but he couldn't, the few flames he had already gone out, and the hero only accepted his fate. Hey foe. Just die. The villain just threw a punch at All Might. The spectators were amazed that the hero did not move, and the blonde just closed his eyes, but then he felt how he was pushed, and when he opened his eyes, he could see how Izuku put himself in his place to receive the blow. The boy received the blow and was sent flying into a building, surprising all the heroes and spectators. All Might. Midoriya shonen surprised and worried about his successor. Everyone saw how the black-haired man stood up in pain. Izuku. Shit, that hurt me. Coming out of some rubble. The boy jumped out alone and stood in front of the villains. Izuku. Alright, save the cameraman over there pointing at the press hidden by some rubble. All Might. Midoriya shonen, what is he doing? Get out of here. Izuku. All while the few flames I had ran out, it's my turn to fight, walking towards the villain. All Might. I can't let him do that shonen, it's my duty as his teacher. Worried. Izuku. Yes, but as your successor, he is also my duty with a smile, besides this is between my father and me, right? Parents looking at the villain. Hey foe. How did you discover me? That alone amazed everyone who saw them, and a green-haired girl was in a sock. Izuku. A white-haired boy by chance was in Nanashimura's memories, and that white-haired boy is also in a family photo at my house when I was 2 years old, the day before you abandoned us. Parents serious, or should I say Hisashi Shigaraki. The black-haired man's words only made the villain smile in a macabre way, and he just wanted to know how he discovered it. Hey foe. Really, how did you discover me? Izuku. I already told you, but if you want to know, well, let's say I have some friends. As he said that, one heard how one of the hidden nomus decayed and Shiko could be seen coming out of the shadows. Hey foe. Shiko, I should have seen it before, are you betraying me? Shiko. I just want to see the man who lied to me and murdered my grandmother dead. It would be. Hey foe. And why don't you kill All Might? Trying to lie to him. Shiko. You still have the nerve to keep lying to me. Furious, I'm going to disintegrate you for what you did to my grandmother Nana. That surprised All Might since he didn't know that she was his teacher's granddaughter. Hey foe. Well, I don't need you, I have more villains. Opening some purple portals. From the portals only a red liquid could be seen coming out of them, and Toga came out of one of the portals full of blood and with a sadistic smile. Izuku. Good job Toga-chan with a smile. Toga. All for my cute Izuku. Going to hug Izuku. Hey foe. You, what did you do with my other villains? Damn crazy angry. Toga. I just killed them, mutilated them, and took out their guts with a blush. That only scared the viewers a little, but they were amazed to learn that she was on the hero's side. Hey foe. How? Izuku. A camp. Flash black. Izuku. I have something special for you. From one of her pockets I take out a piece of paper. Toga. And that's it. Izuku. A letter for your boss. I know that Shiko convinced you to join us. Toga. Fufu, so you were the one that Tamura-chan appreciates so much with a smile. I know why he has so much interest in you. While he licked his lips. Izuku. I want you to give it to them and follow the instructions. Serious. Toga. Okay Izuku-kun, but you'll have to give me a prize later with a mischievous smile. Izuku. When you fulfill it I will give it to you, now I play along. Then flash black. Afo. So he told you the truth. And Shiko. The hand girl just stood next to Izuku. Izuku. Shiko. Toga. Put All Might and the others in a safe place, okay. Shiko. Okay. Toga. Hi. They both grabbed All Might and helped him stand up and move away from the battle zone. Izuku. Well, I think it's time to fix this. As he pressed a button on his briefcase and his trusty scythe came out. Afo. Why don't you join me? After all you are my son. Izuku. I will not let you kill the father figure that you never were, and also as the ninth my duty is to defeat you, father. Serious. Afo. Fine, but I won't hold back. Just because you are my son, I will liquidate you and then I will attack those traitors. The villain created other portals and several nomus appeared. Ofo. Maybe you killed my villains, but you haven't done it with my nomus. I'm the only one who knows how and where they are created. Smiling. Izuku. Then I'll just have to kill your disgusting creatures and force him out of you. The nomus only attacked, but Izuku only killed them quickly by cutting them in half or cutting off their heads. The spectators were somewhat disgusted by the horrendous scene, but no one looked away. Afo, seeing that the nomus only hindered the battle, attacked, but Izuku used one for all at 100% and counterattacked the attacks. Both of them only hit the other, and Izuku cut off some parts of the villain's body with his scythe, bothering the villain. The match was close, no one took a step back, but All for One only used some of his quirks, and some piles of stakes came out of the ground, and Izuku he only cut the stakes with his weapon or dodged them. Afo. You want to die once and for all. Angry. The villain began to throw debris with a telekinesis quirk, but those were only destroyed by Izuku. Izuku only touched the ground and roots came out of them, trapping the villain, but he burned the roots and with a speed quirk, began to attack Izuku who defended himself. In a single moment, All for One hit Izuku's chest, breaking several ribs and causing him to bury himself and several beams stuck in some parts of his body. All the people thought that he was already dead, but they saw how he came out and his wounds regenerated and All for One just got angry because of that. Afo. Look, you have more than one quirk. Looking at the boy. Izuku. Yes, thank the other bears. Izuku took out his kagyun and began to attack and cut the villain's body like a beast. The villain was only trying to defend himself, but the boy was brutal in his attacks until in one movement, Izuku bit the villain's shoulder, tearing off a piece of flesh. Afo. You're crazy. Izuku. Thanks for the food. Wiping his mouth, but you taste like shit, you taste like fish guts about to decompose. The villain only regenerated and furiously began to attack the boy, but he saw how a mask formed on the black-haired man's face and 200-foot-shaped tentacles emerged. The boy's scythe and tentacles moved like crazy, terrifying the villain and the spectators. Afo. What the hell are you? Scared and nervous. Izuku. I am a ghoul. The boy only began to attack the villain, and at one point he saw how his left arm was separated from his body as it was sliced by the boy's tentacles. Afo. You bastard. I don't finish since Izuku with his scythe sends the villain flying and slams him into the ground. Izuku. Tell me how many is 1007? Afo. Rotten he couldn't finish as Izuku nailed one of his kagyuns into his leg. Izuku. That's not the answer I wanted, so I'll repeat it to you one more time. How many is 1007? Afo. Jamming another tentacle into his now only arm. Izuku. How many is 1007? Well, he resisted devouring the villain in front of everyone. Afo. Izuku. How many is 1007? Izuku, with one of his kagyuns, gradually crossed the villain's chest until he reached his heart. Afo. 993 986 979 972, crying please stop. End music. The Kakuja see Izuku was disappearing along with his mask. Izuku. You know, I would kill you, but you have the quirks of many people and a pretty heroine who I want to do her job again, but I haven't said that you will leave unscathed. With a terrifying look. The boy just touched the villain's forehead and began torturing him. Afo. What is this? While he was screaming like crazy and holding his head. Izuku. It's just a small illusion on the part of the previous bearers, it tortures you for all eternity, unless you return the quirks you stole, you decide serious and cold. Afo. Agree, but for Izuku just snapped his fingers, and the illusion stopped. The villain was in a puddle of his own blood and drooling, as if he were crying from his mouth and regenerating little by little, and in a moment he became unconscious. All the heroes around just went to the battle zone and saw Izuku while he looked coldly at the unconscious villain. Izuku. Lock them up before he wakes up. While he was just walking towards the girls and everyone. All makes. Midoriya shonen looking at his successor, Izuku. I did it Oromato while he gave him a smile and a thumbs up that everyone saw on the news. Izuku suddenly let go of his side and he fell to the ground tired and shaking. Izuku. I still don't get used to it hahaha while he was unconscious. Shiko and Toga just ran to see the black-haired man and saw that he was still breathing and they calmed down. All the people who saw the epic battle only began to scream like crazy when they saw the smile and thumbs up that Izuku showed them as a sign of victory, and his teammates and family only cried with joy when they saw the boy well and that he had defeated the villain. Part 10 Beacon of Hope. We can see Izuku on a hospital stretcher and next to him are all the girls from his harem and his mother next to All Might. Inko. Will everyone be okay? Worried. All Might. The doctor said that he didn't have any injuries, that it was just tiredness, but he can never be completely sure looking at his shonen. Izumi. Oni-chan worried. Izuku's mind. Izuku can be seen lying on the floor on Nana's lap as she pets him. Nana. Thank you for saving my granddaughter, you really are the best of us happy and caressing her head. Izuku. It's nothing Nana other than you and the others gave a lot for me, take it as a small thank you while she hugged her waist. Nana. All the other bearers are proud, especially the first one he laughing. Izuku. Thank you while still hugging I think it's time for me to wake up, goodbye Nana I close my eyes to wake up. Out of mind. You could still see Izuku waking up and only those who saw him sleeping were happy and the girls just hugged him. Izuku. How much sleep did I have? Izumi. Seriously, that's what you're asking, idiot crying. Izuku. Sorry looking at all the girls and at All Might then his mother who saw him crying hello giving them a smile. The others, upon seeing that smile, only shed more tears and began to cry uncontrollably, hugging the black-haired man tightly. Time skip. After a while everyone calmed down they just started asking about what happened in the battle. Izumi. Oni-chan, what you said is true. About All for One being. Izuku. Yes he is looking at the ground, but that doesn't matter he surprised the girls and his sister and mother, even though he is our father, it doesn't mean that we are or that we have any relationship with him, we are just a normal family like everyone else. The rest that's all smiling. Those words only made the boys happy, but at that moment Izuku remembered his fellow villains. Izuku. Oromato and Shiko and Toga. All Might. They are being interrogated now why? Izuku. Well getting up I have to go get them taking off his hospital gown without caring if the girls saw it and putting on his clothes that were on a chair. Momo. Wait, they're villains, why would you help them? Izuku. No, they are not, they were just unlucky and became murderers to survive taking his trusty briefcase. They were manipulated by All for One and became villains and I must get them off that path. Izuku only walked out the door alongside All Might who knew what he meant and was not going to let his teacher's granddaughter be imprisoned. Time skip elsewhere. Namaza. Are you going to tell me where your other villain companions are or not? Seeing Shiko with anti-quirk handcuffs. Shiko. No thanks no interest. Namaza. Maybe your friend does know serious. Shiko. She's crazy, the truth is she doubted it and as I already told you, I don't know where they are. They spent a while trying to get information out of both of them, but Toga only bothered the police and Shiko just ignored them. Namaza. It's useless just imprison her tired. Izuku. I'm sorry, Detective the winner's look of fear and respect appearing on the scene from all the officers, but they are under my protection. Namaza. Alright. Boy. What are you doing here? Izuku. We came for Toga Himiko and Shiko Shimura to free them and turn them into heroines serious. That surprised everyone, but none of them said anything while they were in Izuku's presence. Namaza. I'm sorry but they are villains and they have murdered many innocent people, they can't leave. All Might. We already fixed that and we also have permission from the director of UA, taking out a paper signed by Nezu. Namaza. Really? Reading the paper and seeing that it says that the heroes were infiltrators in the League of Villains and that if they had killed someone it was for a greater good well, I think this helps looking tiredly at both of them in the mirror of the living room. Interrogation well, they can take them, but they will be under the supervision and surveillance of some heroes. All Might. Thanks detective. Namaza. Well, anything for the new symbol of peace looking at Izuku. Izuku. Thank you very much Detective Happy. Time skip. After signing a few papers, Izuku was being hugged by Toga's arm and Shiko only held her hand, somewhat embarrassed. Now we can see Izuku at his house eating with Toga, Shiko, Izumi and her mother, while both green-haired girls looked somewhat intimidating at both ex-villains. Inko. Well, Shiko-chan, how's Izuku? Trying to get information from him. Shiko. Well one day we ate ice cream together and BW well, and he also told me the truth about my past and helped me get over it somewhat blushing and well I'm grateful to him. Toga. I met Izuku in a forest when I tried to kill his friends and tried to stab him he said happily and that made Izumi angry. Izuku. Toga-chan, you shouldn't say that so naturally giving away her friend nor that you tried to kill my classmates. Izumi. Oni-chan, why are they here? With a vein on his forehead. Izuku. A hero has to watch over the girls and they are under house arrest while they fix some things at the academy. Inko. So you offered to take care of them? Izuku. Yes, she said simply that was it, or a SWAT squad would do it. Toga. Maybe I would have had fun with the SWAT, blushing at the thought of killing the soldiers. Izuku. I'm sorry, Toga, but you won't kill anyone anymore. Serious. Toga. Yeah, because. Izuku. Because that is bad, and now as a future heroine you are prohibited from killing unless it is in a situation that warrants it. Toga. Heroes are boring. Pouting. Izuku. Don't worry, you can still torture, cut among other things, as long as you don't kill anyone. Stroking his head. Toga. I really can with a smile. Izuku. As long as you don't kill anyone it's fine. Toga. Yee, I love you. Izuku hugging Izuku and giving him a kiss that only made Izumi break her cover. Time skip. The next day we can see Izuku buying some things for his new tenants and for her family, but among all of them, Izuku was the center of everyone's attention. Now we see Izuku walking with a lot of bags towards his house, but in that we can see a fire in which some people were trying to escape, and we could see a villain made of only fire trying to rob people. Villain. Just give me everything and you won't get out. He was interrupted by a blow to the face. Izuku. I'm sorry, idiot, looking at the villain who was getting up from the ground due to the blow, but that won't happen. Villain. Why, you're Black Reaper scared? Izuku. Yes I am, and now you are going to give up by hook or by crook. Villain. I will not surrender to a brat, making flames come out all over the sides of his body. Izuku. Well then, the hard way. Izuku just snapped one of his fingers and in the blink of an eye he hit the villain's head hard. Villain. Damn furious. The villain began to throw flames towards the black-haired man, but Izuku dodged them and saw a hydrant and just broke it in half and directed the water towards the villain, extinguishing his flames. When the flames from the villain's body went out, he saw a bald man all naked as the flames from his body burned his clothes. Izuku alone with a strong blow knocked out the villain and using his roots trapped him so that he would not escape. All of this was seen by people and some only recorded the black-haired man doing his heroic act. Izuku. Well, now home, taking his purchases and going. Time skip. People at this time were somewhat surprised by the true form of their former symbol of peace, but that was quickly replaced by rumors of the new hero and symbol of peace who defeated the worst of the villains a few days ago. After a few days the name of Black Reaper became known and feared by villains and loved by people, and some heroes had respect for the boy. Now we see Izuku in the safest and most lethal prison of all, the Tartaros prison, where they lock up the worst villain of all. Izuku was only accompanied by all MIGs, and the Protioneros who saw Izuku alone were terrified since they say that no one can defeat him and that fighting against him is fighting against death dressed as a man. Izuku only walked with all MIGs to a cell that was guarding All for One at the request of Izuku, who wanted to see the villain and also talk to him. All MIGs. Is Midorilla shonen sure? Izuku. Yes, Oromedo, I'm just going to talk to him and you, while you can see that he returned the stolen quirks of the heroes and innocents who are still alive. All MIGs. Sure, just take care of yourself. Going to the controls and files room. Izuku only walked a few more meters and saw a large cell which when he opened the door, he only saw All for One completely tied up so that he could not escape and several turrets pointing at him in case he did something. Afo. Look, but it's the new symbol of peace. Looking at Izuku. Hello son, with a macabre smile. Izuku. I'm not your son. Serious and Grace, I think I don't like the title at all, but if I can keep idiots like you at bay, then I will accept being the next symbol of peace. Afo. Because you don't want me to call you son, after all I'm your father. Looking arrogantly at the boy. Izuku. Do you really think that after abandoning us you have the right to call me or Izumi son? Somewhat annoying. Afo. You know that I didn't want to abandon you, it was the fault of that bitch Nana, and all MIGs furious when I confronted them. They disfigured my face and I couldn't return to you. Something sad. I still remember when all that happened. Nostalgic. You turned 2 years old and we are eating cake. Izuku. Yes I know, they called you saying that Nana, Great Torino and all MIGs were attacking one of your bases on an island not far from here. Serious. I searched your mind when it touched your front in battle. Afo. It seems that one for all is like how I thought about it. Smiling. I knew it wasn't just a strength quirk. Oath. It is a quirk to store memories and powers and then pass them on. Afo. Exactly. Smiling. Maybe we are not that different son. Izuku. Serious, you're wrong, I'm not like you, I have ideals and people I want to protect. Afo. And why did you forgive them? Looking at Izuku. You are not the only one who can read minds, although you are very complicated, it looks like a labyrinth. I could only see a few memories and many traumas. Izuku. And. Afo. How can you even see their faces? Why did I still love them? Izuku. Because despite everything, I am someone who does not hold grudges against others, rather I am grateful to them. They opened my eyes and helped me evolve, they made me what I am now. Afo. But why don't you come? You are stronger, faster, you can kill them or torture them yourself. He was interrupted. Izuku. Revenge is not the answer. I want to be a hero and also know how to forgive. I gave them a second chance. If they want to throw it away then go ahead and I will not have mercy on them, but if they try to redeem themselves then let them try serious. Afo? You are a very good person looking at the ground unlike me. Izuku. My teacher taught me that. Afo? Alright. Izuku. No, someone else, someone better touching his left eye and he taught me that you have to accept reality and overcome it, become stronger and evolve looking seriously at the villain. Afo? It seems like you had a great teacher. What's his name? Izuku. Ken Kaneki, the only carrier you didn't manage to kill leaving the cell. Afo? I see, hahaha damn ghoul watching how his son leaves. Izuku left the cell alone and headed to the room where All-Might was. Izuku. Hello Oramato looking at the blonde. All-Might. Midoriya shonen how did it go looking at the boy. Izuku. It wasn't a big deal no interest tell me he returned the quirks. All-Might. If I say it surprisingly, even Ragdoll, the quirks she must have now should only be from dead people or dead villains. Izuku. Okay, well I think it's time to go, we have nothing to do here. All-Might. Sure shonen. They both just left the prison, but some prisoners were trying to stop the Black Reaper, and one succeeded. Inmate. Hey, you're the one who calls himself the Black Reaper, right? Taking Izuku by a small part of his trench coat. Izuku. What do you want? Inmate. We just wanted to tell you that very soon you will be dead, the villains have you in their sights hahaha and they will all go after you smiling arrogantly. Izuku. You should go to the infirmary before you bleed to death. The boy continued on his way, but everyone saw how the inmate's hand was on the floor and the prisoner only screamed in pain and despair when he saw his mutilated hand. All-Might. I think you went too far Midoriya shonen. Izuku. Don't worry, Oramato, that won't kill him and he threatened me, if he tries anything against me or against those I love, I will finish them off without mercy with a cold look. Part 11 a date. The day was a normal day, but for a certain teacher plus 18 it was a shitty day. Namuri was waking up with the worst face a person can have. Namuri. Whoa yawning damn, what a pain looking at the time it's 9 o'clock in the morning I have to clean the house. The woman put on some special slippers and took a mop and started cleaning her home. Time skip. Namuri, after a while the woman had already cleaned her entire house, but she was still in a bad mood and when she finished she just threw herself on her chair and decided to sleep, but the noise of the bell at the door of her house woke her up. Stopped. Namuri. Damn hearing the doorbell if it's not something important I'm going to put the idiot who's knocking on my door to sleep. The woman only reluctantly got up and opened the door with a face like a criminal. Namuri. What do you want, idiot with a bad face, but when she saw the person clearly she only blushed and calmed down a little. Izuku blushing. The black-haired man was wearing casual clothes that looked very attractive to many and with a small dog in his arms. Izuku. Hello Namuri-chan with a smile that wets the protagonist's panties. The teacher just blushed in a way that Gamma had done before and had a small runny nose. Namuri. Izuku W what are you doing here? Blushing and seeing the little dog in her arms and whose dog is that? Izuku. I came to look for you for our date Namuri-chan smiling at him and I found the dog lost when he came here stroking the dog that only licked his hand. Namuri. Date. Confused. Izuku. I told you that we would go on a date, with the problems of the villains I couldn't, but now that we are both free, we can go on a nice date, don't you think? With a smile. Namuri just blushed and accepted the date's offer. Namuri. Okay, but let me change entering while she was followed by Izuku. Izuku only saw her teacher blushing a little since she only seemed to have a sweater on top of her, revealing her perfect body and her curves. Izuku. You know Namuri-chan, just like she is, she looks very beautiful looking at the heroine. When the woman saw how she was dressed again, she blushed and covered herself, and even more so when she heard that she looked beautiful according to Izuku. Namuri. Do you really think so blushing? Izuku. Because of her, you are quite a beauty giving a smile to the woman who only made her blush and become a little happy when she heard the compliment. Namuri. Thank you, but I can't go to our appointment, make yourself comfortable while I change going upstairs to change. Izuku just took a seat on the sofa in the living room and upon looking closely she could see that her house was almost like a mansion and was very luxurious and large. After a while of seeing what clothes she would wear for her date, Namuri only came downstairs but saw Izuku laughing while she looked at an old photo of the heroine in her early days as a hero. Izuku. Hahaha she just laughed when she saw her teacher in a prototype of her now hero suit. The woman saw which photo it was of her and quickly took it off and then hid it. Izuku. Hey she was looking at her still laughing while the woman was all blushing you looked very cute in the photo. Namuri. Shut up that was my old hero costume and you've never been told not to snoop around in strange houses somewhat annoying with the guy. Izuku. But I didn't touch anything, it was Bobby pointing to the dog who started opening drawers in the heroine's house. Namuri. Damn flea seeing the dog wait Bobby. Izuku. Apparently that's his name showing the name on his necklace. It also has an address in case he gets lost he was going to go to when we went out. Nomuri. Well, I think the quicker we get away from that animal, the quicker we can go to our date happy. Izuku. Well, let's go. Time skip. After a while they both found the house which was that of the dog's owners. Izuku. It seems like it's here seeing a somewhat not very big house. They both just knocked on the door and when it opened they both saw Ryuko from class B. Ryuko. Izuku. Confused, what are you doing here? Izuku. Hello Ryuko-san, by chance this is your dog, showing the dog that when he saw her owner, he just started hugging her and licking her. Ryuko. Hello Bobby, stroking the dog. Yes it is, thank you for returning it with a nice and tender smile. Izuku. It's okay, just be more careful, okay? With a smile that made the girl blush and that Nomuri saw clearly. Nomuri. Well, we have to go, hugging Izuku's arm possessively goodbye, walking away with Izuku. Ryuko. That's strange, he looked like Midnight Sensei. With partner. Nomuri. Well Izuku-kun, now it's time to start our date happy. Izuku. Well, let's go happy. They both just had fun on her date and many men looked at the woman with some lustful glances since for many she was very beautiful and even more so her dress made her look like a goddess. In part, the girls saw Izuku because for them he was very attractive and seemed like a kind of prince to them, but everyone could only despise Nomuri with Izuku's gaze from the men and women for hugging Izuku's arm. Time skip. After a while having fun, you can see Izuku and Nomuri in the middle of a park eating ice cream while watching the sunset together. Nomuri. Hey Izuku, getting the boy's attention. It's true that the villains who helped you live with you now looking at the boy. Izuku. If they are under house arrest and they are in my house with my mother and sister, it is honestly something entertaining while eating his ice cream. Nomuri. I see, jealous, it must be something nice to live with so many girls, right? Pouting. Izuku. Don't be like that, I'm just saying that every time they fight it's fun, although sometimes it's annoying. Nomuri only began to hug Izuku tighter, putting her head on his shoulder. Nomuri. Well, if you say so, whispering something in his ear, but make no mistake, you are mine and I will have you for the first time, with a flirtatious smile. Hearing that, Izuku could only cheer up a little and kiss his teacher girlfriend while they continued hugging. Time skip. We can see the couple walking hugged down the street towards the black-haired woman's house. Nomuri. Today was a great day, with a loving smile full of love. Thank you for being with me. Izuku. I promised you that we would have our date and I am a man of my word, smiling at the girl. They were both walking, but an explosion in a store took them out of that beautiful moment and they saw Kirishima fighting a man who apparently had swords coming out of his entire body, and they also saw Tamaki with his hero suit and the professional hero Fatgum. Izuku only saw how the villain injured something in his neck and then his quirk seemed to increase to drastic levels and he began to draw his swords all over his body uncontrollably. Izuku. Nomuri helps Fatgum. I'm in charge of defeating the one with the swords. Nomuri. Hey. Both could only attack the villains and help their friends. With Izuku and Kirishima. Kirishima looked like his body was made of stone, giving him a somewhat wilder shape and helping him counter the villain's swords. Izuku just smiled when he saw his partner evolve his quirk, but saw how he couldn't with the strength of all the swords he was carrying, and Izuku just took out his Kagyun and began to trumpet the swords under the gaze of all the spectators who recognized him. Izuku. Hello Kirishima, are you okay? Kirishima. Bro, how? Izuku. I was passing by the area and I couldn't help but see you, it seems like you're having fun. As he broke the swords with his tentacles, do you mind if I join? Kirishima. No, but he got something, it seems that he is a kind of quirk improvement, seeing the villain before he didn't have that power and dominance in his quirk. Izuku. I see, well I break his swords and you knock him out with a smile. Kirishima. Yes sir, well he activated his unbreakable mode. Izuku only began to break the swords with his Kagyun while Kirishima advanced and when he got closer to the villain, he gave him a blow that knocked him to the ground. Villain. No, this should make me win, touching the face where he received the blow. This should make me stronger, seeing the gringa that I had in my hand, but it was broken by a stomp next to Izuku's hand. Izuku. Sleep you idiot, knocking him out with one blow. After a while Nomuri slept and helped Fatgum and Tamaki defeat the other villains who weren't causing much trouble. Fatgum. Good job team, with a smile. Tamaki. They cost somewhat tired, at least Midnight Sensei could put them to sleep quickly, looking at the teacher. Nomuri. What the hell are these guys now? They didn't have normal quirk, seeing the unconscious villains. Izuku. They didn't get some kind of quirk enhancement serum appearing with Kirishima and the last villain. Nomuri. Quirk upgrade. Kirishima. I saw him injecting a kind of serum and by doing so his quirk improved radically, seeing the villain unconscious. Fatgum. Well, apparently the villain still managed to do it, sighing, well, it's kind of nice to see you, but what are you doing here? Making the couple nervous, they won't be on a date, right? With a mocking smile. Nomuri. Who I date? No, I don't think so. Nervous. Izuku. I think it's just a coincidence, Mr. Fatgum, but hey, Miss Midnight, would you let me accompany you to her home extending her arm, Namuri. Of course you are quite a young gentleman Midoriya taking her arm and leaving the heroes. Kirishima. Wow bro, that's for men and gentlemen seeing how they go together. Fatgum. Haha damn I have to learn from him watching the couple go. Tamaki. I just want to go home, everything hurts depressed as always. Time skip. The couple had already arrived at the black-haired woman's house and the woman only stopped by to buy Izuku a glass of tea before leaving. They both just chatted a little, but Namuri drank a couple of bottles of whiskey to free himself a little and well let's just say he drank too much. Now we can see a drunk Namuri on top of Izuku trying to rip off the black-haired man's clothes. Namuri. Come on. Hiccup I just want to see your statuesque body hiccup then I'll let you touch my breasts hiccup totally drunk and horny. Izuku. Namuri-chan, I think I drink too much holding the woman's arms preventing her from tearing off her shirt because we're not going to sleep trying to relax her. Namuri. New holding the black-haired man by the shoulders I want to sleep with you hiccup because I love you Baka screaming her feelings. Izuku only felt something in her heart, how his heart beat faster when he heard those words and he just kissed Namuri. Izuku. I love you too, Namuri-chan kissing his girlfriend with all the love she has. They both just let themselves go and Namuri was able to remove Izuku's shirt which showed the black-haired man's well-marked body along with some other scars that only made him look more attractive and delicious in the woman's eyes. Izuku was not far behind and was able to remove the black-haired woman's shirt, showing the black bra she was wearing and began to touch her breasts while she only moaned and became more excited. They both just got lost in lust until they both went towards the bedroom to have more privacy. Part 12 A Complicated Night. We can see Izuku passionately kissing her Namuri teacher while little by little they were completely undressing. Izuku. Are you sure about this Namuri-chan looking at her teacher. Namuri. Stop hiccup saying stupid things hiccup obviously I'm sure still drunk and excited. Lemon skipped please read it on website. Time skip next day. We can see Izuku sleeping between Namuri's breasts as if they were pillows while she caressed him tenderly while she had the most beautiful smile that a woman could give a man. Time skip afternoon. We see Izuku waking up little by little and when she opens her eyes she sees that she was between Namuri's breasts and when she looks up she sees Namuri with a smile looking at him tenderly. Namuri. Good morning darling happy. Izuku. Good morning, Preciosa returning the greeting. They both just gave each other a tender kiss and after a few minutes they went to have breakfast. Time skip. We can still see Izuku walking around his house and remembering the happy words of his girlfriend Namuri about him. Flashback. Namuri. Hey Izuku-kun, you know if I get pregnant you will have to take responsibility with a beautiful smile. Then flashback. Izuku. Damn, you're right, we did it without protection, it's possible, but I doubt it, sigh well, what are we going to do to him? Izuku forgot something very crucial at that moment, that he had 3 girls in love with him at home, waiting to interrogate him at home, about why he didn't come back last night. Only when Izuku opened the door did he see the gloomy look of Izumi, Toga and Shiko, who seemed to have been waiting for him for a long time. Izumi. IzukuMidoriya where have you been with a terrifying aura? Toga. And if you don't tell us we will interrogate you happy, but he had a rope in his hand. Izuku. Hello girls, I just stayed at a friend's house somewhat nervous. Izuku. Hell, she said my full name, she's very upset. Izumi. I don't believe you snaps fingers Toga recorded. Toga. Hi. Toga began to sniff and search all parts of Izuku's body, as if he were a dog. Toga. Sniffing it smells like women's perfume and here is a black hair pulling a small hair from his shoulder, apparently Izuku-kun was with a girl. Those words only increased Izumi's terrifying aura and Shiko was disintegrating a piece of bread that she had in her hand. Izumi. With a girly. With a cold and terrifying look. Izuku. Well, yes resigned. Izumi. And what did you do with her? Izuku. Nothing nervous. Izumi. I still don't believe you snapping fingers Toga. Toga. Hi. Toga only took off his shirt and asked to see a small pacifier that Namuri had placed on Izuku's collarbone. At that moment, everyone left the games, including their togas, and put on serious clothes. Shiko. Izuku, what is that pointing to the mark on her neck? Toga. Looks like you had fun huh? We will have to punish you. Izumi. IzukuMidoriya, why do you have a mark on your neck? Izuku was already nervous and sweating a little, but he knew that if he lied to them it would be worse, so he just asked to tell the truth. Izuku. Okay, I was with a girl and she and I well oh. Izumi. Did they? Izuku. Yes, sorry. Everyone was ready to kill the black-haired man, but Izumi, upon hearing those words, could only run away and lock herself in his room. Izuku. Damn, girls, where's mom? Shiko. Mrs. Midoriya said she was going to buy some things. Izuku. I'll have to fix myself this time, please don't interrupt walking towards Izumi's room. Izuku only made it to the door and could hear Izumi crying. Izuku. Izumi, it's me, please open the door. Knocking on the door. Izumi. Long sniff, idiot. Izuku only used his strength and broke the lock on the door to enter. Izuku. Izumi, for he didn't finish because Izumi threw a pillow in his face. Izumi. Long, idiot, woman, stupid brother. Well, he threw several objects that Izuku only dodged until he reached Izumi and held her by both hands. Izuku. What's wrong with you? Why are you trying to hit me now? Izumi. Because you are an idiot woman who sleep with another screaming. Izuku at that moment understood why his sister behaved like that and only saw a solution. Izuku could only push Izumi against the wall and kiss her. Izumi. He is kissing me, my Oni-chan is kissing me, I'm so happy. Lemon skipped, please read it on website. Time skip. Next day. We can see Izuku being used as a pillow while Toga, Shiko and Izumi were lying on his chest asleep. Izuku. Shit, I rarely use protection with any of them, I'll have to be careful next time. Time skip. A few days passed and the three girls were more attached to Izuku the last few days. The UA also gave a notice that they would turn the academy into a boarding school, since they wanted to protect their students, and the best way is to create dormitories for only the students where they can stay. Without the risk of some villain kidnapping them on the way home. Some parents overprotected their children, saying that they would not go unless the new young hero Black Reaper was with them to protect them, since Izuku became very famous as the hero who defeated the worst villain of all, and some say that it is invincible. On one of those days All Might had to beg Izuku's mother to let him enter UA again. Inko was surprised that her son became so important throughout Japan as the new symbol of peace, and even told him All Might believed that he was her successor, and upon hearing the responsibility that Izuku had, she could not help but accept that in exchange for All Might protecting Izuku, Izumi and also Toga and Shiko, since she saw them both as her new daughters. Now we can see the entire A class looking at a big building that said Alliance on a big sign. Mina. Wow, how big it is, seeing the big building. Sato, these are the new bedrooms. Lita. It's beautiful, crying funny. Izawa. Well, my children, this will be their new bedrooms, here they will live, eat, etc. But obviously you will have to keep the place clean and tidy, as if it were your home, you understand. All. Hi. Lita. Sensei, I have a question, raising her hand. Izawa. And that's it. Lita. What are they doing here, pointing to Shiko and Toga. Izawa. They are ex-villains, and they also helped against All for One, and are under Izuku's protection. Looking at the boy, it already seems that you have been using your influences as a new symbol of peace. Toru. Izuku-kun, why are they here? Curious. Izuku. They helped me and prevented the death of several civilians in my battle against All for One, now they will be heroines. Lita. But they are villains. He couldn't finish because Izuku gave him a look that terrified him. Izuku. They only killed people to survive and became villains for the same reason, and they were also manipulated by All for One. They will now be heroines, and they will be the best, and that is all I will tell you. Looking with a dead look at Lita. Lita. Well, it's okay, scared. The others understood why Izuku forgave them and gave them a second chance, but for Izuku's harem, they only saw them as upset since Izumi, Shiko and Toga were very attached and affectionate towards Izuku. Izumi. Hey broccoli, because they are so attached to Izuku, somewhat annoying. Izumi. I just want to be close to my Oni-chan, is that wrong? With a mocking smile. Kasumi. I'll hit you. The students just talked about their things, and Izuku started talking to Kirishima. Izuku. Hey bro, speaking in Kirishima's language. Kirishima. What's up bro? Izuku. The time I saw you with Fatgum and Tamaki, you were in your internship, right? Kirishima. Yes, they said that we could look for good internships as heroes, and well, Tamaki senpai introduced me to Fatgum, and from that day on I do my internships with him. Izuku. I understand. Looking at the girls that I'm with you. Looking at Toga and Shiko. Time skip. We can see Izuku in the UA dining room, but at that moment he was the center of attention of everyone in the place, since he was eating with the ex-villains, and also with his entire class excited about his internships, and the big three too. They were there congratulating Izuku on his great achievement. Mirio. Hey, Izuku, getting the black-haired boy's attention. I want to talk to you about something. Izuku. And that's it. Mirio. May you join me in the internship? Excited. Izuku. Well, which hero will it be? Mirio. With my teacher Sir. Night Eye. He was interrupted. Izuku. All Might's former partner, he has a quirk that allows him to see the future by looking into someone's eyes or touching them. I know him well. Mirio. Well, what do you say? Izuku. I'll think about it a little, first I have to take care of something. Looking at Toga and Shiko, but he saw how he got along well with Najire, and an idea occurred to him. Time skip. We can see Izuku next to Najire and apart away from the others, and Najire was all blushing. Najire. Oh god, he called me to this place, what does he want? Maybe he's coming to confess. No, Izuku, I can't, I'm older than you, but if you insist so much, I can't refuse. Najire was in her thoughts until Izuku spoke. Izuku. Nijiru-senpai, I called you to tell you well since I saw you I knew you were a good person, you are pretty and very good, and I want. Nijiru. Here he comes, let's just calm down Nijiru, come on, Izuku-kun, say it, Izuku. Nijiru-senpai please help Toga and Shiko with their internships bowing. Nijiru only saw Izuku with a poker face and something very disappointed. Nijiru. Izuku. I want you to take Toga and Shiko to your internships please. Nijiru. Izuku I don't know if he can thinking about how I would explain that to his sister. Izuku. Please, I can pay you later, okay? At that moment an idea came to the girl's head. Nijiru. Well that's fine, but then you'll have to pay me. Izuku. Well, thank you very much Nijiru-senpai. After that scene they both returned with the others, both ex-villains were surprised that Nijiru offered them to go to her internships, and she also offered the internship to Izuku's entire harem, and that made him very happy, and a teacher discreetly saw his favorite student in the distance with a smile. Part 13 Internships. We can see Izuku and Mirio sitting chatting with All Might in the teacher's room. All Might. Well Midoriya Shonen, I called you and young Mirio to offer you a good internship. Izuku. And that's it. Mirio. With my teacher sir. Night I cheerful. Izuku. Well it's a good opportunity thinking. Mirio. True and All Might was the one who asked me looking at the blonde. All Might. If I want you to go with young Mirio, I also want him to have a good internship to improve as a shonen hero. Unfortunately I can't teach him anymore, so I asked young Mirio if he can convince Sir. Night-Eye. Izuku. And you did it. Mirio. He gave you the opportunity to see it, but he will surely give you a test so you can enter and do your internship. Izuku. I guess I've already heard that with you, right? Mirio. Yes and I'm the only one who has passed his tests proud. Izuku. Well I guess that's fine, thanks for the offer Mirio-senpai. Mirio. It's nothing. Time skip. After a while we can see Izuku's harem excited about the internships. Toga. Izuku-kun calling our protagonist Nijiru-chan, offered us to go with him to his internship, along with the others hugging the black-haired man. Shiko. Yes, he also offered it to the other girls, but I guess it's okay somewhat nervous. Izuku. Okay Shiko-chan stroking the gray-haired girl's head you'll be with the others, I assure you that you'll be fine. Shiko only blushed at Izuku's act and owed the look. Shiko. Baka whispering. At that point the other girls appear and see their scene and become a little jealous. Izumi. Hello Oni-chan taking and hugging her brother in a very affectionate way. Izumi has been a little more affectionate with Izuku since they had their complicated night. Izuku. Hello Izumi, hello girls, I heard that you were all going to the same internship as Nijiru-senpai. Momo. Yes, but we will be in separate teams unfortunately. Tsuyu. Yes, Uraraka, Toga, Shiko and I are one of the groups that will go together. Jiru. Unfortunately we can't all go together, but so we'll go together somewhat cheerful. Izuku. Yes, I'm happy for everyone, I will also go with Mirio-senpai for an internship, it will be from Sir. Night-Eye's agency. They all got excited and congratulated Izuku, and for the rest of the day only Sella, Izumi, Toga and Shiko spent together more than everyone, but it was a pleasant day. Time skip. We can see Mirio and Izuku walking in the direction of Sir. Night-Eye's agency, but Izuku was a little nervous since All Migs had told him one or another anecdote about the hero's previous life before All Migs was injured. Flash black. All Migs. Shonen now that Mirio is not here I want to ask him to be careful serious. Izuku. Careful. All Migs. I had previously told Night-Eye about One for All, and he had proposed giving One for All to young Mirio. That surprised Izuku a little. Izuku. So if I didn't join in having One for there, Mirio-senpai would join in having E. All Migs. Exactly, the first time I told him that I gave you the One for All, he got a little nervous, but calmly I'm sure, and he changed his mind when he saw you fighting All for One, but even so, I'm sure he'll try to reconsider giving you the One for All to Mirio. Izuku. Don't worry All Migs raising up I wouldn't give him the One for All for anything in the world, not out of selfishness, but because I have a lot of good people with me. All Migs could tell that he was referring to the ancient bearers at the core of the One for All, so he was glad at the words of his successor. Then flash black. Mirio and Izuku were already walking through the hallways of the facilities, and Mirio said a few words to Izuku before entering his teacher's office. Mirio. Izuku before entering I want to tell you that my teacher has some unorthodox work methods, so keep an open mind okay? Izuku. Okay. Izuku thought that he had some secret or other about work not what he was about to see. When he opened the door he could see Sir. Night-Eye torturing one of his heroines in some kind of tickling machine. Izuku. What the hell are you doing? Somewhat surprised. Mirio. Night-Eye thinks that laughter is the best solution for everything, so he's punishing Bubble Girl. Bubble. Mirio. Hello teacher called the hero's attention. Izuku only saw the hero's strange look and a shiver ran down his spine, but he had to admit that such torture had never occurred to him. Izuku. What a very good torture technique, maybe I'll use it on a girl or someone I don't want to hurt. Izuku. Hello, nice to meet you Mr. Night-Eye, but he was interrupted. Night-Eye. Yes I know deactivating the torture device and letting Bubble rest your Black Reaper, the new symbol of peace, according to many looking analytically at the boy. Upon saying that name Bubble reacted again and saw Izuku like a girl with stars in her eyes. Bubble. Mr. Night-Eye, please can you free me now calling the hero. Night-Eye. Yes, your punishment is over releasing the girl. Bubble just walked up to Izuku and greeted him a little nervously. Bubble. Hello, I'm Bubble Girl, nice to meet you Mr. Black Reaper bowing. Izuku. Come on, you don't have to be so formal, besides, I'm the one who should bow since you are the heroine, Miss Bubble bowing down and kissing her wrist, nice to meet you. The heroine only blushed like a tomato because of Izuku's chivalry, but accepted the nice gesture with pleasure. Izuku. And you can call me Izuku that's my real name with a smile. Bubble. BB well, nice to meet you Izuku-kun blushing. Night-Eye continued looking analytically at Izuku, and Mirio wrote down in a notebook what Izuku did and said for the future. Night-Eye. Cough well I think Bubble can take you away now, I'll talk to both of them looking at Mirio and Izuku. The girl just stormed out when she saw the look on her boss's face, but when she left she only went to rub the other heroines of the agency in the faces of what had just happened. Night-Eye. Well feel it. They both just did as told and sat down, while Night-Eye sealed some papers while he watched them. Night-Eye. Well, Mirio told me that you want to be part of my internship, but I can't let you in without seeing that you have potential, so Mirio. Mirio. Hi. The blonde just left the place, and Night-Eye just got up from his seat. Night-Eye. To let you pass you will have to take this off moving a small sealant in your hand. Izuku. Just that. Night-Eye. Sure, if that's okay with you. Izuku. I have no problems getting up and tell me I can use my quirk right. Night-Eye. You can use anything to help you get this off me, but I warn you that you only have 5 minutes to get it off me. Izuku. Well then let's begin. Izuku just tried to take the small sealer, but Night-Eye just easily dodged Izuku's attacks, and he saw Night-Eye's strange eyes and knew that he was using his quirk. Izuku, seeing that it was not going to be easy, activated One for All, and at an impressive speed he coughed on Night-Eye's hand, surprising him. Night-Eye. What the hell, how? He almost took it from me. Izuku. Maybe you already realized right? Night-Eye. How can you match the speed at which I read the future? Izuku. I don't surprising the hero maybe he can see the future, but I highly doubt that he has the same reflex speed as when he reads the future. Night-Eye was surprised since I am right. Night-Eye. Damn he's right, maybe I can read the future, but I don't have the same reflexes and he figured it out in seconds, what the hell is he? Izuku only began to put the hero in check with his speed and at one point the hero dodged a move in which he almost took it off. Izuku then began to move at high speed through walls and walls, jumping and confusing the hero a little. Izuku in one movement grabbed the hero's hand again, but Night-Eye couldn't see that black whips came out of Izuku's arm and took the sealant, surprising the hero. Note. Quirk of the fifth wielder or Dagoro Banjo. Black whips. Allows him to draw black whips from the extremities of his body to trap his enemies. Night-Eye was surprised since he couldn't see that through his eyes and deduced that Izuku had changed the future to his will. Izuku. Looks like I made it showing the sealant. Night-Eye just smiled a little seeing that he had passed his test. Night-Eye. If it looks like you did it with a smile well you can start now. Izuku. Huh. Night-Eye. I said go away, put on your hero suit with Mirio and go patrol serious. Izuku. Really? Night-Eye. Well there were 3 minutes left of the 5 I gave you so you can go patrol today. Izuku. Thank you very much Mr. Night-Eye bowing and leaving the room. Night-Eye. Damn seeing the walls and ceilings all stained by Izuku's footsteps, it seems like he's a good boy, seeing that the all-nicked items he had in his room weren't dirty. The hero, seeing that, just smiled and saw a small photo on his desk. Night-Eye. Can the future really be changed? Looking at the photo, time skip, we can see Izuku with his hero suit next to Mirio. When Izuku saw him, he was a little surprised by his suit. Izuku. Hey Mirio-senpai, because the number 1,000,000 on your chest. Mirio. Because as my hero name indicates, I want to save 1,000,000 people happy. Izuku. I understand. Mirio. And you because that suit looking at Izuku. Izuku. It was the way of dressing of an old teacher of mine looking at his clothes, and I also used his old hero name to commemorate the old memories of him. Mirio. I understand, it must have been someone important to you looking at Izuku. Izuku. Yes, he taught me a lot happy well let's go. Mirio. Hi. Izuku and Mirio were just walking around modeling their hero outfits, but the occasional person would ask Izuku for an autograph or a photo, while Mirio was ignored. Mirio. You look like a celebrity looking at Izuku who was taking a photo with a child. Izuku. It seems that way, but I think it's normal. Mirio. They have never asked me for a photo with a depressive aura. Izuku. Come on Mirio-senpai, don't act like that. I'm sure that when people recognize you as one of the greatest heroes, they will jump on you for a photo trying to cheer up his friend. Mirio. You really think so? Looking at Izuku. Izuku. If I'm sure, just give them time. Mirio. Thank you Izuku, hugging Izuku and crying in a comical way. Izuku. Okay, but don't bother me, people look at us strangely, feeling the stares of the people around me. I'm Skip. After a few hours of not finding anything interesting to do, they just walked around somewhat disappointed. Izuku. It seems like there's nothing today. Mirio. Yes, since you defeated All For One, the crime rate in all of Japan has gone down a lot. They both just walked for a while longer, but when passing through an alley a girl collided with Izuku. Izuku. Sorry, are you okay? The girl was albino and she had a horn on the right side of her head, but what Izuku didn't like were the bandages on her arms and her clothes. Please help me, while hugging Izuku. Izuku could only feel the fear throughout the girl's body, but then a man appeared, a man with a crow mask. Eri, don't run away like that, you're worrying me. And that he looks at the heroes, specifically at Izuku. Hello heroes, sorry, she's my daughter. I'm really sorry if she caused you any problems. Looking at Eri. Come on, Eri, time to go home. The girl only clung tighter to Izuku upon hearing that. Eri. Please don't leave me, whispering. Izuku understood the situation and he alone acted. Izuku. You're not this girl's father, right? That only surprised a raven, but he smiled beneath his mask. Mirio. Izuku, but what are you saying? Was interrupted. Izuku. You don't have the same smell as her using her ghoul nose. In fact, you smell like blood taking her kaguns from her. The masked man only ran up to Izuku, but a kagun cut the palm of his hand, but when he touched the tentacle it disintegrated, surprising Izuku. Izuku. What the hell, he has a quirk similar to Shiko's. The kagun alone regenerates quickly, surprising the masked man. Mirio. Izuku, what's wrong? Izuku. I don't know who he is, but we can't let him take this girl, hugging Eri tightly. The man only touched the ground, and several stakes made of concrete came out to impale both of them. Izuku with a one for all dodged quickly, and Mirio was only intangible. Izuku just pressed the button on his briefcase, and together with his kagun he destroyed the stakes, but before stabbing the man he covered himself with a dome made of concrete, and several stakes came out of it, but Izuku alone destroyed them. Izuku was annoyed by the situation since he had to finish quickly, and at that Mirio hit the man from inside the dome and took him out of it. Izuku. Mirio, don't let me touch you, he has a quirk similar to Shiko's, disintegrating your arms and legs in seconds. Mirio. I understand. They both launched an attack, but at one point a stake was going to Mirio's chest, and Izuku had to let go of Eri to push him and save him, but that was enough time for the man to hold Eri. I'm sorry heroes, but the girl is mine, taking Eri, who didn't even move out of fear. Izuku. Leave it. Izuku launched himself to attack the man, but at one point he was able to touch Izuku's right arm, disintegrating him, scaring Mirio and Eri. Izuku only saw that with his kagun, he formed an arm to continue fighting, but both opened and collapsed on the ground when the man disintegrated it, disappearing into the sewers. Izuku. Shit, trying to use his ghoul eye and nose to find him, but they had already escaped. Mirio. Izuku, your arm. Izuku only saw his arm, and little by little the wound was regenerating, and it seemed that it formed a new arm, and in a few minutes his arm was completely regenerated. Mirio. How? Surprised. Izuku. I'll explain later, but now we have to tell this to Night-Eye. Mirio. Hi, I'm Skip. Izuku and Mirio only told Night-Eye everything that happened, and he understood the situation. Night-Eye. I understand, in a few weeks there will be an important meeting for you. Coincidentally, it is about a Yakuza mafia, and that man you saw is in that mafia, surprising both of us. You will come with me and give your details to the others. Serious, meanwhile just calm down, okay? Both. Hi, Night-Eye. Izuku, getting the boy's attention. You will be the one who will give us the most details about his quirk, so he will try to come. Izuku. Yes, Night-Eye. And don't worry, we won't catch him. Izuku. Okay, thank you very much sir. Leaving the room. Izuku. I will save you Eri if it's the last thing I do. Art 14 Overhaul. Today was a quiet night, everyone was sleeping, and it seemed that nothing would interrupt their dreams, but a black-haired man was having a nightmare. Izuku's mind. On the floor you can see Izuku in some wide hallways that look like a hospital or a vulture, but then he saw the same guy who kidnapped Eri and destroyed her arm. How are the Chirono tests going, asking a man with a mask similar to his. Jonastasis. Very good Mr. Chisaki, for now if we continue like this we will have 5 bullets for 2 or 3 days. Serious. Chisaki. And the girl, I don't know, has escaped again, right? Jonastasis. No, but for some reason he's been more animated and asking about the hero who attacked him, looking at his boss. Chisaki. Well, leave her alone, as long as she doesn't try to escape or refuses to give us her blood, she's fine, but looking seriously at her partner we have to be careful, that hero was the famous Black Reaper, he's surely behind us now serious. Anastasis. And what do you want us to do? Chisaki. Just prepare the precepts, you have to be prepared if here someone else comes for the girl serious. Anastasis. Hi. They both walked a little further until they reached a door which they opened and Eri could be seen sitting in a medical chair. Chisaki. You already know what we're here for, right? Looking at the girl, Eri just nodded and extended her arm. Chisaki. Good girl somewhat calmer. Eri just closed her eyes as she felt a needle inserted into her, which took a little of her blood. Chisaki. This will be enough, thank you Eri looking at the girl. Eri. Mr. Overhaul, can I ask you something? Somewhat shy. Chisaki. And what is it? Eri. What was the name of the hero who attacked him in the alley? Chisaki. He's just a stupid hero who will soon be just a normal human, but I'll tell you, his supposed name is Black Reaper looking at the girl. The girl just smiled a little and whispered Izuku's hero's name. Eri. Whispering Black Reaper she said with a small smile. Both villains left the room and left Eri alone, but Izuku was still there like a ghost looking at Eri, but space was distorted, and then Eri was in Chisaki's mouth, as if she was going to swallow her. Eri. Please help she said without any emotion. Izuku tried to reach her, but the jaw of her body closed swallowing Eri and waking Izuku up. Out of Izuku's mind, Izuku had woken up agitated, breathing heavily and looking around her. Izuku. What the hell was that? It seemed so real looking at his hand, I don't think it was a dream. Black smoke came out of Izuku's body and showed a woman who was Nana manifesting through the illustration quirk. Nana. No, she wasn't looking at Izuku, that was a premonition. Izuku. Nana. I didn't know you could manifest yourself through my illustration quirk looking at Nana and like she had a premonition. Nana. Blame the 6 carrier's quirk, it manifested itself when you were sleeping. Note. Quirk of the 6th bearer, premonition. You may have some small dreams or flashbacks about the future. Izuku. Premonition-y. Can I use it at will? Nana. Maybe, the 6th one sometimes had flashbacks in the middle of battles that helped him guess the movements and attacks of his enemies, maybe you can use him like him one day. Izuku. So everything I saw in the dream was interrupted. Nana. Yes, it was real but very strange in your case looking at Izuku with a smile. Izuku. Strange. Nana. As I said before, the 6th one had small dreams or flashbacks, but he had never had premonitions as detailed as the one you had looking at Izuku with interest. Maybe it evolved or you improved it yourself in some way. Izuku. Well, that doesn't matter now. Serious thanks for the explanation of the wielder's last quirk. Nana. You're welcome, child, and well, I'm leaving, I have to return to the core, goodbye. Izuku disappearing. Izuku just stayed for a while thinking about what he saw and also asked to see a small ray of sunlight peeking through his curtain. Izuku just walked up to his window in his new dorm room at UA and opened it looking at what was dawn. Izuku. Well, at least I won't have to sleep again. Getting dressed and leaving his room. Time skip. The days passed but for Izuku and Mirio those days were hell. They were always thinking about Eri and that idiot Chisaki. The classmates noticed it and tried to ask them, but Izuku was in another world in his thoughts. Izuku's 2 favorite villains interrogated him and Izuku had no choice but to tell them about what happened and the soil he had, and they understood the reason for Izuku's attitude. Time skip. Heroes meeting. At the meeting were some heroes recognized as Ryukyu, the heroine Mirko etc. And there was also Kirishima, Mirio, Heir, Uraraka, Izumi and Tsuyu. They were all in their hero suits. Night-Eye. Well, we look forward to this meeting. Everyone looked at Night-Eye seriously, but he saw 3 free seats which belonged to Izuku, Toga and Shiko who were not there. Night-Eye. As most of you already know, we came to talk about a dangerous group of yakuzas who represented danger to society. Serious. Mirko. They're just idiotic gangsters, it's no big deal. Izuku. You're wrong. Entering the door. Everyone at that moment could see Black Reaper along with his 2 favorite villains who entered being seen by everyone. Izuku. Not only are they ordinary yakuzas, they create some kind of anti-quirk bullet. Serious. Everyone at that moment was surprised and paid more attention. Night-Eye. You're right, they make a kind of anti-quirk bullets. In fact, not only that, they also created a drug that increases the power and effectiveness of quirks. They call it Tigger. Ryukyu. And how do they make those things? It's impossible for one of those yakuzas to do it, right? Night-Eye. It seems like you know more than me. Kid looking at Izuku. Do you want to take charge? Izuku. Sure. Izuku stood in front of everyone and began to explain what he knew. Izuku. They have a girl, her name is Eri, they use her blood to create those bullets. Serious, according to reports from Mr. Night-Eye and some other information from a friend of mine looking at Toga, who was happy to be mentioned. His quirk is Rewind. Mirko. Doesn't sound like an interesting quirk. Izuku. Appearances can be deceiving, Miss Mirko. This girl's quirk can rewind a person's body at will, surprising everyone. Let's say she can rewind the body of an old man and turn him into a child again, or even make him disappear from existence. Everyone was surprised by that girl's quirk and understood why they had her. Ryukyu. So it's very dangerous, but why do you help them? Izuku. She doesn't, her boss has her in captivity. Chisaki Kai, the leader of the Yakuza, has her locked up using her as a guinea pig. Serious, but that man's quirk is what has me worried. Rocklock. What could have the great Black Reaper worried? Seeing Izuku, you are invincible, right? Izuku. Maybe, but that man's quirk destroyed my right arm just by touching it, surprising everyone. He has a quirk similar to one of our allies present here. Everyone saw Shiko and she only kept looking at Izuku. Mirko. Wait, he disintegrated your arm. Izuku. Not only did he disintegrate him, serious, I completely disintegrated him just by touching him. Touching his arm, I felt like all my molecules separated when I felt that man's touch. Ryukyu. And how do you still have your arm? Izuku. Let's say I have a good healing factor. Night-Eye. If we investigate that based on what you and Mirio described when you met him, his quirk, as his name indicates, is Overhaul, allows him to take apart whatever he wants just by touching it and put it back together if he wants, or structure it in another way. Izuku. Exactly, and not only is his quirk dangerous, but he has a whole team of villains who can compete against the top heroes. They call it the precepts of death. RL. And how do you know that, boy? Izuku. I have very good informants on my side. Looking at Toga and Shiko, who smiled. RL. Well, it's not to be distrustful, but surely they must be here. They are villains after all. Izuku. Yes, but they were villains. They were only manipulated by All For One and joined the League to survive and not starve to death on the street. Everyone understood the reason why Izuku gave them a chance, but some were still completely distrustful. Night-Eye. Well, leaving that aside, all of us will go on a rescue against the Yakuzas in a few days. Seriously, we have to rescue the girl as soon as possible, before you perfect those anti-quirk bullets. Mirko. But we don't know where they are. Izuku. You're wrong, of course we know, right here, touching Night-Eye's shoulder. RL. What? Izuku. Night-Eye's quirk allows him to see the future. We only have to catch one of the criminals that make up the gang, and Night-Eye plows the rest with his quirk. Everyone understood what he meant and thought it was a good plan. RL. And why he doesn't use it with one of us? Wouldn't it be easier? Night-Eye. Maybe, but it's highly unlikely that any of us will find them that way, and the boy's option is more viable and safer. Mirko. So what do we do? Izuku. You will be a support for Irie's future rescue, and also if you find any member of the Yakuza, you have to report it to Night-Eye so that he can interrogate him. The faster and the more people we have on our side, the better. Time skip. After the heroes' meeting, everyone returned home and Izuku and his companions returned to their bedrooms, waiting for the heroes to act so they could find the Yakuza's lair. Note. The entire meeting time was like the anime. Time skip. Izuku can be seen meditating in the schoolyard trying to train or activate the premonition quirk, but without any success. Izuku, damn, how can I activate this quirk? Izuku just looked at the blue sky, but one thing came to mind, and that was the little girl Irie. Izuku. Irie. Just then a certain bicolor appeared and looked at Izuku. Shaka. Izuku, what's wrong? Venta says next to him, you've seemed distracted the last few weeks. Izuku only blushed a little at how cute Shiko looked. Izuku. Hello Shaka-chan, if I'm just thinking about something, looking at the sky. And why the glasses? Shaka. She was studying, she said simply. And tell me, can I know who she is? Izuku. Sigh, well, but the story is long. Shaka. I still have time. Izuku told her about everything about the Yakuza etc. and she understood Izuku's behavior. Shaka. And do you care about that girl? Izuku. Yes, when I looked into her eyes, I saw how alone, how sad she was. It seemed as if she had never had a family or had lost them. Looking at the bicolor, and also when I discovered that they only used her as a guinea pig for those bullets. I get upset. Shaka. Well, you only have to do one thing. Izuku. And that's it. Shaka. Save her. Baka with a smile. You are a hero, you have to save her and be her hero with a smile. Izuku just smiled at the girl's words. Izuku. Thanks, I guess that's what I had to hear. Looking at the girl just smiled and approached Izuku, kissing him. Izuku was a little surprised but accepted the kiss, but at the same time his quirk was activated and he had a small premonition. When Izuku separated from the kiss, he just smiled at the girl and returned the kiss. Izuku. Thank you Shaka-chan. Shaka. It's nothing. Blushing, Izuku just hugged the bicolor girl and he laid her down on the grass while he used her breasts as pillows and thought about the premonition he had for a few seconds. Izuku. I will change that future no matter what, I swear. Part 15. I rescued. The day was the day everyone was prepared, since tomorrow Izuku and the others were going to rescue Irie. Izuku is only in Mei's workshop while she just looks at him somewhat thoughtfully since he has been a little closer to everyone. May. Here you have Izuku giving him his already fixed hero costume and her briefcase side that May had checked in case she had any imperfections. Izuku. Thanks May, taking the things from her. I hope you didn't mind fixing my hero suit. May. No, in fact I was interested, the suit must resist even a fire or a large explosion. What broke it? Izuku. The quirk of a villain. Serious, a very dangerous one. May. Well, I see, somewhat curious about Izuku's look. Izuku. Well, thank you very much for everything. I'll try to repay you later by trying one of your babies. May. It's not necessary, but thinking a little until something came to mind. Well, there is something you can do for me with a smile. Izuku. And that's it. May. Go on a date with me, somewhat nervous and blushing. Izuku. Really? Incredulous that you are interested in those things. May. Yes, blushing. Izuku. And may I know why or what? May. Well, I read in a magazine article that your work can be more interesting or easier to do when you do it for something or someone and well nervous. Izuku. You want to test if it's true, right? May. Yes, I do, blushing. Izuku. Well, if that helps you in your work I will do it, sighing. May. Thank you, Izuku, hugging Izuku. Izuku. Okay, returning the hug. Well, I have to go, goodbye, leaving the place. May just smiled and started working happily and singing a happy song. But Izuku was just trying to calm down a little, since she could only think about what was going to happen tomorrow. After the meeting with the heroes, everyone present at that meeting was attentive to any thief or criminal, because if they could find the Yakuza's lair, they could rescue Eri more quickly. Luckily, Night Eye and Great Torino caught some Yakuzas who they were trying to rob a bank, and Night Eye used his Lara quirk to see where his lair is, etc. Now we can see Izuku in his living room with his eyes closed and in the lotus position, trying to use his premonition quirk. Izuku. Come on, you can do it, just calm down, and I can see Eri, what you saw before. Izuku was just trying to use his new and final quirk, but couldn't for some reason, until he was taken out of his thoughts by a raven girl. Momo. Hey Izuku-kun, what are you doing? Izuku just opened his eyes and saw Momo and all of his classmates looking at him, something strange. Izuku. Ah, sorry, I'm just trying to use my quirk for something, scratching the back of his neck. Hiroshima. And for what? Curious. Izuku. So I can heighten my senses and do something thoughtful. Shaka. Well, how about we help you standing next to Izuku? Izuku. And how specifically? Toru. Maybe like you helped me putting her breasts on the back of his neck. Izuku. I think that won't help much, a little blushing. Bakugo. Because you don't just try to focus on one thing and ignore the rest, he said simply, but when he said that everyone looked a little impressed. What the hell do I see extra shiny? Izuku. Well, nothing happens if I try closing my eyes. Izuku. Well, come on, just think about Eri. Izuku's mind. Izuku only thought about Eri at that moment, but his thoughts went to that mask Overhaul in Night Eye. Izuku was suddenly only in a blank space, but that was slowly changing, and he could see Night Eye dead without an arm and impaled on a stake in the stomach, and then he only saw Overhaul with Eri in his arms. Izuku. Eri. Overhaul. Well, looking around, everything destroyed like that. We'll have to move now. Eri. Let go of me, I don't want to. Trying to get out of his grip. Chisaki. You're a bad girl, Eri, I will have to kill you and rebuild you again, touching Eri's face. By doing that he could only see how Eri exploded and saw how in a moment the pieces came together little by little, and he saw how there was a new Eri in front of him, but apparently without any emotion. Chisaki. Let's go, Eri, extending his hand, and Eri just took it without any expression or emotion. Izuku. No, Eri, trying to reach it. Eri. You couldn't, looking at Izuku. Izuku. Eri. You couldn't save me, looking at Izuku with a dead look. Izuku was just shocked, but then he looked back and saw himself, but he was dead and impaled with a bunch of stakes in his body on the wall. Izuku. Nu. Out of Izuku's mind. Izuku. Nu. Izumi. Oni-chan, calm down, what's happening? Izuku's classmates were just a little nervous about the black-haired boy's reaction. Izuku. Ah, I won't let that happen, with a serious and annoyed look. Shaka. Izuku, what's wrong? Let what happen? Izuku just hugged Shaka, and after a while he calmed down. Kasumi. Izuku-kun, what's wrong? What happened? Izuku. Just let's say I have another quirk, looking seriously at his classmates. Haminari. Another one. Izuku. Yes, I've been seeing visions, and well, let's say I had one at that time, and when Shaka kissed me too. Mineta. What, like Shaka kissed you, taking Izuku by the neck? Answer. Izuku's harem only saw Shaka, and she only blushed when everyone saw her. Hiroshima. And what did you see? Izuku. No good, serious, we have to rescue Eri, otherwise kill her and then rebuild her again. Serious. Hiroshima. Rebuild it. Izuku. He can destroy a person and then rebuild them at will. Shaka. Yes, my dad told me he was at the meeting, but the idiot didn't want to come in and see you for some reason, he was just standing at the door. Momo. Nijire senpai also told us, but I didn't think he could do that. Izuku. You just have to be careful that I don't touch you, but at long distance it is also quite dangerous. Serious, I try to use premonitions. You will find an advantage, but for now I haven't found anything. Toga. Well, how about the two of us kill him? Hugging Shiko. Izuku. Maybe, but I can't risk them both looking at the two girls. They can't regenerate like me. You guys will have to stay away from him. Serious, I'll take care of him. Hiroshima. I don't know, I don't think it's a good idea. Izuku. Maybe, but it's the best, for now. The day just passed normally, but his classmates were still a little worried about what Izuku saw. Time skip. Next day. All the heroes were prepared. Night Eye, Gran Torino, Mirko, Endeavor, Azawa etc. were present along with Detective Namaza and a lot of police waiting for Night Eye's signal to go on the raid. Night Eye. Well, looking at his companions and heroes present, everything ready. DT Gran Torino, yes, it seems that way. Izuku. Not yet, gaining everyone's attention. Endeavor. Boy, what's going on? Izuku. We have to divide ourselves. Looking at the heroes, they have underground tunnels to escape. When they saw that the heroes and police arrest their thugs, Overhaul will only take Eri and run away. Looking at Mirko and Endeavor, we have to cover their exits also. You two will take care of that, targeting the mentioned ones. Just keep an eye on the sewers and alleys in a 10 kilometers radius while Night Eye. Both. Hi, Izuku. Night Eye, I want you to look into his eyes when we see Overhaul and predict her movements while he grabs Eri, so you can run away with her. Night Eye. But you and Mirio will take care of that. Izuku. No offense sir, but in battle against him you have the disadvantage. Mirio will only go through his attacks, and I can destroy or evade them easily, so please take Eri. Night Eye was only a little suspicious at Izuku's request, but he just nodded and started walking alongside Izuku towards the door. With Izuku just walked and kicked the entrance door, scaring everyone. Namaza. Attention, all of you are being arrested, gaining the attention of all the thugs around. BELINQUENT1. What the hell do you think? Angry. BELINQUENT2. We'll show you who's boss, idiot, transforming his fists into metal. BELINQUENT3. Everyone attack. Criminals. Yes, I killed them and criminals only attacked. Izuku only saw them coming, but they were all dispersed by a blow from Ryukyu in his dragon form, next to a large wall of Shauka ice. Shauka. Izuku, see, we'll take care of it. Watching Major fly with his hero suit. Sai. See Midoriya-chan catching and hitting a bully with his tongue. Izuku just thanked the girls and continued on his way with Night Eye, Fatum, Kirishima, Toga, Shiko, Mirio etc. After a few seconds running down a long hallway, Night Eye stopped and moved a vase that was in the middle of the long hallway, where a secret door opened. Night Eye. Come on, all. Hi. And another side. Chronostasis. Mrs. Chisaki suddenly nervously appreciating the heroes and the police are here, they are surely coming for the girl. Chisaki. Is that hero there? Chronostasis. Yes sir, there were also other important heroes. Looking at his boss. Chisaki. Well, Rukia, you, Toya already know what to do. Looking at those already mentioned. Rukia, Toya, you, the three. Hi. Chisaki. We will leave and use the UR to escape. Serious, I hope our new allies are helping too. Looking at a member of their criminals with a black crow mask. Where are they now? Shin. If they want us to give them a couple of our bullets, then they should help and let us go with the girls. Serious. Chisaki. Well, let's go before they catch up with us. Going out to look for Eri. But the heroes, Izuku's companions and allies were just running through the hallways, but then three men appear in front of them and begin to attack them. You. I'm sorry heroes, but we can't let you interfere in our affairs. Throwing crystals from his hands. You quirk. Crystallization. He can transform his limbs into glass and throw it through his fingers or arms. Izuku just touched the ground and roots appeared, using them as shields and throwing them to catch the villains. Bakia. Jijiji, that won't work. Touching the roots that withered and could. Bakia quirk. Vitality theft. By touching some living things you can steal life force until you are killed or knocked out. Toya. Buck, you heroes throwing needles from his hands. Toya quirk. Lancer. He can throw needles or knives from his hands to attack his enemies. Izuku was not even fazed by the needles that just when they touched his skin, they collided and bent, surprising the villains. At one point octopus tentacles caught the villains by Tamaki. Izuku, Mirio, I and the police can handle them, trapping the villains in their tentacles. Izuku. Thank you Tamaki-senpai, while the others continued running through the hallways. Tamaki. I won't let them pass, they have to rescue that girl, tightening his grip on her tentacles. But Izuku continued running through the hallways trying to catch up with Chisaki and find Eri. But the villains. Chisaki was walking with Eri in her arms, but for some reason the girl only looked over the man's shoulder in the hope that that black-haired man would come to rescue her from her. Chronostasis. Lord Chisaki, the heroes passed on to the members of the precepts that he commanded, watching through a tablet that controlled the cameras. Chisaki. Well, it's your turn to mimic seeing a little man in a crow suit. Mimic. Yes sir. The little man just took out a syringe and inserted it into his neck and the doll little by little began to grow until it exploded. Chisaki. Well, I'll give it to you while he continued walking. Mimic. Yes Mr. Chisaki eyes could be heard and seen through the wall that moved at great speed in the direction of the heroes. But Izuku and the others just kept running, but in a moment the entire hallway began to contort and move as if possessed. Toga. What the hell is happening? Izuku. It must be someone's quirk using his gulai to find the villain. What the hell? Izawa. What's wrong? Izuku. He's everywhere, seeing that his bloodstreams were all over walls, floors and ceilings stand up like he's a poltergeist. Mimic quirk. Mimicry. He can possess inanimate things like dolls etc. Toga. Hey a ghost. Izawa. Where is he? Izuku just continued using his gulai until he could see the eyes that were peeking out of the walls in the distance. Izuku. There it is, pointing towards the villain's direction. Izawa only activated his quirk and looked in the direction that Izuku gave him and the walls and floor stopped moving. Izawa. When he moves from his place he will use his quirk again. Shiko. Izuku, go meet Toga and Izawa will stop him. Izuku. But. Shiko. But nothing, you have to save that girl, we will be watching, now go. Izuku. Thank you girls, happy, let's go. Toga. When we have you will have to compensate us. Izuku watching Izuku leave. Izawa. And how do you plan to beat someone who is a ghost? Toga. Well, I think I have an idea, smiling. But Izuku and the heroes who remained with him continued running through the hallways, but the walls began to turn again. And in a moment there was a hole in the wall, and a pillar pushed Fatgum and Kirishima and the hole in the walls closed. Mirio. Fatgum, Kirishima. Izuku. Don't worry, I'm just saying it to separate us. Seeing both of them with his gulai, they are in a kind of basement, but they are accompanied, seeing two more people with them. Night-eye. They know how to take care of themselves, we have to continue. All. Hi. Izuku. Shiko, Toga, Kirishima, I know they can do it. But Kirishima and Fatgum, they were both in what seemed to be a basement or an underground warehouse, but they couldn't see much since it was somewhat dark and a voice brought them out of their thoughts. Well, heroes, if they were sent here, they must be strong. Coming out of the shadows, a muscular man with a crow mask. Fatgum. Who are you? In fighting position. My name is Rappa, I will be his opponent at this moment. I hope you fight with honor. Getting into a fighting position. Kirishima. We don't have time to fight Fatgum, we have to continue with Izuku and look for the girl. Rappa. If they want to continue their path they will have to pass over me. Launching to attack. Fatgum just pushed Kirishima away and received Rappa's strong blows that even broke his hero suit. Fatgum. Since his blows are so strong, I can barely resist them. Rappa quirk strong man allows him to throw punches at high speed and superhuman strength. Seeing his teacher in trouble, Kirishima activated his unbreakable mode and launched himself at the villain, but when he tried to hit him, a large yellow barrier covered him and protected him from the Retide's blow. Rappa. Hey, nobody asked you for helping. Kiji looking at a shadow behind him. At that moment a blonde man with a black mask stepped out of the shadows. The Kiji. Maybe, but if you had sustained that blow you would have broken a rib. Rappa. You pointing at Kirishima. You and I will have an honorable battle as men in battle stance and you stay out of it. The Kiji. I won't promise you anything, I just followed Mr. Chisaki's orders and his orders were to kill or detain the heroes while he escapes. Rappa. I don't care, you're not here. Launching to attack Kirishima, he only covered himself, but when he received the blow he flew away and saw that his arms were broken and bleeding from the strong blow. Kirishima. My arms. Looking at his arms cracked by the strong blow. Rappa. Let's go. And another side. Twice. And what are we doing here? Why old Abi? Since I'm Kurogiri, the new leader ordered us to steal those bullets and kill those who get in our way. Mr.C. Well, we better go quickly since the heroes have the Yakuza's busy. Spinner. Well, that's fine, the truth is I never liked that idiot was our ally. Of Toga, Shiko and Izawa. Well, what is that idea? Toga. Just watch with a smiley. Idiot, what's going on? You are too old for this. With mockery. The villain was just trying to ignore her, but little by little Ivan's insults took effect. Toga. I know what's going on. What happens is that you're just an old man and a faithful dog that licks his master's feet. Mimic. Shitty bucking brat. Furious, I will kill you. The walls just started to distort again, but in a moment Izawa can't see the villain's eyes and Toga too. Toga. I saw you throwing one of his knives at the villain's left eye which hit him. Mimic. Holding his damaged eye. Bitch die, opening a huge hole under Toga and Shiko. Now, Izawa only activated his quirk and the villain's body began to emerge from the ceiling of the hallway and also fell into the hole, but then he saw Toga and Shiko held to the wall of the pot by one of Toga's knives stuck in it and heard some words of the blonde before falling. Toga. Izuku told me that I can't kill, smiling, but if the villain dies because of his own quirk, it's his fault and not mine. With a sadistic smile and a blush on his face. Mimic. I curse you, you bucking bitch. As he fell, a noise of something exploding was heard when he fell, and the girls thought that he had already died from the fall. Izawa. Hey, are you okay looking at the big pot? Toga. We're fine. We poke her head through a hole in the wall of the aloe. Shiko used her quirk to disintegrate the wall of the aloe. She just goes with Izuku. We will be fine. Izawa. Okay, just don't die. As she circled the huge hole in the ground and safely walked. Shiko. And what do we do now? Looking at Toga. Toga. Well, I always wanted to know how moles feel smiling, if you know what I mean. Shiko. Sigh. Well, it's the best option we have. Shiko just began to disintegrate the walls around them and they began to move like moles until they found a way out. Shiko. At least I hope Izuku is okay. Worried about the boy of Tamaki. He only used everything he had to be able to stop the three Yakusas, but they had injected themselves with that quirk improvement to be able to repel the attacks of Tamaki and the police. Tamaki. I can't handle them, they're too strong. Covering himself with his tentacles. He just closed his eyes, but at that moment he remembered his partner Mirio and Fatcom. Memory. Mirio. Come on Tamaki, you can do it. While he was fighting with him. Tamaki. No, I can't. Falling tired. Mirio. Come on friend, you can do more. Smiling. You just have to confirm it in yourself. Memory change. Fatcom. To be a hero you can't depend on others. Shaking hands with Tamaki. You have to trust yourself and improve with a smile, as they say in your school. Break your limits. And memory. Tamaki. You're right, I can't give up. A girl is in danger. I have to beat them. Break your plus ultra limits. As he screamed, Tamaki's body began to change and Tamaki's tentacles repelled the villains quickly. Tamaki. Kraken mode. Tamaki only shattered the glass and with his tentacles he caught and knocked out the three Yakuza villains and the police only put anti-quirk handcuffs on him. Tamaki. I did it. Mirio. Fatcom as he fell to the ground unconscious. But Fatcom and Kirishima. Rappa continued hitting Fatcom and Kirishima and the Redeed only had his entire body and arms broken and cracked from his strong blows. Takiji. This is a fight that you cannot win. It is one of a shield and a spear against two shields. Even if you continue defending yourselves you will not be able to win. Fatcom. You're right, we can't win if we keep going like this. Kirishima. It doesn't matter. Looking at Rappa. We won't lose yet. At that moment, Kirishima remembered Izuku's words that he told him one day. Memory. Kirishima was trained with his unbreakable mode, but at that moment he got tired and saw Izuku that he was still fresh and didn't seem to be tired. Kirishima. Hey Izu bro, calling Izuku's attention. Izuku. What's up bro? Speaking in Kirishima's language. Kirishima. How do you not get tired and last a long time in combat? Izuku. Well, I train a lot and also some other things that help me. Thinking about the nights with his girls, but what really helps me not give up is fighting, not for myself, but for those I love. Smiling. Bakugo. Hey Izuku, move, I want to fight you. Izuku. Just think about it, look for something. Why? Being able to continue fighting, something that motivates you not to give up. And memory. Kirishima. I know what you meant bro. Standing up. I don't fight for myself now, I fought for that girl. I fought for my teacher. Fatcom looking at his teacher. I'm not going to lose. I am Red Riot and I'm not gonna lose. Activating its unbreakable mode. Fatcom. Kirishima seeing the Redeed. Kirishima only fist bumped Rappa, but this time his arms were stronger and could match the force of Rappa's punches. Takiji. Rappa, you won't be able to win if you continue like this. Looking at his partner. Rappa. This is the battle I wanted. Looking at Kirishima. This battle will be legendary. Launching against the Redeed. Fatcom only watched as his disciple fought while he was on the ground doing nothing. Fatcom. Shit, he's right. Getting up. We're not fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for that girl. Fatcom was just losing weight and gathered all of his power in his right fist. Exceed your limits, plus ultra. Rappa hit Kirishima that sent him flying, but that was Fatcom's window of opportunity. Even Hakiji tried to create a barrier to defend himself, but he broke it with a strong blow, knocking them both out. Both villains were pinned against the wall by the strong blow, and if Fatcom could be seen with his fist billowing smoke from the powerful blow. Fatcom. Swallow that, idiot's tired. Kirishima solo saw Fatcom a little nervous since he wasn't fat like before and now he was even more mommy. Kirishima. Mr. Fatcom, is that you? Fatcom. Yeah, scratching the back of his head. I look a little weirder without being fat, right? Kirishima. He doesn't look more muscular and manly. Seeing his teacher with stars in his eyes. Fatcom. Hahaha, thanks, but now we have to take care of them before he wakes up. Looking at the two Yakusas. Kirishima. Hi. But Izuku. Izuku was just running, but he had already gone down a big long hallway and there was no sign of Eri or Chisaki, but there was the smell of someone. Izuku. This smell, using the ghoul nose, smells like blood. Mirio senpai, I need you to go ahead and try to intercept Overhaul. He is close to him. Looking at the blonde. Mirio. Okay, well, he became intangible and went through the walls and the floor. With Mirio. Mirio just kept moving forward, but after a while he started to feel dizzy. What's up hero? You're drunk. Ha 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 ha. I saw only one wall towards the ceiling and a man attached to the ceiling on all fours, as if he were an insect. Mirio just watched as he staggered, but out of pure instinct, he avoided a bite from another man who looked like he was wearing a sack as a mask. What's wrong with Iodoro? Looking at his partner, wasn't he drunk? Idoro. Shut up, Tabe, he just dodged your bite out of pure instinct. Seeing Mirio, but with my quirk activated, it's only a matter of time before we kill him. Smiling ghoulishly under his mask. Idoro quirk. Drunk, can cause the effects of drunkenness just by seeing him. Tabe quirk. Edible, he can eat what he wants or what he can bite and swallow. Mirio was just trying to avoid the villain's bites, but the dizziness from his partner's quirk made it difficult for him to move. Mirio just got serious and became intangible and disappeared from the villain's sight through the ground. Tabe. Where did he go? The villain couldn't see the blonde anywhere, but then he appeared behind Dodoro and hit him with a blow that sent him to the ground. Dodoro. How? Looking at the blonde, you should be dizzy. Mirio. This is nothing, still dancing, but moving quickly and hitting Tabe that slammed him to the ground. Tabe. Enough, he didn't finish since Mirio knocked him out with another blow, finishing him on the ground. Dodoro only stepped back a little, but Mirio slid across the floor and hit him with a kick to the face that sent him through a wall. But Chisaki, the man alone, continued walking, but when he was in the middle of the hallway, the cigar behind him was destroyed and he saw one of his precepts cross the wall, and then he saw Mirio with a heroic pose. Mirio. Chisaki, seeing the man, give me the girl. Chisaki. Heroes are very annoying. Cronus, can Shin take care of him? Both. Yes, sir. They both just launched themselves at Mirio and attacked with everything. Shin. Tell me, what is your quirk? Mirio just for some reason spoke without thinking and his lips moved on their own. Mirio. Penetration, I can go through anything speaking without thinking. Shin quirk. Confection, you can make anyone tell the truth just by asking them. Chrono apparently only shot an arrow that apparently came out of his head. Chrono quirk. Chronostasis. Chronostasis allows Hari to extend part of his hair, forming an arrow that he uses to attack his enemies, striking and cutting. The person hit will move slower. Mirio just went intangible and came out from behind both villains and gave them a good round of punches that ultimately knocked them out. Tasaki. Real heroes are annoying. Looking at Mirio. Iri, better close your eyes, you don't want to see this, while leaving Iri on the ground. Tasaki just touched the ground and stake shot towards Mirio, but he just became intangible and quickly grabbed Iri. Mirio was just trying to dodge the huge stakes that Chisaki was throwing, but he still didn't stop. Chisaki. Give Iri back, while he continued throwing stakes. Mirio. Shit, I can't become intangible when I have Iri in my arms. Mirio only dodged the crow's attacks and at one point he used his cloak to cover himself. Chisaki. Die, he couldn't finish since Mirio appeared next to him and hit him. When Chisaki fell, she could see how the hero became intangible and left Iri alone, covering herself with her cape. Mirio was just throwing punch after punch, but Chisaki got tired and had an idea. Chisaki. Chronos used the bullet. Chronos, semi-conscious, just pulled out a revolver and shot Iri, but Mirio got in the way and took the shot in her shoulder. Chisaki. If I don't have the girl, nobody will have it. Chisaki only threw stakes that were heading towards Iri, but in a quick movement, Mirio stood in front of Iri, receiving the cuts from the stakes. Chisaki. You were a nuisance hero, but not anymore. Touching the rest of the ground. Several stakes were thrown at Mirio, but a large current of air destroyed the cigar next to the stakes, and they both could see Izuku next to Night-Eye. Izuku alone with his scythe cut the stake stuck in Mirio's body. Izuku. Mirio-senpai, are you okay? Mirio. Ha, it's just a scratch. Smiling. Izuku. Night-Eye takes Iri and Mirio, I'll take care of him. Looking at Chisaki. Night-Eye. Sure. Night-Eye just took Mirio and Iri and went out through the hole that Izuku made. Izuku. Well, Overhaul, let's see what you have. Taking out his Kagyun. Chisaki. Annoying heroes, they come out like cockroaches. Looking at Izuku, annoyed. When I take the girl, there will no longer be any heroes in this world. Izuku only launched himself to attack the Yakuza, and Chisaki only touched the ground, and stakes came out like crazy to try to impale the black-haired man. Izuku only dodged and destroyed the stakes that came out of the ground with air currents. At one point Izuku arrived with Chisaki and began to hit him while he tried to touch to disintegrate Izuku, but Izuku used one for all at 100% and at full speed so that he would not touch him. Chisaki was just about to faint and Izuku just kicked him to the side. But he saw a way to defeat the black-haired man. Chisaki. Let's see what you can do as a hero. Touching Shin, who little by little disintegrated and joined with him and formed a somewhat more monstrous version of Overhaul. Chisaki. Die. Chisaki just started throwing stakes across the ground and his fingers shot through Izuku like torpedoes. Izuku only dodged the attacks and with a one for all at the maximum, he only gave a hit that the crow dodged, but the air wave broke the ceiling. But little by little Chisaki's attacks became more intense and the mutant crow saw an opportunity to damage at the boy, and at one point, Izuku was only pierced by several stakes, one in the stomach, another in the right leg and another cut off his arm, and the boy could only spit out blood and embed himself in the wall. Izuku. Shit, coughed. Looking at the crow. Chisaki. Now you will die. Tasaki was about to touch Izuku's face, but was stopped by Eri. Eri? Please stop, seeing Izuku with tears. Just then Night Eye arrived, apparently he had released himself from the hero's grip. Izuku? Rai looking at the girl. Tasaki? If you don't want me to die then come with me now. Eri only saw Izuku dying and just walked up to Overhaul and took his hand. Tasaki? Good girl, touching the ground and causing a pillar to raise them to the surface. Izuku could only see Eri talking to the Yakuza, but when he closed his eyes, he heard his teacher Kaneki speak. Izuku's mind. Kaneki? You will let those premonitions be right, you will let that girl be used as a guinea pig until death. Izuku? No. Kaneki? You are the ninth, you have our powers. Izuku, show that idiot who you are a hero. Izuku? I'm not going to let them kill that girl. Out of Izuku's mind. Izuku? I won't allow it. Izuku just took out his Kagyun and it cut the stakes and left the wall. Izuku? Even if it costs me my life I will save you. Izuku activated One for All at 1000% and made a strong jump trying to reach the girl. Izuku? Hurry. The girl only saw Izuku still alive trying to save her and she only let out a few tears. Eri? My hero whispering. Eri's horn began to glow and in a moment Chisaki returned to her normal form, separating herself. Nina took Mirio's cape in the air and launched herself to where Izuku is, and when she hugged him, she only felt happiness. Chisaki? Return, Eri, throwing stakes. Izuku just continued increasing the percentage of One for All, and a jump shot into the air, and a large current of air destroyed everything around him and also caught the attention of the surrounding heroes. Izuku was alone in the air with Eri, and her hair suddenly turned white and her Kagyun mutated and transformed into wings. Izuku? Eri, are you okay? When the girl opened her eyes, she could only see Izuku's red wings and his white hair that made him look like an angel. Eri? Yes, looking at Izuku surprised. But Chisaki? Tasaki was alone on the ground and then Fatgum, Kirishima along with Ryukyu, Uraraka and the other girls arrive. Chisaki? I worked too hard to let some idiotic heroes take everything from me. Well, I saw Appa on the ground and just touched him and decided in a rain of blood I will kill them, I will eliminate them, and all the disgusting heroes will be history later. Appa's body parts were joining with Chisaki while he was just watching little by little. But Izuku was only going down to the ground with Eri in his arms, but then a loud explosion came from the crater where they were and a Chisaki monster could be seen. Chisaki? Back to Eri. Izuku? Dead first-eyed to Eri's back with Mirio's cape. Chisaki? Well, die attacking Izuku. Izuku only flew for a while dodging the mutant's attacks and in a moment his Kagyun mutated again and his missing arm transformed into a gigantic claw and activated One for All and began to attack Overhaul. Izuku just started attacking the mutant crow and after a while he increased the percentage to 100,000% and punched me that sent him into the air. Izuku still jumped with the same percentage and hit him in the air with a blow that sent him crashing to the ground like a meteorite. Izuku didn't stop there and started pounding his chest hard until an idea occurred to him. Izuku? Eri, can you touch the monster to return it to normal like before? Eri? I think I can. Fearful. Izuku? Don't be afraid, if you do it you will be everyone's hero. Hearing those words, Eri only took courage and decided. Eri? Okay, yes I can. Determined. Izuku? Well said. Watching the crow get up I hit him and you finish him. Launching to attack. The monster only reconstructed his armor or skin and continued the fight. Izuku just took out his wings again and began to fly until he reached the mutant's head and with his claw, he gave him a strong blow with One for All that kept him on the ground for a few moments. Izuku? Now Eri. Eri only touched the crow's skin and its horn began to shine brightly and in an explosion and a screen of smoke, we could see how Overhaul and Rappa separated and fell on the ground. End music. Izuku just fell to his knees and felt how his body returned to normal and his hair turned black again. In a while Izuku felt as if his body changed and he saw that Eri was still using his quirk. Izuku? Eri vast yes. Eri only saw Izuku but couldn't stop his quirk and started to despair, but then Eri's power stopped and Izuku saw his master Izawa on Ryukyu's back as he climbed up the crater and used his quirk on Eri. Izuku only felt how the pressure of his body decreased and he could only see how his companions approached his. All. Izuku Oni-chan Izu-kun Izu bro Izuku-kun. Everyone hugged Izuku, he was a little hurt and without an arm, but his wounds were slowly healing. A little further away from them was Sasaki trying to crawl over to touch Rappa again, but he was stopped by a certain crazy blonde. Toga? I'm sorry Mr. Crow with a smile, but I can't let that happen with a sadistic smile. Shiko? You've caused a lot of trouble while she touched one of her hands, and as heroes we can't let that happen with a sadistic smile. They both just cut off both of the Yakuza's hands so that he couldn't try to use his quirk anymore. Time skip. After a while all the Yakuza members were arrested, the ambulances arrived, and the young heroes were together resting while Izuku spoke with Eri. Izuku? You're going to be fine, they'll just take you to a hospital to heal some scrapes, stroking the girl's head. Eri? Okay, but are you okay? Looking at Izuku's missing arm, it's my fault you. Izuku? Don't worry. Just then a paramedic arrives and speaks to Izuku. Paramedic? Mr. Black Reaper, here is your arm and his scythe, giving you both. Izuku? Thank you. Taking his arm and reassembling it to his body, and then taking his weapon and pressing his button to pack his briefcase again. Maybe Eri, turning to look at Eri, it's nothing, with a smile. She just smiled, and after a while she left in the ambulance with Mirio and Night-Eye. Izuku just watched them leave and then sat down next to his friends. Izuku? Today was a long day. Tired. Kirishima? Needless to say, looking at Izuku, but the advice you gave me worked. I even think I increased my strength and my unbreakable mode. Najire? You were great. Izuku, happy to see the black-haired man, and also when you took out those strange wings from your back with a sparkle in your eyes. Shiko? By the way, how did you do that? Izuku? I don't know, looking at his hand, but I think I'll find out in the future, smiling, but for now, let's go home. Looking at his friends. All? Hi. Art 16 Cultural Festival. After Eri's rescue, things have been a little calmer. They also had to earn their hero licenses, but that doesn't matter much to us. Now we see Izuku in a hospital and in a particular room. This room looked like that of a girl, since she was with a few drawings and also had some stuffed animals. Izuku? What a cute drawing. Eri, seeing a drawing that the girl showed her. Eri? She just smiled a little and asked our black-haired man something. Mr. Reaper, can I ask you a question? Izuku? Sure, but call me Izuku, that's my real name, with a smile. Eri? Well, why did you save me? Izuku? Well, I saved you because a girl who doesn't deserve is being used as an experiment. You deserve to be free, have friends and live your life. Smiling. Hearing those words, Eri just started crying. Eri? But I don't deserve it. Sniff sniff. I killed my father, surprising Izuku, because of my quirk. Sniff sniff. I made him disappear because I couldn't control my quirk. Then my mother, he abandoned me, saying I was a monster. Sniff sniff. I don't deserve it, while crying. Izuku understood, but he just hugged the girl, and when she felt her hug, she just cried a little harder into the black-haired man's chest. After a while Eri just fell asleep and Izuku stayed a while longer before leaving. Izuku just walked and ran into Sir. Night-Eye. Night-Eye? How's the girl? Serious. Izuku? Okay, you have a little trauma with your powers, but nothing we can't fix. Looking at the hero, and what do you want, Mr. Night-Eye? Night-Eye? I talked to All Might about your powers. Looking at the boy, I'm surprised that One for All has that secret. Izuku? Yes, but please don't tell anyone. Looking seriously at the hero, he is one of the few who know the true power of One for All. Night-Eye? Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Getting in front of the boy, you know, at some time I told All Might that he was going to die in a fight against All for One. I looked at him when I used my quirk on him, but that was changed by you. Thank you very much for saving my best friend. Hugging Izuku, and you also showed me that destiny can be changed. Izuku only accepted the hug, and after a while he visited Mirio with the hero, who was also admitted to the hospital. Izuku? Hello Mirio-senpai, seeing the blonde with several bandages on his body. How are you? Mirio? Hello Izuku, cheerful as always. I'm fine, but I can't use my quirk. Looking at his hand. Night-Eye? The bullet they shot at you was an anti-quirk. Looking seriously at the boy, they basically totally erased your quirk. Mirio? The blonde just lowered his head, but Izuku spoke. Izuku? Yes, you won't be able to be a hero, but that's only if Eri decides. Surprised Mirio, don't you remember? She can return your body and power to a previous state. Smiling, we just have to teach her how to use her powers, and in the future, Lemillion will be a hero again. Mirio just smiled and with his usual attitude, said that he was right and that he would work hard to make Eri control her powers. Time skip. Next day. The rescue participants were praised by everyone, but more so by Izuku, since his heroic appearance in the rescue of Eri was recorded by some news programs and some other passers-by who passed by. There, now we can see Aizawa with his usual attitude but a little more serious. Aizawa? Well everyone, today I have an important announcement. Serious, the cultural festival is coming up, he said simply. Everyone? Festival. Izuku? Cultural festival. Aizawa? Shut up, activating his quirk, intimidating everyone. Well, as I said, the cultural festival is approaching, so they will have to do a special event in which all classes will compete and whoever wins will get a prize. Bakugo? Now I'm interested, she said with an arrogant smile when she heard the prize. And what will it be? Aizawa? That's not known yet, but the class that wins will have the option to rub it in the others' faces. Looking at Bakugo. Bakugo? Hahaha, good, we will win. Asumi? You're just excited because you'll be able to make fun of the other classes by winning. Looking at her brother. Bakugo? Shut up, Boba. Asumi? Shut up, you asshole. The brothers, as always, made a scene, but the other students only thought what they could do. Aizawa? And by the way, those who don't will have to have a class in front of the entire school. The boys were just tensed by what was said and just decided to do that silly competition. Whatever. Aizawa? Well, I'm leaving, you decide what to do for the rest of the class. Well, he got into his bag and crawled away like a caterpillar. Lita. Good, everyone standing up and calling everyone's attention. I will write down on the pill the options that we can choose to make that show. Well, he moved his arms like a robot. Mineta. How about a coffee mide with his perverted attitude as always? All the girls just looked at him with disgust when he said that, but Kaminari supported him. After a while, everyone shared their ideas, but a certain rocker was nervous and blushing. Well, she had a notebook in her hands and was trying to say something. Izuku. How about a concert? Everyone at that moment saw Izuku and he just repeated what he said. Izuku. A concert like a rock concert or something would be a good idea. Looking at Jiro, that's what you meant, right? Jiro. Why, yeah, somewhat surprised that Izuku guessed what I was thinking. Uraraka. Sounds like a great idea. Izumi. Yes, Jiro and Oni-chan are right, we can have a concert. Cheerful. Bakugo. Izuku, you and I will destroy the competition and we will have that prize with her typical attitude. Mina. Wait, they both know how to play surprised. Izuku. Yes, we learned a little. Bakugo plays the drums and I play the guitar and I also learned to sing a little. Toga. Typical of Bakugo-chan playing the drums. Yujiji looking at Bakugo. Bakugo. What do you mean? Shiko. You always like to hit something and the role of drummer suits you well, she said simply. Bakugo. Are you saying that you only hit things? Shaka. Basically said simply. Bakugo. Shiny angry. Izumi. Well, but we still have to find the instruments and everyone has to participate. Momo. I can get the instruments with Jiro and Izuku. Izuku. Why me? Jiro. You're basically a celebrity and with your face and an autograph from you, we can haggle with the seller. Kasumi. He's right and me and this idiot can bring his old battery, taking Bakugo by the collar. Bakugo. Let go of me and I can only play that drums. Mina. And the vocalist could be Izuku and Jiro hugging Izuku and putting her breasts in his face. Toru. But what can the rest of us do? Izuku. Coming out of Mina's breasts, they can be in charge of dancing the song and the special effects. Izumi and Kasumi are the most suitable for their quirks. They both just smiled and after a while the class was over and everyone was talking about how they could play. Jiro. Thank you, hugging Izuku for helping me express what he wanted to do. Izuku. It's okay, looking at the girl, it was the best idea we had, stroking the purple-haired girl's head and she just blushed at the boy's tender act. Time skip lunch. Izuku's classmates were only talking about how everyone's activities would be distributed and that's when class B arrives. Kendo. Hello guys, greeting to class A. Did Izawa tell you the news about the festival? Izumi. Yes, it will be fun. Happy. Bakugo. We will crush them. Monoma. Yes, of course, as if you could. They both just gave each other challenging glances, but Monoma saw Izuku and he just paled and walked away from them quickly. Shiko. I think he's afraid of you. Looking at Izuku, what did you do to him? Toga. It seems that someone tortured one of his classmates. Yujiji looking at Izuku with a blush. Izuku. I only put it in its place one day, he said calmly. Momo. Well, what does your class teach? Kendo. Curious. Kendo. A small performance, but that's all I can tell you, with a smile. Ibara. And you guys who plow C in class A. Kasumi. A great concert that no one will be able to forget, with a smile. Yui. Interesting. Looking at class A. Well, we have to go, we have to choose the role that each of us plays. Kendo. Yes, goodbye guys, goodbye. Izuku-kun giving him a small kiss on the cheek and laughing with his class. Izuku just smiled, but the other girls only saw what the orange-haired woman said with some jealousy. And another side. Now gentlemen, give me all the money, he said, pointing a large knife at the owner of the store. Extra. Yes, take it, giving you a bag with the money. Ahaha, he should be happy since he was assaulted by the great Gen. He stopped talking when he saw a large number of heroes at the door of the premises. Well, simple heroes like you will not be able to fight the great criminal. Gentle releasing the knife. Time skip. Gentle can be seen walking as if nothing had happened and behind him you can only see the heroes knocked out on the ground. Gentle. You recorded it. The Brava looking at a girl with hair laughing with a camera. La Brava. Every word and movement. Gentle with a smile. Gentle. Okay, with a smile. Now let's go. Charging wildly and apparently flying to a roof. Time skip. Gentle. Today was a good day, La Brava. How many followers do we have? Looking at La Brava. La Brava. For now, about looking at her cell phone, about 3,000 followers. Gentle. Really, the brave one just nodded. Ha, perfect, and soon we will be viral. With a smile. The brave girl only smiled, but she saw how something caught everyone's attention. La Brava. Gentle look gaining the Lord's attention. They only saw an advertisement for the UA Cultural Festival commented by the heroes, and many people had already seen the video, more than 1 million saw it. Gentle. This tea is perfect. The brave. Gentle. With this we can increase our popularity. Imagine that we appear and make fools of most of the heroes there. With a smile, we will be celebrities in a short time. La Brava. Yes, Gentle cheerful. Gentle. Let's go brave. The brave. Hi. And another side. Kurajiri. And tell me, did you get the quirk eraser bullets? Mr.C. Here a small box with 4 bullets appears. Kurajiri. And the 5th. Ani. Some idiot Chisaki used it against a hero, but there are still 4 left. Twice. Yes man, thank us we work hard to make up for it speaking as usual. Kurajiri. Well good job looking at the bullets we have to take advantage and put these bullets to good use. In another side, Izuku was just sleeping, but next to him was Izumi, Shiko and Toga, since they always slept with him now that they had intimacy, but Izuku could only think about the little girl and that trauma from her childhood. After a while of reflecting, Izuku just fell asleep and waited for a new day to begin. Time skip next day. Izawa and Mirio were at the door of UA, but they brought someone a little more special. Izawa. Don't be afraid, girl looking at Eri in a red dress, nobody will hurt you here. Eri. Why yes, only 3 of them entered and Eri was hoping to see her favorite hero here. After a while of walking they could see Class A working and carrying some instruments, but then Izuku turned around and saw Eri next to Izawa and Mirio was just sticking his butt out of a bush, saying that it was a peach. Izuku. Eri. The girl just ran and hugged Izuku's leg and he just returned the hug. At that, the whole class saw Izuku hug Eri and she just hugged Izuku tightly as if he were her father or her older brother. Eri. Hello Mr. Izuku, I missed you a lot looking at Izuku. Izuku. I missed you too Eri. Mina. Ooh you must be the girl Eri right surprising Eri hi, I'm Mina, nice to meet you extending her hand. Eri was just a little scared, but Izuku calmed her down and she accepted the gesture. Eri. You nice to be Eri shaking hands with the pink girl. Little by little, Izuku's classmates greeted Eri and, although she felt nervous, she liked that they were kind to her. Izuku. Aizawa-sensei, why is Eri here? Aizawa. It was Sir's idea, he said that maybe he could help with the traumas and fear that he has by talking and living with normal people he said boredly. Izuku. Well okay looking at Eri hey Eri getting the girl's attention in a few days, we will have a big concert where all of us will sing and dance, do you want to come? Eri. Concert. Confused. Izuku. Don't worry, just wait, okay? Eri. Okay. Izumi. Eri, do you want to come with us looking at the girl let's go eat ice cream. Eri just smiled a little when she heard that and went with the girls to eat the ice cream. Cultural Festival Part 2. The day was a calm day and now we see a black-haired man carrying an albino girl towards the school cafeteria. Izuku. And tell me Eri, what do you want? Eri. I don't know looking at Izuku what food is there? Izuku. Well I guess spending so much time in those facilities just being a girl made her that way. Izuku. I already know what I'll feed you and I'm sure you like it looking at Eri with a smile. They both just continued walking, but both were seen by everyone since it was very surprising that Izuku had a girl and some were murmuring that she was his daughter. On another side, the teacher was totally tired from organizing with her other classmates each of the places and positions that they would set up for the festival and now we see a midnight in the dining room with Mic and Aizawa eating. Aizawa. What a bummer lying on the floor with his typical sleeping bag I never want another cultural festival. Mick. Let's go Aizawa don't be water party with her typical personality. Namuri. I'm also upset and annoyed by so many arrangements while eating it's a pain, at least the good thing is seeing the students make fools of themselves in that contest. Izuku. Don't lose Midnight sensei, I'm sure we'll do well. Midnight just jumped out of her chair when she heard Izuku behind her. Namuri. Izuku what are you doing she only stopped talking when she saw Eri in her arms Izuku what is that looking with a dead look at the girl. Izuku. It's obvious no stroking Eri she's a girl. Eri. Hello greeting somewhat shyly. Aizawa. Ooh getting out of her sleeping bag so you have Eri with you, it's fine with me the way you are looking at Eri. Eri. Well, Mr. Izuku took good care of me and his friends gave me ice cream. Aizawa. Well I hope it continues like this looking at Izuku Izuku what are you going to do now? Izuku. Just to eat right Eri. Eri. Hi watching Midnight Mr. Izuku, is she a pervert? Pointing to the heroine, Izuku was just trying to hold back his laughter along with Mic and Aizawa at the girl's comment. Namuri. Hey I'm not a pervert somewhat blushing and upset. Eri. Then why does she dress like that? Curious. Namuri. It's because it's easier to use my quirk this way. Izuku. Eri, she is not a pervert or not as you imagine, she is a professional heroine. Namuri. That's right girl, I'm a great heroine with pride in her words. Eri. And him. Pointing to Mic. Mick. I am Mic another hero very like you kid. Aizawa. He's just a screamer, don't pay attention to him little one. Izuku. Well Midnight sensei can you take care of Eri while she buys him something to eat? Midnight. Looking at Eri well of course taking Eri. Izuku. I'll be right back Lendis. Mick. Wait boy we are going to. Aizawa. Stop yelling annoyed. Namuri. Well girl, what do you think of my Izuku? Seeing the little girl. Eri. Are you Mr. Izuku's girlfriend? Namuri. Well, blushing if I am, why? Eri. I thought Mr. Izuku's friends were his girlfriends, according to what they told me, somewhat thoughtful. Namuri. Yes, maybe they are his lovers, but I am the one he loves the most, proud in his words. Eri. I understand, looking at the heroine. Namuri. Well, why are you so sad seeing Eri? Eri. Well, I don't know how to behave with people, something sad. Mr. Izuku is the only one I trust, and he treats me well. Namuri. Well, how's Izuku treating you? Looking at Eri, curious. Eri. He is affectionate with me, always helps me and treats me like. She remained silent and just lowered her head. Namuri. Like a daughter. Eri. Only a Shinsho, and why aren't you happy about that? Eri. It's just that I didn't control my quirk and releasing some tears I made it disappear. Sniff. That's why I don't want the same thing to happen to him. Releasing some tears. Midnight just hugged Eri with affection, an affection that Eri had already forgotten a lot. Namuri. I know it's hard, but Izuku-kun is someone strong and good. Smiling. I'm sure he won't disappear, and if he does I'll put him to sleep and kill him with a tender smile. Eri just smiled and hugged Namuri. Eri. Thank you, Sniff-oka-san. Happy. Upon hearing those words, Midnight only felt how she was overcome with joy and only hugged Eri tighter. Namuri. Don't cry, my little one, mom is here. Calming Eri until she stopped crying. Eri quickly became fond of Namuri and began to call her Oka-san as if she were her mother, and every time Namuri heard those words coming from the girl, she only became happy. After a few minutes, Izuku comes with an annoyed Aizawa and a banged present.mic. Namuri. What happened to you? Looking at present.mic. Izuku. Aizawa-sensei got upset and to silence Mick-sensei, he hit him several times, looking at both with a drop of sweat. Aizawa. It was that or kill him, I chose the most difficult one for me. Sitting down. Mick. Sniff. I thought we were friends. Aizawa-san crying comically. Izuku. Well, here you go. Eri giving a hamburger and fries, but you like it with a smile. Eri just seeing the burger was just drooling in an adorable way and didn't wait and started devouring the food. Eri. It's delicious, Odo-san. I was happy. Izuku. I'm glad. Eri. Izuku just smiled, but after a few moments of analyzing what the girl said, Izuku and the other two heroes went blank. Sorry Eri, what did you call me? Eri. Odo-san. Why? Izuku was shocked for a few moments until he reacted. Izuku. And why do you call me that? Eri. Oka-san told me that she should call you that since you are like a father to me, pointing to Namuri, who had a smile. Namuri. What's wrong, Odo-san? You don't like having a daughter with me? With a mocking smile. Eri. Mr. Izuku, don't you like being my father? Sad. Midnight just looked at Izuku with a death glare that made him nervous and he just answered. Izuku. Not at all, you can call me whatever you want. Eri. Eri. Hi Odo-san. Cheerful. Izuku could only see Namuri and Eri happy while he was a little nervous. Aizawa. You know that relationships between teachers and students are prohibited, right? Namuri. Nobody said that Izuku and I are in a relationship. Hugging Eri. It's just that Eri-chan sees me as a mother and Izuku as a father, that's all. Aizawa. Well, what does it matter? While he continued eating. Time skip. After an hour it was already getting dark and Aizawa told Izuku that he has to take Eri to her dorm and he gladly accepted, and then he said goodbye to his teachers and Namuri and she gave him a kiss before leaving. Dorms Class A. Izuku's classmates were in the recreation room with several instruments and they were trying to see who would play and who would dance and so on. Momo. Well, that rules out Toru playing the guitar with a small notebook. Toru. It's harder than it looks, you know. Somewhat irritated. Izuku. What are you guys doing? Entering with Eri. Mina. Izuku-kun, come here. Taking Izuku and giving him a guitar. You said you knew how to play, so dazzle us with your skills. Izuku. They still haven't explained to me what they were doing. Looking at Mina. Toga. We choose who will play and who will dance and who is in charge of the sound effects. I was happy. I will play the bass. Shaco. I don't want to dance. Seeing Momo. Momo. I'm sorry, but it's the only thing you can do. Writing something down in her notebook, plus you know that we all have to act and work, so don't complain. Izumi. Oni-chan, sing something for us. I'm happy. Kasumi. If we want to see if you really know how to play and sing. Bakugo. Let's do this quickly. Izuku getting ready to play the drums. Toga. Yes Izuku-kun, I want to too. Jiru. A little practice doesn't hurt. Izuku just sighed and started playing a quiet and somewhat romantic melody. Izuku just played with a smile on his face, while the others were just surprised by Izuku's cute voice. At the end, Izuku's classmates were only surprised and the girls were blushing because of the beautiful melody that he sang. Eri. Odo-san was a very nice song. We happily hugged Izuku. Izuku. Thank you. Eri returns from the hug. Izuku only saw his classmates and they were blank because of what the girl called Izuku. Izumi. What do I call you, Oni-chan? Izuku. Well, how do I explain it to you? Eri. Odo-san, what's wrong? Why does everyone look at us like that? Pointing to the Izuku girls who stared at him with a terrifying look and aura. Toga. Izuku, you better explain this. Well, he took out a knife. Time skip. After Izuku explained what happened, they calmed down, but some girls just got a little jealous of Midnight and others saw a good opportunity to get closer to Izuku. Toga. Hello Eri-chan, I'm Toga and I'm also Izuku's girlfriend, so you can call me mother too with a smile. Eri. But can a person have more than one wife? Momo. In this case I think so and we are all your new mothers while hugging Eri. Eri. Wow Odo-sen, I have many mothers. Looking at the girls happily. Izuku. Yes, many mothers. Izuku only saw that with a smile and a tear of sweat on the back of his neck, and Mineta and Kaminari just cried in a corner, cursing Izuku. Time skip. After a while preparing and deciding each one's roles, Aizawa and Midnight entered with certain people. Aizawa. Seedlings, settle in, we have a few visitors, she said sleepily and discouraged. Mandalay. Hello guys, you missed us waving. When everyone turned around they could see the hussy cats in normal clothes and they were carrying a small box of donuts. Tiger. Hello guys. Pixabob. Hello guys, like he didn't finish since he saw Izuku carrying Iryu. Oh congratulations Mr. Black Reaper, tell me it's your first child. Trying to make fun of Izuku. Eri. Odo-san, who are they? Pointing at the heroes. The 4 heroes and a little boy behind them were left. Surprised by what the girl called Izuku. Mandalay. Don't tell me she's really your daughter. Ragdoll. It can't be. Somewhat depressed. Izuku just sighed and after a while of explanation they just calmed down. Mandalay. I understand and tell me who is the mother. Mocking. Eri only pointed until Midnight and she just hugged Eri happily while those of Izuku's harem only saw her upset. Pixabob. Valinamuri, you got yourself a good match. Seeing her friend, she won't mind sharing, will she? Midnight just frowned and the other girls became more upset because of what she said. Izumi. I'm sorry, but Oni-chan is already busy hugging Izuku, right girls? All. Hi. Pixabob, what a shame, but hey, there's someone who wants to see you Izuku. Saying that, a Koda comes out from behind Mandalay and greets Izuku. Koda. Hello Izuku. Nervous. Izuku. Hello Koda, how are you doing? Looking happily at the child. Koda. Well, I train every day to be like you. Looking at Izuku. Mandalay. Yes, apparently she said that he wants to be like you, Mr. Black Reaper. Smiling. Koda. If and when you are a hero I will work with you as your partner. Determined. Izuku just smiled and stroked Koda's head. Izuku. I'm glad to hear that and I promise that when you graduate I will save a position for you to work with me. What do you think? Koda. Yes, I would like. Happy. Toga. Donuts. While he took the box from Tiger tasting the donuts delicious. Mina. I want to. Toru. And me. Time skip. After a while Eri and Koda stayed together playing and apparently they got along well and the others talked with the heroes and so on. Toga's only ate the donuts with Mina and Toru while they talked to each other and the rest of the girls talked to each other. After a while the hussy cats left for the exit accompanied by Izuku and Eri. Izuku. Thank you very much for coming and also if you want you can come see our presentation on the day of the festival. Mandalay. Of course we wouldn't miss it, right Koda? Looking at the child. Koda. Yes, we will all go. Cheerful. Mandalay. Well, looking at his teammates, guys, go ahead and I want to talk to him about something. Ragdoll. Hey, well he is Ivan. After they left, Izuku and Eri were left alone with Mandalay. Mandalay. Izuku looking seriously at the boy. Thank you very much for what you did for us. Bowing. Izuku. Mandalay. Not only did you save Koda, but you also returned Ragdoll's quirk by defeating All for One, regardless of whether he is your father. Thank you very much indeed. Izuku. It's nothing, it's what a hero does, you know, with a smile that made her blush. Mandalay. Well, but I would like to give you something in return. Nervous. Can you close your eyes? Izuku. Sure. Closing his eyes but stop, he couldn't finish since Mandalay kissed Izuku while he covered Yuri's eyes. Izuku was just surprised and when he separated from the kiss, Mandalay was like, come on. Mandalay. Take that as a small reward for everything. All blushing. Well, goodbye as she ran away. Izuku just smiled a little and then turned around and left. Eri. What happened? Will I have another mother? Looking at Izuku. Izuku. It's better that you don't mention this to any of your mothers. Eri looking at the little girl. Eri. Okay, she said innocently. Time skip. Everyone else went to their respective rooms while Izuku and Eri went to theirs to sleep. Eri was in Izuku's room sleeping, cuddling with him, but she couldn't sleep. Eri. Odo-sen, I can't. Looking at Izuku. Izuku. And what do you want me to do? Looking at Eri. Eri. Can you sing something so she can sleep? Izuku. Sigh. Well, okay. Well, they saw the guitars and other instruments that his classmates kept there. Well, it seems that it was not a bad idea that I would like the instruments in my room. Well, he took a bass and started singing. Izuku just sang calmly and watching Eri slowly fall asleep due to Izuku's calm and beautiful song. Izuku only sang yes, and his voice only reached the other rooms of his classmates, who also helped them sleep with Izuku's beautiful melody. When Izuku finished, he only saw a sleeping Eri in his bed and he just put the instrument away again and also went to sleep. Cultural Festival Part 3. The day was the big day that everyone was waiting for since the UA Academy inaugurated its great cultural festival in its greatest splendor. Many heroes were in various positions doing their things. The academy was full of fun attractions. There were also people who had a maid cafe and others only trust food and other things. Mina. It's almost time. Nervous. Izumi. Yes, I know, I'm a little nervous. Kasumi. Don't worry, I'm sure everything will be fine. Somewhat calm but still nervous. Izuku. Everything is ready. Guys looking at his classmates in a while in the middle of the cultural festival. Momo. What nerves. Hiroshima. Yes, but at least we can take advantage and go around and see the festival. I was happy. Haminari. They say they made a maid cafe. Excited. Come on. Mineta. Of course, as they both ran away. Jiru. Those pair of idiots only think about girls and breasts. Watching them walk away. Izuku. Well, we should make sure we don't lack anything, just in case. All. Hi. After a while reviewing and seeing if they were missing anything for their presentation, they discovered that Kaminari and Mineta had spent some elements to play like idiots. Jiru. Those idiots spent the stuff for the presentation just to play like children. Somewhat angry, I'm going to stick my jacks in their eyes. Momo. Well, at least we can take advantage of the fact that we haven't started yet. Kasumi. And what are we missing? Momo. Not much. Here I made a small list showing the list. Lita. Well, I'll go by what's missing. Izumi. My Oni-chan better go looking at Lita. Lita. And why not me? Tsuyu. I'm sorry Lita-kun, but how to say Jiro you are. Kasumi. You are very noisy and raise a lot of dust when you run, she said simply. Lita, upon hearing that, only became depressed, and in a small corner, she only muttered things like it's not my fault, and Uraraka only consoled her boyfriend. Note. Uraraka and Lita became lovers a few weeks ago, and she will not be in Izuku's harem. Izuku. Well, just give me the list, I'll go and be back in just a few minutes. Momo just gave them the list and told them that they will take care of Eri for him while he was gone. And another side. Gentle. Well, Brava, it's time to go to that festival while having a cup of tea nearby. La Brava. Yes, Gentle, it's time to put our names up high. But Izuku. Izuku just jumped and ran at high speed through the city, looking for the objects requested for his presentation. Now we can still see Izuku carrying some bags and he was heading back towards the academy, but at that moment he ran into a man in a suit and a red-haired girl. Gentle. Well, Brava, it's time to go to that festival. La Brava. Yes, Gentle, it's time for us to put our names in style. At that moment Izuku intervenes in his conversation. Izuku. Excuse me, getting both of their attention. Are you heading towards the UA Cultural Festival? Gentle. That's right, young man. Looking at Izuku. I am the great gentle criminal. La Brava. And I am the great La Brava, and together, both. Living without law while doing some poses. Izuku. Sorry, who? Confused. They both just stood there like statues when they heard Izuku's question. Gentle. How do you not know us? With a cute pout. Izuku. I'm sorry sir, but I don't know them. Are they famous? He said innocently. The Brava. Of course yes, we are the great criminal duo. How do you not know us? We have like 3,000 followers on HeirTube. Izuku. Wait, you're not criminals. Gentle. Of course we are, I'm the great gentle criminal, with pride in his words. Izuku. And what are you doing, Mr. Gentle? The Brava. We are going to sabotage the UA festival so that everyone remembers our names and we become famous and recognized throughout Japan. Izuku just let go of the bags from his hands and both criminals felt a terrifying aura around them. Izuku. I'm sorry, but I won't let that happen. Showing his ghoul eye, I and my companions worked hard to be able to perform at the festival, and I won't let them ruin it. With a cold look and taking out a single Kagyun, scaring both criminals. La Brava. G. Gentle is the new symbol of peace who defeated the #1 villain. Looking at Izuku somewhat scared, B. Black Reaper. Gentle only paled upon hearing Izuku's hero name and could only see his cold gaze and the crimson tentacle that moved behind him. Gentle. Shit, this is bad. Looking at Izuku, we have to run away. The bravest while they are running in a funny way. They were both just running, but in the blink of an eye they saw Izuku in front of them both. Gentle. Damn. Looking at Izuku. Stop, we'll have to fight. Izuku just started to attack, but an elastic wall stopped him. Izuku. What the hell? Izuku just bounced and could see how a circle made of rubber covered Gentle. Gentle. This is my quirk boy. Looking at Izuku and touching the rubber circle. Quirk Gentle. Elasticity. It allows him to give the property of elasticity to everything he touches, making it stretchable and flexible. This quirk can affect anything, from the ground to the air itself. Izuku. He has a quirk that can even make air elastic. It's good. Izuku alone with his Kagyun broke Gentle's rubber wall, surprising him. Gentle. How? Izuku. Maybe you can make anything elastic, but everything has a limit. Looking at Gentle with a smile, it's like breaking a balloon. Izuku activated one for all at 10% and hit Gentle in the face, making him bleed a little. Gentle. It's very strong, I felt like my head almost separated from my neck. The brave one. Gentle alright helping to rejoin. Gentle. We can't fight him looking at Izuku we have to get to that festival no matter what it takes. But brava. Hi. They both just started jumping in the air with Gentle's quirk. Izuku only began to follow them with a speed that made both criminals nervous and after a while, they reached a construction donut. Gentle. I know you're a great hero boy while standing on top of a beam, but they won't stop us, we've come too far for someone to stop us. The man was just moving at a high speed jumping across beam to beam managing to hit Izuku several times. Izuku. Shit on well, I have to find a way to win. Izuku only tried to dodge Gentle's attacks, but it was difficult for the black-haired man since Gentle even used the rubber floor. Izuku at one point had a small premonition and was able to knee the white-haired man in the stomach. Gentle. Puig spitting saline and a little blood. Gentle only rejoined, but Izuku little by little continued to have flashbacks about Gentle's future movements and only counterattacked with mastery. Izuku. I don't know specifically how to activate this quirk, but I already have the battle mastered. Gentle seeing his imminent meltdown could only see a small advantage that might cost him. Gentle could see a lord watching their battle from the ground and Gentle just dropped a beam that would crush the lord, but Izuku saw Gentle's move and stopped the beam. Izuku. You watching Gentle as he carried the beam were you about to kill that man? Gentle. Not only did I assume that as a hero your importance was the people and you will not catch the villain while taking the brave girl in his arms, so see you hero while using a crane as a slingshot and launching himself towards the academy. Izuku only got angry and with his Kagyun alone, he broke the beam into several pieces so that it would not hurt the man who was on the ground and copying Gentle he launched himself with the crane in his direction. Gentle was just in the air talking to his partner. Gentle. Did you record it La Brava? La Brava. Yes, every detail showing a small pink camera. Gentle. Great, now let's he couldn't finish because a shadow could be seen above him and they both saw Izuku with his ghoul eye that terrified them. Izuku alone with his Kagyun hit both of them and made them crash to the ground. Gentle. Damn looking at Izuku yes, he is very good. Izuku. Enough, just surrender. Gentle. The great Gentle would not surrender to anyone as he rushed towards Izuku. Izuku activating one for all at 20% only gave him a good blow to the stomach and face that stunned him and Izuku only immobilized both of them on the ground. Gentle. I'm sorry the Brava talking to her partner I couldn't keep my promise. Izuku was only surprised and decided to touch both of their heads so he could see their memories. Izuku only understood the rejection, the pain that they both received because of society, but he also saw the good memories that they both made together, how they met and how they formed their group and became companions. The brave one. Gentle, that doesn't matter surprising Gentle because that never mattered to me, I just liked being with you because I see you as a father to me with a beautiful smile I love you Gentle while she was saying some little tears. As he said those words, Gentle's body just began to release a kind of pink smoke and it came back stronger. Gentle. I promised you that our names would rise to the top, so getting up I won't lose sending Izuku to fly with a strong blow. Izuku could only clean a small trickle of blood that came out of his mouth due to the white-haired man's blow and saw that his hair and mustache were now standing on end and he was covered by a pink aura that the Brava gave off. Quirk the Brave. Love. It allows you to grant a boost of power to the person you love most for a limited time. The amount of power your loved one receives increases with the intensity of her love. Izuku could only increase the percentage of one for all and attack the white-haired man. Izuku. You're not the only one who fights for someone else, punching the man in the face I fought for a girl who was tortured over and over again, to be happy again looking at both of them and she is very excited about that festival and I won't let them ruin it. Izuku only began to exchange blows with people while the brave woman tried to hack the UA systems. Gentle and Izuku were evenly matched, but Izuku by low increased the one for all percentage to be able to surpass the man. Gentle only formed several elastic walls to stop the hero. Izuku. Not only does his physical strength also increase the strength of his quirk, I can no longer break his rubber walls with the same ease as before. Gentle just formed several rubber walls and slammed Izuku into the ground with it. Izuku. Shit pulling out her 4 tentacles and breaking her rubber walls well if you don't contain yourself, neither me. Izuku only increased one for all to 80% and both began a battle that destroyed a large part of the forest. Izuku at that moment had the advantage in combat and the strength of the people was little by little as the bravery quirk reached its limit. Izuku alone with his Kagyun slammed Gentle into the ground, leaving him semi-unconscious. End music. The Brava. No Gentle. Izuku only had him immobilized on the ground while Brava hit Izuku tenderly so that she would let him go. The Brava. Leave Gentle. Izuku just asked to see the concern in the girl's eyes. Izuku could sense that several police officers and heroes were heading towards them and he alone made a somewhat risky decision. Police. It's here looking at the wreckage around what the hell happened. Hero. I don't know, but those who caused them are no longer there looking and using their sense of smell to see if there was anyone. We have to keep watching. Come on. Police. Hi. On another side, we can see an Izuku carrying some people and Brava. Well, he jumped over the buildings and left them both on a roof. Izuku. Well, they'll be fine here leaving both of them, but we have to take Gentle to a doctor, he may have a broken rib. But Brava. Why are you helping us? Looking at Izuku, weren't we fighting before? Izuku. I know you're both not bad people, so I'm going to offer you something. Looking at both of you. Gentle. And that is it. Izuku. That they are heroes. Looking seriously at both of them. You just wanted to be someone in the world, you just wanted everyone to know you, so you can fulfill that, but as heroes not as criminals, so what do you say you accept? But Brava. Really? Izuku. Sure, you know being the new symbol of peace has its advantages. I can talk to the director of the UA so that he can give you permission to act as heroes. Gentle and the Brava, upon hearing that, only began to shed some tears and both hugged Izuku, thanking them. Gentle. Thank you, really thank you. Crying. The Brava. Thank you sir, thank you. They both only separated from Izuku and the three of them went in the direction of UA so they could heal Gentle. Time skip. Izuku was only arriving at UA and left Gentle with Recovery Girl to heal him. Time skip. After talking to Nezu about what happened a few minutes ago, the three of them were walking and strolling through the cultural festival after they both received provisional licenses to see the hero, which made them both happy. Now we can see Eri talking to Brava while Izuku and Gentle were just talking. Gentle. Thank you for everything boy, any hero would only join us and leave us to be arrested. Looking at Izuku. Izuku. I'm not just any hero, and just tell me Izuku, that's my name. Gentle. Well, tell me Tabita, that's my name. Looking at the boy. Izuku. I think it suits you better. Gentle sir. Haha. Seeing the white-haired man, I think I'll call him that. Gentle. Well, as you like, and I also think that the name Gentle suits me better. Hahaha. They both just laughed while Eri played with her new friend and they walked around the entire festival. Time skip. After a while after Izuku met Gentle, Nomuri took Eri and Gentle along so they could see the great spectacle of the classes. But Izuku and her class. Mina. What nerves. Izumi. At least Oni-chan was able to arrive, but why are you all dirty? Looking at Izuku, a little dirty from his previous fight. Izuku. Maybe I'll explain it to you later, but for now let's just prepare. Hi. All the people were in a giant theater waiting for the students' performance, and on a table were the Thursdays of the show confirmed by Aizawa, President Mic, All Might and Director Nezu. Mick. Well everyone, I hope you are happy to see the performances of our students. Everyone could only scream because of what the hero said. Mick. Well, this see they begin. Time skip. After some painful and some funny performances by the students, it was Class A's turn to participate. Mick. Well, now it's Class 1A's turn. As he said that, the curtains opened, revealing the entire class with many instruments and several of his classmates in yellow costumes, as if they were going to dance. The song only at the beginning excited everyone and the lyrics only amazed the viewers, and Thursday, well Izuku only sang and Izumi and Kasumi used their quirks for the special effects. After finishing the song everyone applauded and shouted the name of Class A. Aizawa. Well, it was a good song although very noisy with his typical discouraged attitude. Nezu. Okay, but now let's see what his second song is. The boys just started singing and playing again, and the people just loved the song, and a little Eri was just shouting her father's name along with Nomuri. When they finished, everyone shouted the name of Class A again. Mick. Incredible ladies and gentlemen, Class A has proven that they have great talent, but they still need to sing a song to be able to win. Izumi. What else? Jiru. We don't prepare another one, what do we do? Izuku. Do you remember the song we sang when we practiced? Izuku's classmates just smiled as he began to play his latest song. The song only conquered the majority of local women, and for a certain blue-haired woman she only blushed like a tomato because of the lyrics. At the end of playing the judges gave their score and everyone gave it a 10, which made everyone happy. Mick. A perfect score for Class 1A. The spectators just screamed when they heard that, and after a while Class A left the stage to make way for Class B. Apparently the B class did a Snow White show. It was kind of fun to see the class dressed up and even more so to see Shinso as the evil witch, but at one point the curtain closed and inside you could see how the class I was a little desperate and Izuku just went to see what was happening to them. Izuku. Guys, what's going on? Kendo. Well, Monoma was the prince in the end, but well Izuku only looked behind her and saw Monoma completely knocked out. Izuku. You hit him and now he doesn't wake up. Kendo. Well, he didn't want to act and well she was stopped by Izuku. Izuku. Don't worry, I have an idea. The halt resumed and everyone could see the dwarves who were Kendo and his companions crying over the death of the princess who was Yui Kadai. Kendo. Why crying, poor princess, she was so good. Yui. It seems that Monoma will not waste all our efforts, and the beautiful Snow White will die alone and without a prince. The dwarves were just crying, but at one point they could hear footsteps, and they could all see an Izuku in a white suit, and he looked like a prince. The women who saw Izuku just blushed and had a huge nosebleed. Mick. What's happening, doctor? What's happening? Is this acceptable? Looking at Izawa. Izawa. Shut up, this is the best part. While she was eating some popcorn. Izuku. Ooh, oh little ones, why are you crying, and what is such a beautiful woman doing in that coffin? Yui just opened her eyes and could see Izuku in the prince outfit without getting up from the coffin, so as not to ruin the scene. Pendo. Young prince looking at Izuku. Our friend was poisoned, please. Everyone. Help her. Izuku. Okay little ones, I'll help her friend. Izuku just walked up to Yui and couldn't deny that she looked very beautiful with that dress on. Izuku only took Yui, letting the spectators see her beautiful dress, but Izuku's action was what got everyone excited. Izuku just took Yui and kissed her in front of everyone, surprising the B class, her classmates, and even Yui herself. When both separated from the kiss, Izuku could only see a blushing Yui while she saw him. Pendo. Yui, the princess has woken up. Everyone. Her aya. The spectators, still in their socks, just shouted the name of the B class as the judges gave their scores, and to the surprise of all the judges, they also gave a perfect 10 to the class. After that the show ended, but everyone still had in their minds what Izuku did, and now all the classes were on stage, waiting for the judges' decision to see which class won. Mick. Well, we judges make a decision. Izawa. Can you stop screaming for everything already somewhat annoying? All Might. The winning class is class 1A. All the people when they heard that just shouted with joy, and class A just smiled and were happy like never before to win. Nezu. Well, come. He was interrupted by a Sinizo blonde. Bakugo. And your bucking faces, you idiots. Class 1A is the best, as he lifted his trophy. Izawa. And the special prize, apparently, is a kiss from the heroine Midnight. At that moment all the men just booed the class as the heroine approached. Namuri. Well, who will receive the kiss? Well, she was carrying Eri. Mineta. Me. Paminari. Not me. They were both just fighting, but Jiru just stuck her jacks in his eyes to calm them down. Namuri. Well, I'll have to choose. While he looked at Izuku in a flirtatious way. Nemu just approached Izuku and grabbed him by the shirt and gave him a deep kiss that only made most of the men around him hate him, and the women only hated Midnight for kissing Izuku. Mick. Well everyone, thank you for coming to our festival and thank you very much for watching our show. I'm Skip. After a while, Izuku's classmates just enjoyed the rest of the day, and for the first time, Izuku introduced his mother to Eri, and immediately Inko became fond of her since she thought she was his granddaughter, and he also introduced her to Namuri, which she liking. I'm Skip. The festival was already over and Izuku and Eri were on a bench together. Izuku. Well, what did you think of today, Eri? Eri. It was very fun, Odo-san, especially when you and that girl kissed Oka-san. Couldn't stop seeing them, but he had a bad face. Izuku. Haha, I don't doubt it, but I haven't brought you anything yet. Eri. And that's it. Izuku. Wait here a moment. Izuku just left and after a few minutes he returned with a candy apple and gave it to Eri. Izuku. Here, it's a candy apple, I hope you like it. Just when Eri tasted the apple, she was amazed and gave a beautiful smile. Eri. It's delicious, thank you very much, Odo-san. Izuku. You're welcome, Eri. Well, come on, your mother and grandmother are probably waiting for us outside. Eri. Hi. They both just walked hand in hand together towards their other family, and they could all see a beautiful scene of a father and his daughter. Part 17, The Todoroki Family. The day we can see Izuku walking through the streets of Japan accompanied by a certain bicolor holding hands, although it was not uncomfortable for Izuku, rather he liked the feeling. Many people saw the couple and Shaka, although he ignored the gazes around him, had a noticeable blush since she wasn't very good at couple things, but she still tried hard and Izuku liked that part of her. Izuku walked a little nervous since this day they would both go to Shaka's house at her request, since she wanted to get to know Izuku better and vice versa. Izuku walked a little nervous since it would be the first time he would meet the parents of one of his girls, and that made him a little nervous. Izuku. How did it end like this? Flash black. Izuku was calm at her desk reading a book until Shaka approached him with a blush and something nervous that was very unusual for her. Shaka. Izuku, getting the black-haired man's attention. Can I ask you something nervous? All of his companions, upon hearing and seeing the blush plus his nervous voice, only paid attention to what the bicolor would say. Shaka. Why, you and I can go to my house this weekend to get to know each other better. Blushing. Izuku. Sure Shaka, I can go without a problem with a smile. And flash black. Izuku just sighed when he remembered what the bicolor asked him and he thought it was a good idea. The bad thing was the problem with his other girls. Flash black. Jiru. And it's not fair, I also want Izuku to meet my family, determined in his words. Momo. Yes, I have told my parents a lot about him and they have wanted to meet him for a few weeks. Izuku. Girls, please calm down, trying to calm the situation. How about after I go with Shaka to meet his parents? I'm going to meet yours, somewhat nervous. All. Well, that sounds good to us. And flash black. Izuku just sighed again, and in a few minutes Izuku and Shaka had arrived at the house, or in this case the Todoroki mansion. Izuku. Well, I guess your parents like the traditional theme, right? Shaka. To my father, and from here I get my decorating tastes. Izuku. Well, it's nice, it looks like an old mansion from the time of the samurai, he said with a proto smile that made her blush. Shaka. Well, let's go in, walking towards the door of his house. The interior of the large traditional house was much larger than its exterior. Shaka. I'm already home. Shouting, a beautiful white-haired woman resembling Shaka came out of the kitchen. Hello Shaka, how? The woman only remained silent as she saw Izuku enter holding hands with Shaka. You would have told me that you were bringing your boyfriend, daughter, looking with a mocking smile at her daughter. Shaka. Mom. Izuku just laughed a little and then introduced himself. Izuku. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Todoroki. I'm IzukuMidoriya, I'm her daughter's boyfriend. Bowing. The politeness and affirmation in the word boyfriend was what surprised the white-haired girl. Shaka. Well, she's my mother, Ray. Izuku, I hope they get along well. I laughed. Wait, is he really your boyfriend? Looking at Izuku. Really? Shaka. Why yes, blushing and nervous. Ray only became serious and approached Izuku, and the black-haired man was just nervous about what was going to happen. Ray. Welcome to the family, she said with joy and hugging Izuku. Feel free to be with my daughter, and I can also leave for a while if you guys. Shaka. Mom, all red. I laughed. Don't worry, he was just joking, but hey, come on in, your brothers are here so you can tell your brothers the news, she said happily. Shaka. I don't think that, she was interrupted. I laughed. Nonsense, we have to celebrate that my little Firefrost has a boyfriend. Happy. Shaka. Mom, what did I tell you about that nickname? Izuku. Firefrost. Shaka. It's just a silly nickname she gave me when she was a child. I laughed. But if you still like me saying that, don't you remember? Oh, she was interrupted as Shaka covered her mouth. Shaka. Just call my brothers, okay? With a dark look. I laughed. How boring, your daughter. Well, Fayumi, Natsuo, come quickly. After a few minutes a young and beautiful girl with white hair and red locks appeared. Fayumi. What's wrong, Mom? Yawning, she was sleeping. I laughed. Daughter, your pretty little sister comes to rub you in that she already has a boyfriend, and you don't, she said with a cute smile. You should learn from her. Izuku. It's a pleasure. He was interrupted by a scream from the bicolor. Fayumi. AI looking at her little sister who had a blush. It can't be, it has to be a joke. The scream only attracted the curiosity of a white-haired man who came out of her room. Natsuo. What's happening? She said something tired and boring. Fayumi. Natsuo. Shaka brought her boyfriend home, pointing to Izuku. Natsuo only saw Izuku waving a little nervously, and his eyes went wide and his jaw fell to the ground. Natsuo. And no PC could be. Izuku. I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? I laughed. It's very surprising, with how antisocial she was since she was little and how cold she is now. We thought she would never get a boyfriend so soon. Shaka. Stop being so surprised, and you already knew about Izuku. Fayumi. Yes, but we never thought that it was the new symbol of peace that defeated the #1 villain. Looking with stars in his eyes at Izuku. Natsuo. Hey, can you sign some things for me? Seeing Izuku. Izuku. He, of course. Fayumi. And I can take a photo with you, slightly blushing, obviously for my students. Ray. Before that you should introduce yourself properly. Fayumi. Sorry, well, my name is Fayumi Todoroki, I'm Shaka-chan's older sister. Natsuo. And I am Natsuo, I am the oldest of the three. Izuku. Nice to meet you, my name is IzukuMidoriya. And Fayumi-san, did you say students? Fayumi. If I'm a teacher, I work in a school not far from here. Natsuo. And I'm a doctor, and a very good one. Feel free to come when you get hurt. Izuku. Thank you, and well, as you know, I'm Shaka's classmate at UA. I laughed. Yes, well, how about you and Shaka go to his room while we prepare the table for lunch? Shaka. Okay, let's go. Izuku, taking Izuku by the arm and leading him to his room. I laughed. I hope they use protection, although I also wish they had a child. Shaka. Mom. I laughed. Just joking, have fun. Shaka just closed the door to his room and just fell to his knees while he covered his face, which had a blush. Izuku. Your family seems fun, he said happily. Shaka. Don't make fun, I'm very annoying sometimes. Izuku. But. Shaka. But I still love them very much, smiling. Izuku. I didn't know your mother was at home, she wasn't. Shaka. Yes, but since the sports festival many things have changed. My father is no longer always an idiot. My mother left the psychiatric hospital and now lives here, although it is not like before. My parents are trying to recover their old relationship, and well, I'm sorry. Very grateful, blushing. Izuku. You know you look very cute when you smile, looking at Shaka happy. Shaka. Baka whispering. Izuku. Well, what are we going to do? Shaka just blushed and lay down on his bed and looked at Izuku with a blush. Shaka. Well, lie down with me and you can hug me, she said blushing. Izuku just smiled and did what the girl told him and they both lay down together. Izuku only saw the achromatic eyes of the bicolor and the girl saw the dark and black eyes but with a certain green glow. Shaka only kissed Izuku and the black-haired boy returned the kiss, both of them only caressed each other and hugged each other, the boy not the other with love. Izuku. Shaka looking at the blushing bicolor, you are beautiful, if your family wasn't there I would make you mine right now. Shaka just blushed and hid in the black-haired man's chest. Shaka. Baka don't talk nonsense. Izuku. It's not nonsense, you're beautiful and although you're a little cold sometimes that's what makes you pretty and when you blush, it just makes me want to kiss you every time, he said with a smile and looking into the girl's beautiful eyes. The girl just climbed on top of Izuku and started kissing him with a lot of love but also with some lust. I laughed. Entering the room, guys, I brought you tea and some the door. Shaka just blushed like a tomato and hid in Izuku's chest, trying to make the shame go away. Shaka. Mom, you're stupid, all red and on Izuku's chest, I want to die. Izuku. Well, I don't think it's been that bad, they're a little embarrassed too, well how about we sleep together for a while. Shaka. Well, I think it's okay, whispering. They both just huddled together and prepared to wait for lunch. Time skip. Everyone was at the table in the big traditional mansion, but Shaka couldn't look her mother in the eyes after she saw them both caressing and kissing each other. I laughed. Well daughter, how was she? With a mocking smile and a mischievous look. Shaka. Mom, stop it. Ray. What? I'm just curious. Fayumi. Curious about what? Shaka. You're welcome, let's just keep eating. Izuku just laughed a little and continued. Eating. Shaka was a little uncomfortable for obvious reasons and Izuku quickly became fond of the Todoroki family. They also shared several anecdotes about their lives and work. They also ate a small dessert that Izuku prepared, surprising the ladies, and Natsuo only said that he was his idol. Izuku. Her food was delicious, Mrs. Todoroki. Ray. Don't be so formal, call me Ray or Oka-san, since we will be family in the future, she said happily and with a smile. Izuku. Well, I laughed. He. Shaka. Hey Izuku, where did you learn to cook? Izuku. Well, before when my mom worked a lot and Izumi was in the United States, I had to prepare my own food, breakfast, lunch and dinner, I guess I became skilled at preparing food because of that. Ray. And your father? Upon hearing that question, Izuku just stayed silent and Shaka just gave her mother a gift. Shaka. Mom, don't be rude, Izuku. Izuku. It's not good. Well, my father is the #1 villain, in case you didn't know, his villain's name is All for One. When he said that, Laugh's face only paled at the response. I laughed. I see, sorry for asking, somewhat sad because the boy answered. Izuku. No, don't worry, nothing happens, it's just difficult since I think it would be easier to say that he is dead or he abandoned us. Natsuo. And why don't you do it? Izuku. Because he didn't leave us by his own decision, he abandoned us because of his work, but even deep down, I know that he loved us very much and that's why I can't say that he is dead or that he is not my father, because even though he is a villain, he always took care of us in his own way, sometimes he sent money and he also made his jobs go far from where we lived. The words only moved those present and Shaka and the Todoroki brothers even more. Endeavor. I'm already home. The great hero number 2 was entering his house and as he passed through the kitchen, he could see Izuku, which surprised him a little. Endeavor. Boy, what are you doing here? Izuku. Hello Mr. Endeavor, bowing, it's nice to see you. Shaka. Dad, don't be rude and don't ask just that when you enter, and besides, today he is my guest. Endeavor. I understand, hello children, honey looking at laughing. I laughed. Hello NG, giving him a small kiss on the lips. Izuku only saw this as strange, but he was happy for both of them. Shaka. Yes, we know it's awkward, but they are rekindling if old lady calls, so just ignore them. Endeavor. Well, can I ask what the boy is doing here? Ray. Didn't Shaka tell you? He is his boyfriend, he said happily. Endeavor. Ah, I see, well if you'll excuse me I'm going to take off my hero suit. The burning man only walked away a little and when he reached his room he only screamed in euphoria. Endeavor. Ha yes. Izuku. Do you still have that obsession with having strong descendants? Shaka. Well, a little bit but not as much as before. Time skip. Endeavor only came to the kitchen again in a more normal outfit, looking like a family man. Endeavor just discreetly looked at Izuku and gave him a thumbs up in approval for dating his daughter. Izuku spent much of the day chatting with Natsuo and Endeavor, and the man of fire sent him hints that seemed more direct about the pregnancy or what his and Shaka's quirk would be like combined. Izuku was having a good time all day and she really had a lot of fun, but Izuku had something to talk about with the hero there. Izuku. Mr. Endeavor, can I talk to you for a moment? He said seriously. The hero, noticing the seriousness in the boy's words, only made him feel a little worried and he only acted. They both just walked towards Endeavor's office and both sat in front of each other with a serious expression. Endeavor. Well, what did you want to talk to me about? Izuku, I should have asked you some questions before, you can answer them honestly, right? Endeavor. Yes, of course, what question is it? Izuku. You didn't only have 3 children, right? Endeavor was only surprised by Izuku's deduction and lowered his head since he already had an idea of what he was going to ask. Endeavor. Yes, and I know what you're going to say, you're right, I and Rei used to have 4 children. Izuku. And where is the 4th, Natsuo's brother, Fayumi and Shaka? Endeavor just lowered his head and clenched his fists, and that was enough for Izuku to understand. Izuku. I understand, and what exactly happened to him? Endeavor. Well, it's complicated, he died in an accident. Izuku. I imagine it wasn't a traffic accident, right? Endeavor. No, it was something more personal. Izuku. May I know what happened to him? Endeavor. Sai, when Shaka and her brothers were children I only had one goal. Izuku. Overcome all MIGs, you couldn't, but you thought one of your children could. Endeavor. My 4th son was Tsuyu. Tsuyu Todoroki had great potential with his quirk, even his quirk surpassed mine, hahaha, but. Izuku. But. Endeavor. He inherited his mother's fragile body and could not use all of his quirk to its maximum, since if he used it, he would hurt himself. Izuku. And that's what killed him, you trained him, you tried to exploit his quirk and he. Endeavor could only shed a few tears over that bitter memory from years ago. Endeavor. Yes, he died because of me, because of my stupidity to beat All Might, crying. Izuku only remained serious and looked at the hero with some pity. Izuku. You didn't kill him, Endeavor. The hero only surprised the hero, and the Redeed saw Izuku, you didn't mention it, it was just an accident, you don't have to feel guilty about that getting up, that was all I wanted to know, I'll leave you alone, sir. Izuku alone left the place, leaving Endeavor alone, and he alone took a small photo of Tsuyu with his brothers. Endeavor. Forgive me, Tsuyu. But Izuku. Izuku just went back to the rest of the family while he thought. Izuku. Well, at least I'm tying up loose ends, but I still can't tell you the truth. Izuku only arrived with his girlfriend and saw Shaka all blushing and Fayumi and Natsuo laughing. Izuku. What did I miss? Rei. You tell us, you didn't go to talk to Enji to ask for Shaka's hand in marriage with a mocking smile. Shaka. Mom, shut up, Allred. Izuku. I'm sorry, but I still think we're too young for that, sitting down. Rei. What a shame, but hey, when they finish school maybe they will do it, what do you think? Looking at both. Izuku. Well, I thought I liked the idea, looking at Shaka a little mockingly. Shaka. Be Baka, what are you saying? Rei. It's well decided, we will have a big wedding, and Shaka will have a beautiful white dress. Fayumi. I'll be the godmother, raising her hand like a girl. Natsuo. Me too, I want to be the godfather. Izuku. Haha, looking at Shaka hiding in his chest, what's wrong, don't you want to? Shaka Solo gave Izuku a tender kiss, and when they separated she responded with a huge blush. Shaka. I hope you don't regret your words, Baka, with a small smile. Rei. Oh, how cute they look together. Fayumi brings the camera. Time skip night. Izuku was now in a large bathroom in the Todoroki house. Rei and Endeavor offered him to stay the night, and he gladly accepted. Obviously, after Izuku notified his family and they accepted, Izumi reluctantly stayed calm and just relaxed in the huge bathroom. Izuku. Well, today was a great day and also somewhat productive. Izuku just looked at the moon that was peeking out the bathroom window and frowned a little. Izuku. Someday I will find you and I assure you that I will torture you to death, you damn idiot. Time skip. Izuku, after Izuku finished his bath alone, went to the guest room that they gave him to sleep in and took some clothes that Rei gave him to sleep in, probably from Natsuo or from Endeavor. Izuku just lay down on his bed and was just getting ready to sleep, but someone knocked on his door. Shaka. Izuku, can I come in? Izuku. Sure, happens. Seeing the bicolor girl enter, Izuku blushed a little since he looked very hexy. He was wearing a small shirt that showed off his navel and a short that made his thighs stand out. Izuku. Hello, Shaka, what are you doing here? Shaka. Well. Edo, I wanted to ask you if I can sleep with you. Izuku just smiled at the girl's request and said yes. Izuku. Sure, come, opening his arms. Shaka just jumped on top of Izuku and lay on his chest while the two snuggled together. Shaka. Hey Izuku, getting the black-haired boy's attention, can I ask you something? Izuku. Of course it is. Shaka. What you said about getting married was true. Izuku just smiled and gave Shaka a tender kiss, who gladly accepted the gesture. Izuku. Of course, my pretty Firefrost, she said with a smile. Shaka just blushed at the last thing Izuku said. Shaka. Baka, don't call me that, tenderly hitting his chest. Shaka blushed hard at what he was about to order. Shaka. Izuku, you know, my brother's and parents' room are far from here, so whispering, I want you to make me yours like you told me before, blushing. Izuku only heard those words and saw Shaka's tender face, only his brain disconnected, and he began the action. Lemon skipped, please read it on website. Art 18 the new number 1. Izuku was getting up like every morning, but on her chest was a sleeping Shaka with a satisfied face that she did not hide even a little. Izuku solo caressed her and understood why that face. Izuku and Shiko spent around 6 or 8 hours having hex like rabbits in heat. Apparently Izuku discovered that behind that calm and somewhat cold face was hiding a nymphomaniac who surpassed even Nomuri, although he couldn't deny that he really had a lot of fun, although more than once he worried that his family would hear what they were doing, but then after a while, he sent everything to the devil since he had the blessing of both parents and he just let himself go. Time skip. Both young men stood up to Izuku with a simple look, but Shaka had a beautiful smile and was very attached to Izuku. Of course Izuku was a little used to it since that was the effect he had with the girls after their very long sessions of mutual affection. Izuku and Shaka only went to the kitchen to have breakfast with the entire Todoroki family. When they sat down, they were both the center of attention of the whole family. On the one hand Natsuo seemed to be able to bear laughing. Fayumi looked at Izuku with a blush and her sister with some jealousy. Endeavor only read a newspaper and Ray only cooked but avoided having eye contact with them and you could tell he had a blush. Izuku. Good morning. Shaka. Good morning. The family only returned the greeting, sorry, they still remained the same. They both thought it was strange, but they just ignored that and just ate. During breakfast it was somewhat awkward since no one was talking, but everyone seemed to look at both of them out of the corner of their eyes and also for some reason Endeavor had a smile. Shaka. Okay, what's wrong with you? They act very strange. Natsuo. Ha starting to laugh like crazy. I laughed. It's nothing, daughter, just I think they made a lot of noise last night with a blush on her face. Endeavor just gave Izuku a thumbs up with a smile and Fayumi just blushed. Shaka. What ullo blushing. The others just nodded and Shaka and Izuku just blushed and ate breakfast in an awkward silence, but a certain bicolor just wanted to disappear from existence at that moment. Time skip. Next day. Classes started again and Izuku was with Izawa along with Eri and Najire, making her pigtails making her look prettier. Izuku. Hello Eri, it seems like you get along well with Najire senpai and Izawa sensei. Eri. Odo-san hugging Izuku. Yes, Caterpillar sensei is very good and so is Najire. Those present only laughed at Eri's nickname for Izawa and the hero only ignored what the girls said, although he mentally cursed those who laughed. Eri. Odo-san, can I ask something? Izuku. Sure Eri, what is it? Eri. Is Najire one of my mothers? Najire just blushed fiercely at what the girl said, but she discreetly looked at Izuku with a smile, waiting for him to say yes. Izuku. Well, looking somewhat nervously at Najire. Well, I think it's her decision. Najire. Yes, everyone just stared at Najire and she blushed even more for what she did. Najire. I mean, I would like to be your mother Eri, really I do see you as a daughter or a little sister. Eri. Yay huging Najire, I already have another Oka-san happy. Najire was just blowing fumes out of her ears and waiting for Izuku's response. Izuku. Well then I hope you can help me take care of Eri, darling, she said jokingly and with a proto smile. Najire was already at her limit and even more so when she heard how Izuku told her and when she saw her bright smile, she only had a tremendous runny nose and fainted. Eri. Oka-san, Odo-san, what happened to him? Izuku. I think she tried too hard, he just let her sleep. They both only went to eat together while the others took care of the fainted Najire. They also explained to Mirio that if they helped Eri control her quirk in the possible future, perhaps before they graduated, Mirio could recover his quirk, the blonde alone. He smiled as he always does and said that while Izuku was in class, he would take care of Eri. Izuku just smiled at that statement and said that if something happened to Eri or he even had a scratch, he would torture him in every way possible, both physically and psychologically. The blonde just paled at that statement and Izuku left Eri with Uncle Mirio while he was going to class and his mothers were busy too. Time skip elsewhere. In the giant stadium thousands of people, most of them reporters, were waiting for the big announcement of who will be the new symbol of peace after the retirement of All Might. Commentator. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we will introduce you as to the new top of heroes, number 10 lower place from last time, but that doesn't matter, the dragon heroine. Ryukyo. I really don't think I deserve it this time, somewhat nervous. Commentator. Number 9 also low, but he will not yet be defeat, the armed hero. Yoroi Musha. YM. Apart from the first 3, this does not reflect current times. Commenter. Number 80 Heir, who is always clean and bright, the laundry hero. Wash. Commentator. Number 7, he raised a lot, a promising hero. Kamui Woods. Hey W. I am honored waving. Journalist. Kamui is the 7, Miss MT. Lady, what do you think? ML. Like her partner, he is encouraging. Journalist. Is it true that you are a couple? ML. Not really, but I already have someone in my sights haha while he blushed and imagined a certain young black-haired hero. Lady, seeing the reporters walking away from her, only serenaded her fellow hero next to her, asking why she is not at the top. Commentator. Number 6, the emblem of manliness stands next to the hero. Shield crust. SC. Damn, I wanted to keep seeing All Might in action while she shed a manly tear. Commentator. Number 5, a bunny determined to get to the top, the rabbit heroine. Mirko. I heard you made a team, weakling looking at a certain ninja hero. Commentator. Number 4, the ninja who promoted a lot and solved cases and approval, the ninja hero. Edshot. Shut up silly, we're in public, he said coldly and looking at the rabbit. Commentator. Despite the rest, he is still number 3, with the highest approval rate, the hero. Best Genus showing an image of the hero. Commenter. We hope he recovers and returns soon. Commentator. New 3, independent but fierce, reaches number 2 like a gale, the air hero. Hawks. How exaggerated, he said without interest. Commentator. And the number 1 temporarily, but today he will really take that position, I hope a lot, but here he is, the hero of fire. Endeavor. The hero's footsteps could be heard clearly, and the fire hero came out with a new and improved hero suit. Everyone screamed when they saw the hero. A lady started talking about how now that All Might retired, Endeavor would take the number 1 spot in the top heroes. Hawks. Whispering, hey, how about being the new number 1? Asking the fire hero. Endeavor didn't speak and just gave the birdman a serious look. After each hero gave his comments, some people from the press asked some questions. Extra. Excuse me, Mr. Endeavor. Endeavor. Yes. Extra. Don't you think it would be better to give the position to the hero Black Reaper so that he can be the new number 1 hero? The people and hero upon hearing that question only murmured about the young hero, and others only said that he was right since for a student he was able to defeat the number 1 villain and save the people around him. Endeavor. Well, sighing, I was expecting this question, so I'll be honest with you, I also think that he would be a better symbol of peace than me, surprising everyone, but he is still a boy, he is not prepared to have that responsibility on his shoulders, and he also has a youth to live before being the symbol of peace, plus he is dating my daughter, and I will not let him be the symbol of peace until he gives me strong grandchildren, he said with his usual somewhat obsessive tone. Some people could understand the reasons, and others laughed at Endeavor's last statement. After some last statements from the other heroes, they were already resting, and Endeavor gave Hawks a shout out for some words he said. On another side, Abi can be seen entering a warehouse and looking at a something special nomu. Abi. The previous ones didn't understand it, but I expect a lot from you, high end. On another side, you can see Izuku walking through the hallways of the worst prison of all totters, obviously to see his father, he had to know some things, and he was the only one who could give him answers. Izuku walked and the prisoners who saw him only moved away from the bars since what he did to the last prisoner who touched him, he couldn't get his hand back, and that was recorded in everyone's heads. Izuku entered his father's cell and could see him as always, tied and completely attached to a metal bed while he looked at the door. Afo. Hello son, what brings you here? Looking at his son, Izuku. I want you to tell me where he is, where that bastard is, somewhat angry. Afo. It seems like you have some grudge against him, hahaha, I don't blame you, he was the one who ruined your childhood. Izuku just frowned and approached where his father was looking at him face to face. Izuku. If you don't tell me, I'll force it out of you, putting his fingers on the villain's forehead. Afo. Wow, don't worry, it seems like you really want to kill him, hahaha, well actually I don't know where he is, his laboratory was in the old villain's lair, apparently he wasn't caught, that damn mad scientist has more than 100 ways to get out of trouble. Izuku. So you don't know where it is? Afo. Not really, but I'll tell you something that might help you. I can also not only pass on the quirks that he stole to other people, I can also put them in capsules that can be injected. The madman created some, so that I could give them several of my quirks and preserving them when I was away. Haha, he really is crazy. Izuku. Get to the point. Afo. The point is that maybe he is still working for the League in another location, and we both had a project. It occurred to us when the USJ Nomu failed. One that could beat All Might, he said with a macabre look. Alone, I will tell you to be careful, because I don't know how much it will improve. Izuku. Because you're telling me this, it wasn't necessary to tell me all this. Afo. Because you are my son and the only one who can kill you is me, or maybe my future successor. Izuku. Wow, what a great father you are, sarcastically. Afo. I'm doing what I can, but you better go, since something tells me that thing will attack today, hahaha. Good luck, with a smile. Izuku only left heart rose while he thought about what he said, and he was also attentive to see if his instinct that thing would attack just today was true. On another side, Endeavor was eating with Hawks at a restaurant while they were talking and eating chicken. Hawks. How delicious, eating fried chicken. Endeavor. You know that's basically cannibalism, right? Hawks. You think things too old. Endeavor. Don't call me that side. Well, that's what you want to talk about. Hawks. Well, I wanted to talk about the rumors. Endeavor. You're talking about. Hawks. If the nomu remodeling, they captured a dozen stored along with all for one in incubation machines beneath their hideout. Apparently the one that created them was not found, but they suspect it was a mad scientist or something. Endeavor. So whoever creates the nomus is still loose and working for the League. Hawks. Yes, maybe all for one knows where he has more hidden, but I don't know yet. Endeavor. And I suppose you have proof of this, right? Hawks. None are just rumors with a smile. Endeavor just got upset and stood up. Endeavor. I'm leaving the account somewhat irritated. Hawks. Wait, listen to this, they say they are not only here, but all over the country, they suspect that All for One has an army. Endeavor. And how do you know all that? Hawks. I flew all over the country looking for clues, said simply, but you know I'm right, the previous attacks were in different districts, and you already know how bad the villains are at remodeling. Endeavor. Stop playing and tell me, what do you want? Hawks. I want you to destroy those rumors and be a trusted leader, and I also want me to be able to go to sleep while you patrol. Endeavor. You bastard, you just want to hang around. Hawks. No, I want a world where heroes have days off, that's all. Endeavor only stared at the birdmen a little, but they both felt something coming towards them in the distance. Hawks. Endeavor, did you feel it? Waitress. Sorry for the delay, here it is. Hawks. Mrs. Get behind. A kind of bat flew towards them and broke the window in front of them, and they could see a kind of hooded monster with its brain on the outside, obviously a nomu. Nomu? Where is the strongest, he said with a terrifying voice. Endeavor. Hawks evacuates everyone. Hawks. Hey. Endeavor only gave him a strong punch that made the glass in the window explode and made the nomu retreat. Endeavor. Come here, you disgusting creature, flying alongside the nomu. The nomu only remained in the air with its body disfigured and with several parts brazen and burned. Nomu. Did you think that with those flames regenerating the parts of his body that were burned or missing, you could kill me? Endeavor. So it regenerates, but this one is more special, it has some kind of thrusters on its back to fly, they modified this one more than Hosu's nomus. Endeavor. But why can he talk? Nomu. I will kill you. Endeavor. We'll see about that, throwing bursts of fire. The nomu easily dodged the blasts of fire and stretched out his arm and slammed Endeavor into the building. The nomu only tightened his grip and made Endeavor completely pass through the building, and the hero increased the intensity of the flames to incinerate his arm and free himself from his grip. Endeavor. I have to incinerate it so it doesn't regenerate. The nomu only attacked Endeavor while Hawk saved the people from the large building where they were. Endeavor. Shit, seeing that he was bleeding, that thing is stronger and faster than me. Angry. Hawks only used his feathers to save the civilians around him, but he knew that he couldn't save everyone. Hawks. Damn, my feathers and wings feel everything, but even if I can feel most of the people already saved and down on the ground, I still won't be able to save everyone. At one point one of the civilians fell to the ground and she just closed her eyes waiting for the blow, but she felt someone carrying her, and when she opened her eyes she could see her hero, and this was Izuku, who carried her and left him on the ground next to her. To others. Izuku. I need you to evacuate the area. Looking at the people around him, I said now. All the people only saw Izuku as his salvation, and they listened. Izuku only activated One for All and at great speed saved the people who were still in the building. Izuku. Hey Hawk, seeing the hero. What kind of hero are you? You almost dropped a woman, as a hero you must save everyone. Remember, with a smile. The birdman just smiled and jumped out of a window, and thousands of feathers began to launch towards the other people who were left in the building or who were on the ground still near the attack zone. Quirk Hawks. Rigid wings. These wings allow him to fly, and he can telekinetically control the movement and nature of each individual feather with ease, allowing him to fire them like projectiles. Izuku and Hawk saved the civilians while Endeavor fought the nomu. After saving and getting the civilians away, they both helped Endeavor fight the nomu. Endeavor. Take this, you moron, creating threads of fire as if they were cobwebs and burning the nomu. The nomu's body was destroyed, leaving only his chest and head. Izuku. Mr. Endeavor, I think that won't be enough. Endeavor. I'm not done yet. Endeavor with his fire destroyed the entire building along with the parts that had already regenerated from the nomu. But that attack several debris fell, and Hawks, using his feathers, collected the debris, but due to the loss of feathers he almost made him fall to the ground, but Izuku with his speed caught him and they both went to Endeavor. Hawks. Well boy, I didn't expect to see you. Seeing Izuku. Izuku. I went to visit a relative of mine and he told me that that thing was very dangerous. I came to fix the problem when I heard the screams and roars of combat. Endeavor. Do you know what that thing is? Izuku. Not much, according to what my father told me, he is a kind of super modified nomu capable of defeating all MIGs, and apparently he is right, he is stronger than you, Mr. Endeavor. Endeavor. Can you take care of the boy? Izuku. Maybe, but I need help. Seeing both heroes. Hawks. Endeavor, I like this boy, he said with a smile. I see why Endeavor lets you sleep with his daughter, hahaha, with mockery. Endeavor. Shut up, you idiot. Nomu. Bird, referring to hawks. Several heroes on the ground began to attack the floating Nomu. Nomu. You guys are in the way. The Nomu dropped several slimy masses and they turned into Nomus with tentacles. Endeavor. Did it split? Hawks. They don't seem to come out of themselves. Endeavor. Shit, I'm starting to overheat. Izuku. I'll take care of the Nomus on the ground, taking out his scythe, you take care of that idiot, and Endeavor, can you create rain clouds? Endeavor. What are you planning, Chico? Izuku. Something very big, but it will help us beat him, disappearing in a blink with a trail of red rays. Hawks. I understand why your daughter likes it, hahaha. Endeavor. If you continue, I'm going to hit you. Izuku with his scythe split the Nomus from the ground in half, and with his speed, he took the civilians out of the attack zone. Endeavor and Hawks were alone in front of the Nomu, while it regenerated at an incredible speed equaling that of Izuku. Nomu. Aren't you calling anymore? Endeavor. This thing is smarter than the others, it seems that he can think for himself, but he is programmed to fight with the strongest person, in this case it is me as the new number 1. Endeavor. My body continues to use heat, increasing the flames of your body a lot, that's why I will protect you like number 1. Endeavor did what Izuku asked and launched several bursts into the air that, when the fire disappeared, turned into black clouds and little by little formed rain clouds. Journalist. Look, it's Endeavor, even his flame is Reapers from where we are, and there is also the hero Black Reaper saving the people on the ground, seeing how he easily killed a Nomu and saved some civilians. Nomu. Let me test my strength with you, stretching his arms. Endeavor. This time you won't be able to dodge it or regenerate. Burns in purgatory. Prominence burn. The hero only released a great flame that surprised everyone and almost incinerated the Nomu, but the monster tore off his own head and threw it outside the radius of the attack. Nomu. What a shame, regenerandus. Endeavor. Teared off his head to survive. Hawks. Endeavor, watch out. The Nomu only regenerated and with both arms attacked the hero. The attack damaged the hero's face, scaring everyone watching on television. Izuku. Endeavor. The hero was alone on the ground while Nomu. How boring, there is no strong hero. Shouka, who was watching TV, could only shed a few tears and had a small memory of his father. Flash black. Endeavor. I will be a hero you can be proud of. Looking at his daughter, I will be the number 1 hero and you will be proud of your father, daughter. And flash black. Shouka. Please save him. Izuku releasing some tears. Izuku only saw the hero on the ground and felt a great rage. Izuku. Endeavor. Izuku activated One for All at 100% and with a strong blow to the face, he pushed the Nomu away, making it crash to the ground. Izuku. Endeavor is okay helping the hero up. Endeavor. I'm fine. Izuku. Hawks calling the bird hero, take Endeavor. Endeavor. I am number 1 and I won't give up so easily. Thunder rumbled in the distance and several thunderclaps could be heard falling through the black clouds around. Endeavor. I already did what you asked, Chico, now you have to kill it. No, we will both kill that thing fanning its flames. Izuku just looked at the hero's determined look and smiled. Izuku. Hawks, there are still civilians around, moving them away. Opens a very big explosion with a smile on his face. Hawks. Okay, just don't die. Flying towards the civilians. The Nomu recovered from Izuku's blow and looked at the black-haired man. Nomu. You are strong, I will kill you. The Nomu stretched out his arm and hit both of them, crashing them against a building. Izuku. Shit, he's very strong. Endeavor, I'll hit him with a new technique I have and you finish him off. Endeavor. Is she good enough to kill him? Izuku. Yes, but if he throws his head again to regenerate, you have to kill him once and for all. Endeavor. Haha, leave it to me, my boy. Izuku only saw the monster and activated One for All at full power. He also took out his Kagyun and sighed. People only saw Izuku as his last salvation to defeat the Nomu. Izuku with his speed stabbed the Nomu all over the body and it little by little regenerated and tried to keep up with Izuku. Nomu. Annoying, you are very annoying. Thousands of stakes made of his own skin formed behind his back and tried to stab Izuku, but he saw everything in slow motion due to his great speed. At one point Endeavor exploded in an immense sea of flame, surprising everyone as they thought he was dead or unconscious. The Nomu, with his thrusters, he was able to match Izuku's speed and be able to hit and stab him several times, but Izuku only regenerated quickly. Nomu. Do you regenerate too? Izuku. Shut up, you damn trash, you can kill me, stab me, even torture me, but Izuku's body was covered by a pillar of red and black lightning that amazed everyone. I will not forgive you for hurting those I love. Izuku's hair turned white again like with Iri's rescue and his Kagyun mutated again and those strange wings came out of Izuku's back and his appearance had also changed. Izuku's body continued to mutate. The Nomu did not take it into account and attacked the young hero, but a kind of sword pierced his chest and they continued to stab him while his limbs and body parts fell off and were cut off. The people only saw the hero and could see how a kind of armor was formed on his body, and at the end of the attack, Izuku hit the monster making it fly into the air, while everyone saw Izuku's new form. With a strong jump, Izuku reached the nomu, and with his tentacles that had apparently become sharp swords, he hit the nomu, making it fall to the ground, as if it were a dirty rag. Izuku, someone in the air, extended his tentacle swords towards the sky, and a large lightning struck them. Izuku's entire body was like a lightning bolt, and the black-haired man had a red lightning bolt in his hand. The black-haired man only raised his hand, and a huge beautiful dragon with red rays appeared through the clouds, scaring everyone. Izuku. Regenerate from this idiot Kirin. Izuku lowered his hand, and the enormous dragon fell on the nomu. The monster in an attempt to survive cut off his head and threw it, while his body was consumed and disintegrated by the amount of lightning that fell on him. Izuku. Now endeavor. The hero could see the nomu's head falling away from Izuku's attack, regenerating little by little, and with his last strength, he used his flame to propel himself to fly and catch his head. Endeavor. I have always hated the theme of that school, but may my flames give you eternal rest, never give up and exceed your limits plus ultra prominence burn. Everyone could see the enormous flash of flame in the sky, and also asked to see Endeavor fall from the sky. Izuku just decided to put on his armor and formed his wings, and flew to where the hero was, and the flames went taking off. You could see an Endeavor lifting the fist in victory. Izuku just smiled as his hair turned black again, and his wings disappeared, and he helped the hero walk, while they both went to a hospital to treat the hero's damaged eye. End music. Journalist. There are both heroes, both are well, and the monster was incinerated by the flames of the hero Endeavor. What a great battle. Hawks helped Izuku take Endeavor to a hospital, and all the cameras were on Izuku and Endeavor for being the great heroes who defeated the nomu. Ashaka was crying with happiness to see her boyfriend and father okay, and Izuku's harem was also relieved that Izuku and Shaka's father were okay along with their other classmates. Time skip. Endeavor was ultimately treated at a hospital, and they said that he didn't hurt his eye and that he would just have a big scar on his face. Izuku. Well, at least you and Shaka will have something in common, Mr. Endeavor, he joked. Endeavor. Hahaha, well, it seems so. Hawks. Hey kid, how can you make him laugh? Even I can't. Looking at Izuku. Endeavor. Shut up. Hawks looking at his partner. Thank you very much for supporting us there, perhaps many people would have died without you. Izuku. It's nothing, after all that's what a hero does, right? Endeavor just looked at the boy proudly and smiled at him. Doctor? Well, you have to go, Mr. Endeavor has to rest. Izuku. Sorry doctor. DC. Charlie. Charlie, nice to meet you, young man. Izuku. Well, DC. Charlie, sorry, and we're leaving. Goodbye, Mr. Endeavor. Endeavor. Goodbye, boy. Hawks. Goodbye, Endeavor. Endeavor. Go away, Hawks. Both heroes only left Endeavor so he could rest, and they both went home to rest from the hard battle. Part 19. Avoiding an arranged marriage. Today it was Momo's turn to go on a date and meet her parents and the black-haired girl. She had a beautiful smile, and she was wearing a beautiful dress adorned with the black-haired girl's beautiful smile. Izuku walked next to her, also well dressed for the occasion but not so formal, something a little casual. Both black-haired men walked through the streets. The men stared at Momo because of how beautiful she looked, and the women looked at Izuku with a blush and a small runny nose because of how attractive he looked. They both felt the gaze but only ignored them, and Momo, seeing that the women were staring at Izuku a lot, just hugged his arm tightly, as if he were protecting a chest full of gold from hungry pirates who wanted to take away what was his and the women at the same time. Seeing how the black-haired woman hugged Izuku, he just looked at her with fury. Time skip. Both young people just continued walking, of course, without first buying a small cake for Momo's parents and an ice cream for both of them. Momo had a beautiful smile on her face because she and Izuku were officially boyfriend and girlfriend, and that she would introduce him to her parents. That thought filled Momo with happiness, but Izuku was still nervous since maybe he got along well with Shaka's parents. But Momo's parents were different. They were extremely rich, and maybe they think that he dates Momo only for the money or the benefits of marrying her, which the black-haired man did not want him to have that reputation with the jet black parents, but in the end he just sighed and had faith that it wouldn't happen. Izuku and Momo were already in the neighborhood where the rich lived, and when they were only in the middle of the street, Izuku could see how a huge mansion was in the middle of the whole place, and they had a fence with the letter Y obviously from Yaoyorozu, and Momo told him that she had already arrived home. Izuku. It's huge. Looking at the big mansion. Momo. Well, I think it's a normal house so it's fine. Izuku. Every normal. It's huge. Momo. Well, I think it's time for us to go in. My parents must be waiting for us. Momo just rang the bell on the large gate and it opened, showing a beautiful front patio with many servants and a fountain in the middle. Servant. Nice to see you again, Miss Yaoyorozu. Intonation. Izuku. Yes, this will be weird. Both only entered greeting the servants of the place, but some recognized Izuku and could not contain themselves from asking for an autograph or taking a photo with him. Some servants also had a noticeable blush when they saw the black-haired man since Izuku with his clothing and appearance. He looked like the perfect man for anyone. Upon entering the door of the large mansion, both of them could see a beautiful woman with a very good body and very similar to Momo. Yayoi Rozu. Hello daughter, going to hug Momo. Momo. Hello mom, hugging her mother. Both women just gave each other a big hug, and when they separated, they only talked a little between themselves, but Izuku, seeing clearly, looked at the breasts of both girls, not in a perverted way but out of curiosity, since both of them when they talked to each other, their breasts bounced and swayed. They moved as if they spoke to each other. Izuku. Maybe. Yayoi Rozu. You're not hallucinating, boy. Izuku was only a little surprised since next to her was a man in a black-haired suit, also looking at both of their breasts. Her breasts are talking to each other, he said seriously. Izuku? What? Yayoi Rozu. As you heard, both of their breasts communicate with each other, but well, it's better to forget it. Nice to meet you, young man. I'm Yayoi Rozu, a pleasure. Izuku. Nice to meet you, sir. I'm IzukuMidoriya, his daughter's boyfriend, he said a little nervously. The man only sharpened his gaze upon hearing that, but then smiled. Jiro. Yes, you are the one that many say will be the future symbol of peace. I didn't think my daughter knew you. Izuku. Well, we are classmates. Jiro. I see. Well, let me also introduce you to my wife, looking at his wife. Yayoi Rozu. It's a pleasure, I'm Lilith. Yayoi Rozu seeing the boy. Izuku. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Yayoi Rozu, leaning and kissing her wrist like a gentleman. Lilith. Ara, it doesn't have to be so formal after all, we're family, right? Izuku just smiled at that and the four of them went to the living room so they could talk for a while. Jiro. And tell me, boy, are you really my daughter's boyfriend? Izuku. Yes, I am. I may not seem very formal like you or Momo, but I assure you that I am her boyfriend, he said determinedly. Momo only blushed a little at what was said, and both parents smiled at what was said. Lilith. And tell me, how did you meet? Momo. Well, he helped me to have more confidence in my quirk and myself, and at that moment he fell in love with me, and he also trained me and helped me improve, somewhat blushing. Lilith. Ara, romantic school love story with a mocking and mischievous smile looking at her daughter. Momo. Mom, don't say it like that, it's very embarrassing, covering his face with his hands. Izuku. We brought you something, Mrs. Yayoi Rozu, taking a small box out of the bag she was carrying. It's a cake, I hope you enjoy it. When the black-haired girl opened the box, she only saw a well-decorated cake with several strawberries on top, and when she saw it, her eyes shone and she just created a spoon and she started to eat it. Lilith. Delicious, you have a good taste. Izuku-kun with a nice smile. Momo. Hey, I also want to create another spoon to eat with his mother. Jiro. Haha, they are always like that, boy, they love desserts and even more cakes and ice creams. Watching his daughter and wife eat the cake together. Can I have some? Both. No, they said dryly. Izuku. It seems like they don't know how to share, he with a small bead of sweat on the back of his neck. Jiro. Yes, it's a bad habit they have, sigh, but hey boy, we can talk something alone, he said seriously. Izuku only became serious as well and nodded. Both of them went to the Raven's office to talk a little more in private. Izuku. And tell me, sir, sitting down, what did you want to talk about? Jiro. Well, it's something complicated. Nervous, you know what an arranged marriage is, right? Izuku. Yes, but what does it have to do with this? Jiro. Well, let's say that in a moment of desperation to have grandchildren. I engaged Momo to a son from a rich family. Izuku only looked at him with a poker face, but then he changed to a face of disappointment towards the jet black father. Jiro. Don't look at me like that, boy, embarrassed. I know it was a mistake, but I did it when Momo was 10 years old. I don't know how she will take it now. Izuku. Sigh, and he can't call the family he engaged Mono to and tell them to cancel that marriage. Jiro. I'm afraid not, the marriage will be cancelled only if both couples disagree, and well, let's say that the son of the other family fell in love just by seeing a photo of Momo. Sigh, but there is another way, and that's why you are here. Izuku. Let me guess, you want me to fight for Momo's hand. Jiro. Well, yes, you are her boyfriend now, so what do you say? Izuku. Well, I'm not going to let Momo marry someone she doesn't want, and as her boyfriend, I can't allow her to marry just any idiot. Looking seriously at the black-haired man. Jiro. Well said, boy. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about is that they will arrive in a few minutes, as he said that the doorbell rang announcing the family's arrival. Well, looking at his watch, just in time. Izuku. Sigh, let's finish this quickly, going towards the door. The women in the house were not expecting to see them at this time, so they were a little surprised and went to see who they were. Izuku along with Momo's father also went down and together with the girls opened the door and asked to see a blonde man next to a black-haired woman. Lilith. Ara, what are you doing here? Mr. Fushima surprised. Fushina. Hello Lilith, greeting well, we came so that our children could meet each other for the first time. Mr. Fushima. Hello Jiro, why don't you answer your daughter and wife? Today is when our children meet to see if they are compatible for the future wedding. The B word surprised both black-haired girls, and they both looked at the older raven-haired man with a look of death. Momo. Dad, what does this mean, looking at her father angry? Lilith. Honey, you better have a good excuse, with a tender smile, but with dead eyes and creating scissors. Jiro. Well. Time skip. After a while of Jiro telling both black-haired girls what was happening, they were both surprised and annoyed with the man, while the other family was just looking at Izuku with some intrigue since they didn't recognize him yet. Momo. And why the hell did it occur to you to get engaged to a boy at 10? Jiro. Sorry, daughter, it was the first step of my plan to have grandchildren. Somewhat depressed and showing a piece of paper. Plan to have nice grandchildren. 1. Get a handsome boy so that Momo doesn't refuse. 2. Give the boy every opportunity and help Momo so that he can get pregnant easily. 3. Because Momo is pregnant, I convince her to name one of her children after me. 4. Hear the beautiful voices of my future grandchildren shouting grandpa, so I can die in peace. The black-haired woman, just reading the plan that her father had for her, only made her pop a vein out of annoyance. Lilith. Well, tell me, Mrs. Fushima, where is her son? Mrs. Fushima. Well, she must be arriving, she's been a little busy with work. Izuku. Excuse me, but how old is her son? Mr. Fushima. About 20 years, why? Izuku. You know Momo is 15 and Momo is 20, right? It would be illegal. Mrs. Fushima. We settled that in court by giving us special permission for the marriage, showing another permission slip from a judge. Momo. Papa, she said with red eyes and a devilish smile. Jiro. Forgive me, daughter, crying comically. Izuku. Well, I'm very sorry for you, Mr. Fushima, but Momo is my girlfriend and I can't allow her to marry her son. Serious. Izuku's words only made Momo's heart race and made her blush as well. Mrs. Fushima. Ara, so you challenge your son to fight for Miss Yaoirozu's hand? Izuku. Yes, I'm doing it, I won't let Momo marry him, she's mine, she said seriously and without realizing what she said. Momo just blushed as she listened to Izuku's words and she was fuming from her ears. Momo. Why yes why yours all red. The door of the mansion suddenly opened abruptly and a black-haired man in a suit could be seen. I refuse. Izuku. Now what the hell happens? Mrs. Fushima. Son, getting up, look at you son, you are all disheveled and sweaty, what happened to you? It's nothing, mom, I just ran to get there on time. Looking like that, mother, but giving Izuku a death look. Mr. Fushima. Hello Ryusuke, hugging her son, how was work? Ryusuke. Okay, dad, but hey, looking at Izuku, I won't let you take my Momo away from me. Izuku. What? Momo. I'm not yours, I'm his and only him, hugging Izuku. Ryusuke's eyes changed to a heart design upon seeing Momo. Ryusuke. My dear Momo, we finally meet. He kneels when he sees Momo, and I've dreamed of this moment since I was 15, he said with a blush and a somewhat sick smile. It's a pleasure to meet you, I'm Ryusuke Fushima, trying to kiss her hand. The black-haired man tried to kiss her wrist, but when she saw the drool coming out of her mouth, she just quickly removed her hand and hid behind Izuku. Momo. You're baviating everywhere, that's disgusting. When the black-haired man heard those words, he only felt like a knife was buried in her heart and he just fell to the ground. Everyone saw the young man with a drop of sweat, but saw how little by little he stood up laughing. Ryusuke. Hehehe, getting up, ha laughing like crazy. Yes please, my pretty Momo, keep telling me like that, let's go, come on, with a sick smile and a blush. Mrs. Fushima. Excuse our son, he has different tastes compared to other people, he is. Izuku. A masochist, looking seriously at the black-haired man trying to touch the black-haired girl, but Momo only pushed him away with a metal bar. Well, let's finish this quickly, you looking at the black-haired man, I challenge you to a fight to decide which of the two gets Momo. Serious. The black-haired man only smiled at those words, but he also became serious. Ryusuke. Good, so whoever wins gets to keep Momo forever, do we have a deal? Izuku. Deal made. They both shook hands and looked at each other seriously. Jiro. Well, how about we go to the patio? All. Hi. They all went to the patio of the house, which rather than a patio was an entire forest, and both young men stood in the middle, preparing to fight. Ryusuke. Well, I hope it's a good battle, looking at Izuku. Izuku. Likewise. Both young men only saw each other for a while, and when a leaf fell as if it were the beginning of the campaign, they both launched an attack. Izuku and Ryusuke bumped fists, and Izuku was surprised that he could hold up or match his strength. Ryusuke's body began to create lightning, and at incredible speed he hit Izuku in the face. Ryusuke. Haha, well, let's see if you can match my speed. Momo. His speed is incredible, watching how he moved. Mr. Fushima. Yes he is, his quirk is body lightning. Quirk. Ryusuke. Lightning body. His body expels lightning that helps him move at a high speed that is compared to that of lightning. It also increases his strength a little. Izuku was surprised by the blow, but he just smiled and activating one for all began to match the black-haired man's speed. In combat, only the lightning trails of both of them could be seen moving, since their speed was too great for them to be seen completely. Some sparks flew from the blows and the lightning from the trails that both released also seemed to be fighting for dominance. Izuku gave the black-haired man a strong blow that took him out of Carrera for a few moments, and those seconds were enough for Izuku to use his black whips that came from his arms to catch the young man and hit him against the ground. Izuku used more whips to reduce the black-haired man, gagging him and tying his hands and feet. Mrs. Fushima. Incredible how. Mr. Fushima. Didn't he have a quirk the same as Ryusuke? Momo. Well, he has several quirks and he is also the hero known as Black Reaper, he said happily. Both adults were surprised, but it didn't surprise them that their son had lost the fight since he had defeated the worst villain of all, and recently in the news he had helped the hero Endeavor and Hawks defeat a monster that attacked the city. Ryusuke. And he moved and screamed gagged but had a little pink tint. Izuku removed the whip covering his mouth so they could talk. Ryusuke. Wow, removing the whip from his mouth, it feels good, with a blush and a sick smile. I have never been beaten and not tied up like this either, I think it feels good. The black-haired boy's parents were only embarrassed by how their son acted. Izuku had a bead of sweat on the back of his neck and Momo only looked at the black-haired boy with a disgusted face. Izuku just let go of the young man, making him fall face first to the ground, knocking him out. Mr. Fushima. Sigh. Well, he lost, snapping his fingers, causing several guards to appear and carry his unconscious on. Well, it was a pleasure and have a good night. Goodbye, young man, looking at Izuku. Mr. Fushima. Goodbye, Lilith, and sorry for our son's actions, looking at his unconscious son. Lilith. Nothing happens and goodbye. The Fushimas only left the mansion after saying goodbye, but they both had a smile for some reason. Mr. Fushima. Honey, I think we found the man for our daughter. Mr. Fushima. If it's perfect, I hope you like it. Mr. Fushima. Surely Fufufu is your #1 fan after all. The rich couple only left in a limousine heading each way, leaving the Yaoi Rozu more peaceful. Izuku. Sigh. Well, it's over. Momo. Thank you very much, Izuku-kun, for everything, looking at Izuku, blushing. Izuku. It's okay, Momo, I would do it 1,000 times if it were necessary just for you, whispering in the raven's ear. Hearing those words, the black-haired girl only blushed and kissed Izuku with a loving smile. Lilith. Oh, how cute, creating a camera taking a photo as a souvenir, and I hope you've learned your lesson, honey, looking at her husband. Jiro. Why yes, honey, looking at something scaring his wife. The family just happily went home again and after a while the four of them had dinner and went to sleep. Izuku was in a very large guest room, much larger than the Todoroki's, and his bed was larger than a double bed, but he still managed to fall asleep and sleep peacefully, but a dark shadow saw Izuku sleeping, well, he had a perverted smile. Time skip midnight. Lemon skipped, please read it on website. Both young men had a long night full of passion together and a certain older raven man was trying to hear what was happening in Izuku's room. Jiro. What the hell does it sound like that? Listening as if some animals are fighting over a piece of meat. Lilith. Fufu, I think it's nothing, feeling proud of her daughter, let's just go to sleep, it must be some stray dog. Jiro. Well, good night, darling. Lilith. Yes, good night. Well done, daughter, now you are like your mother. Part 20, a pretty rocker. Izuku was waking up little by little, and when he opened his eyes completely, he could see a naked Momo sleeping peacefully on her chest. Last night was very long, Izuku only rode Momo until he got tired, and Momo lost her mind completely, both after finishing their act, they just laid down together naked and went to sleep. Izuku just sighed as he remembered the night and got Momo up for breakfast. Time skip. Momo and Izuku walked to the large dining room where Momo's parents were already having breakfast. Lilith. Good morning, daughter, having happy greeting. Momo. Good morning, mom. Jiro. Good morning, daughter, why do you buck? Seeing that Momo had a hard time walking a little. Momo. Well. Izuku. Good morning, and about Momo, she just stubbed her little toe sitting at the table. Jiro. Well, how did you sleep? Momo just blushed remembering everything they had done yesterday, but Izuku just stayed calm, even though she had a slight blush. Izuku. I slept very well. Momo. Yes, he very good, somewhat nervous. The four of them just continued eating dinner, but both black-haired women had a private talk. Lilith. Whispering, tell me, daughter, did what I told you work? Momo. Whispering, yes, very good, but Izuku broke free and started riding me everywhere, blushing, she had never felt so much pleasure in my life. Lilith. Ara, well, just make sure you don't give us grandchildren too soon, maybe your father does want them, but I'm not ready yet. Momo. Okay, cheerful. Izuku and Momo's father were just chatting about different things, and at the end of the afternoon, Momo and Izuku said goodbye to both parents to return to the dorms. Time skip Saturday. The day Izuku was walking through the streets of Japan without any direction. Izuku just wanted to leave the bedrooms to get away from his sister, Toga and Shiko, since the three of them did not stop seducing Izuku, and unfortunately for Izuku they managed it, and after Izuku came out tired after his long sessions of love, although thanks to his ghoul resistance, not so much, but if he were a normal person he would have died by now. Izuku was walking through the streets, but a girl dressed as a maid stopped Izuku. Girl. Hello handsome, why don't you come to our restaurant? Showing a paper with a logo of a maid's restaurant. Izuku. No, thanks, I can't now. Girl. It wasn't a question, handsome snapping her fingers, showing behind Izuku three men dressed in pink yukatas with the restaurant's logo. MAN1. Come on boy, you'll have fun taking Izuku's shoulder. MAN2. Come with us, there is delicious food, taking Izuku's other shoulder. MAN3. And there are pretty girls too, come on, pushing Izuku into the restaurant. Izuku. Hey wait, entering the restaurant being pushed by the men. Izuku just bowed himself, sat down and waited for one of the girls dressed as maids to come take his order. Welcome master, can I? The girl stopped when she saw Izuku well, and the black-haired man was also surprised to see her partner Jiru in a maid outfit taking the order from her. Jiru. Izuku. Izuku. Jiru. Seeing the purple-haired girl, do you work here? Jiru solo grabbed Izuku and ran him to the employee bathroom. Jiru. What the hell are you doing here, and more you blushing? Izuku. Well, I was just passing through the area and a girl dressed as a maid along with some men in yukatas forced me to come. Jiru. Damn Rika, I'm going to kill her. Izuku. Haha, I didn't know you worked in a place like that, you look very pretty dressed as a maid, she said with a smile. The girl with headphones just blushed and looked away. Jiru. Be Baka, blushing, don't say those things, and also where do you think I get the money to buy my music records? Izuku. Well, that makes sense. They both only stayed silent for a few moments, but then they left the bathroom and Izuku sat back down at his table. Jiru. Well, what would you order, master? Blushing and nervous. Izuku. You seem very nervous, Kyoka-chan, he said mockingly, but the suffix I use only makes Joe smile more at the girl in front of him, just act like he's a normal customer. Jiru. It's easy to say for you, sighing, and what are you going to ask for? Izuku. Taking the menu. Well, I think I'll order a special omelette. Jiru. I'll bring it to you right away, lover, leaving as quickly as possible from there. Izuku. Haha, how cute, she said looking at Jiru in the distance with a smile. After a few minutes Jiru returned with an omelette that had "For my dear master" written with ketchup. As Izuku read it, he just smiled and looked at Jiru, who was all blushing and looking away so as not to make eye contact with Izuku. Izuku. Thank you very much, Kyoka-chan, with a smile. Jiru. Stop calling me yes. Izuku. Because you always call me Izuku, so it would be fair that I call you by your name too. Jiru just looked away and walked away from her, but Izuku stopped her. Izuku. Wait, stopping Jiru here, she says that she can also tell her maids to do the special spell to make the food taste better, showing the menu. What is the special spell? I ask innocently. Jiru just blushed at that, sorry, she knew she had to do it since it was her job. Jiru approached Izuku's food and formed a heart with his fingers and then said, love spell, make the food taste better. Izuku just saw that with a blank face, but then covered his mouth so as not to get angry at what his girlfriend did. Jiru. Don't laugh, be Baka. Izuku. Hahaha, sorry, they seemed very cute and adorable to you. Jiru only blushed at what the black-haired man said and left the place quickly. After Izuku finished eating, he just waited for Jiru to finish working and they both went in the direction of the violet-haired girl's house. Izuku. Today was a nice day, haha, with a smile looking at Jiru. Jiru. Baka, you only say that because she saw me work, embarrassed, hiding in Izuku's chest. Izuku. You know, you look really cute in that maid outfit, looking at Jiru with a mocking smile, but I didn't know you work there on weekends. Jiru. Shut up already, Baka. Baka tenderly slapping Izuku's chest, and I only work there because it helps me earn money. My parents give me little allowance since they know that they give us almost everything we need at school. Izuku just laughed at the purple-haired girl's cute reaction and both had already arrived at Jiru's house. Jiru. Do you want to come in? Izuku. I don't know, I don't want to be a bother to you or have your parents make a fuss because of me. Jiru. Don't be stupid, taking Izuku's arm, come on, nothing will happen. They both entered the girl's house and a beautiful woman with violet hair and headphones very similar to Jiru greeted them. Hello daughter, you're coming. The woman only stopped when she saw Izuku being taken by the arm by her daughter. What happened, dear? What is that? A blonde man who apparently was the father. Izuku. You, nice to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Jiru, bowing. Jiru. Dad, Mom, this is Izuku. I can't finish since the blonde grabbed Izuku by the neck and started to tease him. You damn, who the hell are you and why are you with my daughter? Swapping Izuku back and forth. Izuku. You, nice to meet you. I'm his daughter's boyfriend, even being hanged by the blonde. The man upon hearing that just let out Izuku and looked at his daughter. Is she true daughter? Jiru. Yes dad, he is my boyfriend Izuku. Jada blushes a little for saying and officially introducing Izuku as his boyfriend. A pleasure. I'm Mikajiru, Kyoka's mother, a pleasure. Greeting the black-haired man with a smile. I'm Kyotoku Jiru greeting curtly and with a death glare at Izuku. Izuku. A pleasure, I'm IzukuMidoriya, it's a pleasure to meet you both. Bowing. Mika. Ara, daughter, don't tell me that you are officially introducing us to your boyfriend. Looking at his daughter who was blushing. Now that I see it better, you were the boy who sang with my daughter at the cultural festival. Kyotoku. Looking at Izuku seriously, is that right boy? Izuku. Yes, I sang at the festival with Kyoka-chan. The man, upon hearing the suffix that the black-haired man asked his daughter, only gave Izuku a death look and he only understood, but he pretended that he didn't see anything. Jiru. Well, I invited him to come in since he came with me from work, so he's just passing through, he won't stay for dinner or anything. Mika. What a shame, I wanted to talk to him more. Looking at Izuku, I also wanted to ask him how they met. Izuku. Yes, me too, but I think it's time for me to go. Jiru. I'll accompany you. They both only went out again, but both fathers looked through the window of the house at both young people to see what was happening. Izuku. Your parents are very nice. Jiru. Sorry, my father is very overprotective. Izuku. It's okay, well I'm leaving, it seems that your father still doesn't want me here. Looking at the blonde and the purple-haired mother looking out the window. Jiru. Long. Both adults only hid again because of their daughter's scream. Jiru. Sigh. Well, goodbye, Izuku-kun blushes a little. Izuku. Goodbye Kyoka-chan giving the purple-haired girl a tender kiss. They both just melted into a tender kiss that neither wanted to break, but the lights at the entrance of the house turned off and on every moment, giving a signal to Kyoka to enter. Izuku. I thought your parents already wanted you to come in. Jiru. Yes, goodbye giving him one last kiss and running into her house blushing. Izuku just smiled at the purple-haired girl's cute action and went to his house. Jiru, under the gaze of his parents, just ran to his room, threw himself on his bed hugging his pillow, and let out a scream that he muffled with the pillow. Jiru. He kissed me, my first kiss, it felt good. I feel like doing it again and again. Damn dad, I hate you. Mika. Daughter, can I come in? Knocking on the door. Jiru. Yes, if mom passes. The other purple-haired girl walked by and saw her daughter happy and hugging her pillow. Mika. You look very happy daughter, don't tell me it was because of the nice kiss she gave you with a mocking smile. Jiru. Mom, what do you want? Mika. Well, I'm just telling you that I support you. Your father doesn't seem very convinced, but I know that he is a very good boy, don't let him go. Daughter raising his thumb. Jiru. I won't, he's the only one who thinks I'm incredible and doesn't pay attention to my body like other guys, that's why I love him a lot and I won't let him be taken away from me, he said with a determined look. Mika. Let's talk, daughter. Hey, well, you better come down and eat, okay? Jiru. Hi. Both violet-haired girls went down to dinner, although Jiru's father only asked what Izuku did and other things that she ignored a little. Time skip. Next day. Jiru was working as usual, but her senpai Rika called her. Rika. Hey Jiru, here, put these on, giving him a very cat-eared tail. Jiru. What? So that. Rika. Look, they're showing a sign at the entrance that said, Nico's day, you have to do it, come on with a mocking smile. Jiru just sighed and put on her cat ears and tail to continue working. Rika. Well, there is a customer over there who hasn't taken his order yet, go over there. Jiru. Hi. Jiru only went to the table to take the customer's order. Jiru. What are you going to ask for, master? He said happy, but that joy quickly turned into shame when he saw that the customer was Izuku again. Izuku. Hello Kyoka-chan, cheerful greeting. Jiru just blushed and looked away so as not to see Izuku. Jiru. What are you doing here again? Izuku. Well, I was just passing through the area and I was hungry so I just came here, they make very good food. Jiru. That or you just wanted to see me dressed as a maid again? Izuku. 50-50s, but I didn't know that today you were a very pretty Nico maid. Looking at the purple-haired girl with a smile, you look very pretty. The girl just blushed and took Izuku's order and then left. Izuku was going to admit that Jiru looked like a professional when working, she was pretty and also knew how to do things very well, the only one she blushed with was him and he was understandable. After Jiru gave her her food, she went to rest for a while since she couldn't stand Izuku seeing her dressed like that. Rika. Hey Jiru, calling the girl. Jiru. Yes. Rika. Hey, today afternoon there is going to be a kind of festival where everyone is going to see the fireworks and well, since you are my pretty cowhide, I have 2 tickets for you to go with that cute boy, you always blush with giving him the 2 tickets. Jiru. What? Me and Izuku. Tired smoke from her ears. Rika. I didn't know you knew him, are you guys dating or something? Don't tell me he's your boyfriend. With a mocking smile, the girl just nodded and that surprised Jiru-senpai. Rika. What girls? Come quickly, calling the other maids. Apparently Jiru-chan has a boyfriend and he is very handsome. DIRL1. What? Really? DIRL 2. Tell us how you met. DIRL 3. Who is it? Tell us. Rika. Apparently he is the handsome black-haired boy who came yesterday. Gigi, tell me Jiru-chan, how did you meet him? Jiru. Stay away, I won't tell you anything, so goodbye, going to serve customers again. DIRL 1. Oh, how bad is Jiru-chan? Rika. Well, I hope you take advantage of the opportunity I gave you, because if not maybe I'll take it away from you. Jiru just understood and decided to invite Izuku. Time skip afternoon. Izuku and Kyoka went to the festival after Jiru got off work. They both went and saw a store where they could rent yukatas for the occasion. Izuku. Kyoka, how about we put on some yukatas for the occasion, she said with a smile. Jiru. Sure, let's go, somewhat nervous. They both entered the store and rented some yukatas for both of them, and the first to leave was Izuku. Izuku was wearing a white yukata with a fox mask that he had on his side. Izuku. I think I look good looking at his clothes. Jiru. Izuku, I'm here. Izuku only turned around and blushed a little since Kyoka's outfit was very beautiful. She also wore makeup that made her look more beautiful, and she also wore a fox mask. Jiru in a few words looked beautiful, and Izuku proved that he was right since he and many other men around him blushed at how pretty he looked. Izuku. Yes, you look beautiful, Kyoka-chan, he said with a smile. Jiru. Thank you, blushing at the black-haired man's comment. Why, you look very handsome too, looking at how handsome Izuku looked. Izuku. It's my first time using one, but it seems to fit me well, haha, with a somewhat nervous smile and scratching the back of his neck. Well, come on, Miss Jiru. Shaking hands with Jiru. Jiru. Don't call me that, Baka whispering and holding Izuku's hand. They both walked, being the center of attention since with how beautiful Jiru looked, she attracted the attention of all the men, and Izuku attracted the attention of the women around her. The two of them just had fun until nightfall and climbed a small mountain where they had a perfect view of the fireworks. Jiru. Haha, today was a beautiful day. Izuku. Yes, it was very funny, haha, and even more so when you hit a salesperson for saying that you have nice thighs, haha. Jiru. He was just a pervert, slightly blushing at the comment. Izuku. Haha, well, I think you're right, looking at the purple-haired girl. Both only looked into each other's eyes and were hypnotized watching each other's eyes. Both young people were getting closer and were a few centimeters away from kissing. Bang. They both turned and looked at the sky to see the fireworks exploding, showing beautiful colors. Pum. They both looked at the fireworks and then looked at each other. They both approached each other again and melted into a passionate kiss while the fireworks were seen in all their splendor in the background. Time skip. The festival was already over and they were both returning home with their normal clothes. Jiru had a nice smile and a blush, and Izuku was also happy about the nice day and the beautiful kisses that they both gave each other under the fireworks. They had both already arrived at Jiru's house and Izuku was about to go home, but the purple-haired girl stopped him. Jiru. Izuku, stopping Izuku. Edo, I think it's too late for you to go home alone, so you better stay here, blushing and nervous. Izuku. Are you sure? I don't want you to get scolded for inviting me over without permission. Jiru. Don't worry, I asked my mother and she accepted, so she passed. Izuku. Sigh. Hi. Izuku entered and noticed that Jiru's parents were already sleeping due to the lack of light in the living room and kitchen. Jiru. Come, you will sleep with me in my room, taking Izuku to his room. Upon entering, Izuku could see a record player, several guitars and posters of well-known bands, in short, Uraraka's room. Izuku. You have a nice room, looking at his things. Jiru. Thank you, well, it's better that we go to sleep, somewhat nervous. Izuku. Sure, but where do I sleep? Jiru. Well, with me, of course, making a side on her bed so that Izuku can settle next to her. Izuku just smiled and lay down next to Jiru. Both of them just stayed in a somewhat uncomfortable silence for Jiru, but not so much for Izuku, since he just hugged Jiru from behind, making him blush. Izuku. You know, Kyoka-chan, I still think you looked very beautiful today. Jiru. Oh, really? Blushing and nervous. Izuku. Hehe, yes, quite a bit, and I loved it when you were dressed as a maid. Jiru. Do you want to see? Izuku. Huh. See what? Jiru just got out of bed and went to the bathroom for a moment with some clothes. When Izuku came out, he was surprised to see that Jiru was wearing her maid Nico outfit. Izuku, already knowing what he wanted to achieve, Jiru just got up and kissed his girlfriend passionately, and then they both fell asleep on the violet-haired girl's bed. Izuku had to admit that Jiru with the maid outfit plus the cat ears and tail made her look very exciting, and although Izuku was not a pervert like Mineta or Kaminari, she couldn't help but be excited by how cute she looked. Lemon skipped, please read it on website. Izuku only paled a little at the violet-haired girl's statement and could only play along with his girlfriend until it lasted all night. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.